She's an odd lady.
Yes, there it is. All right, sons. Hey, we're early.
We do
Uncle
what we
Randy
want to
here.
do.
Look at this. Look at this. Who's this? Gary, sons. We're gonna let you guys build and get in here. I figured we'd come on. I'd go ahead and knock out the housekeeping shit. Pay a
I'm
little
gonna
bit of
share real
bills.
quick. You tag me in this?
Let me see. I should. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't need you to. I'm sharing it now.
Oh, you got it? Did you find it?
I'm here, baby.
Okay. Yeah, so first gonna talk BioBidet, sons. Y'all know it. BioBidet.com. Get yourself a bidet. Promo code MarriedAF. Save 10% on that. You're welcome. Clean your ass, sons. You filthy animals disgust me that are still just using straight up old school toilet paper. Makes me vomit, sons. It amazes me that your wives still fool around with you and are willing to show you their tits, sons, because you disgust me. It's foul. It's not fair to them. They wash your filthy shit streaked underpants and they deal with you. Get a bidet, sons.
I always say if you shit on your arm, would you just wipe it with a paper towel?
Yeah.
You just soap.
Smear it.
Yeah.
Just smear it around. Yeah.
But here's my ass.
Yeah.
I want my wife to eat it, but hey, first of all, let me not clean it real well. Am I allowed to say that on here?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Dude, we say anything.
Make sure.
At least though, use wet wipes.
Right,
That's
something clean.
People that just straight up smear it with old school striking paper. Hey, why don't you just go live with my great grandmother back in the 1890s and light matches in your shitter, sons?
Yeah.
It's killing me. So y'all know the promo code MarriedAF, save 10%. A lot of people have been buying them lately. Hey, do it, sons. You won't regret it. We got Roka. Y'all see these shades, sons, for champions. Listen, Roka, designed right here in America, out of Austin, Texas, sons. Let me tell you a little bit about Roka. Joe Rogan, Uncle Randy, Tim Kennedy. Champions. Those are the Roka athletes. Whatever you want to do. Barbara 20 is the promo code. 20%. Only celebrities get that 20%. Everybody's got the 10 from the Baba days. Not 20, though. 20% off. And the last one is... muscle vodka. What the fuck am I thinking? Listen, don't got the vodka here. Gary, bourbon, man. Let me tell you, bourbon tastes like shit, sons. Hate bourbon, but I'm doing it.
It's a man's drink. It's business.
It is a man's drink, and it tastes like a man. And I feel like I should have a cigar.
Vodka's for fun. This is for business.
Oh.
You ever seen a mafia movie where someone's sitting around drinking vodka?
No, you don't see that.
Fucking brown liquor.
Yeah, all day.
It's business.
And
business is going to happen tonight.
It tastes just like that too, sons. And we're going to get into it because, see, Uncle Randy's this brown guy. What to see about? I think Gary's he's been barred from that. Uncle Randy, like Uncle Randy with Grey Goose and Cranberry. Can't do them, sons. I'll end up doing 50 of them. I'm like Frank the Tank in old school.
Tastes so good on your lips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand. Trust me.
Yeah, the wife won't let me have that. And she's justified in that reason.
Yeah.
I'm an animal with that shit.
Yeah, Fireball's that for me in the Lamb House. We're banned.
Yeah, last time I had Grey Goose and Cranberry, we were partying for Brooks, like, it was like something in her 30s before we had Gunner. And we were at the Vanna Club downtown. And we had a VIP section. We were rolling. Of course, people coming in, drinking our bottle service like everybody does in VIPs. And I'm drinking those Grey Goose and Cranberries like they're going out of style. Next thing I know, I'm trying to fight the bouncer. He's 6'6", probably in the WWE now because that's how they start down there. And it was just a nightmare scenario. And that was the last time I got to drink those because it just turned into a psychopath.
Yeah, Fireball for me was Panama City Redneck Riviera. Last thing I remember at 11:30 in the morning, I'm face up with a frat boy pouring a fifth down my throat.
Nice.
That was after we'd already drinking a handle.
Oh, the Fireball.
Wife had to walk me back to the condo. It didn't go well.
So she laid down the law with you on that.
Involved some public nudity and some peeing in front of everyone. And
that happens.
So, grown man shit.
Most people,
but
men,
out of love, I don't drink the Fireball anymore.
And there's a picture of us in Miami where I was in the same predicament.
Yeah. Fireball will sneak up on you.
And it was either piss my pants or piss there.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
There. And
grown-ass man, they've seen people piss before.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be one to lie about it. Listen, everybody wants to act like they never gotten drunk and been a rascal. You're full of shit, sons. Not if you're a champion. You've learned if you're a champion. You've made all the mistakes to learn.
That's what makes you a champion.
Yes, it absolutely does. All right, so here I want to talk about just from the whole beginnings of how we kind of got on the course to meet. So Rick had talked to me about you, I don't know, maybe a year ago, maybe.
Yeah,
And he was
Rick's my
like,
father-in-law, Rick Cope.
the
Shout out,
legend, the legend,
white
all right?
boy.
White boy Rick, savagery. He was like, my son-in-law has wrestling. And we were talking about how I'm a big MMA guy, and he was like, "Oh, I got to have the MMA too." He's talked about that, and we got the church and all that because we were talking about doing some events.
Right.
And then recently, Fire Marshal Bill had listened to you on the Mockingbird.
Yes.
Excuse me, and he came back. Oh, that Fireball and that bourbon mixing. Even though I know they're in the same family, they're angry with each other. And he was like, "Dude, you got to have Gary on. You two got to talk. No bullshit." And so then I went and listened to the Mockingbird podcast with you, and it was excellent. It was 2.5 hours
Of me.
of you championshipping for 2.5 hours. And it got me, I was going to get my son in Alabama. So
Yeah.
it took the whole ride.
Greg's a good guy.
And it was
I
fantastic.
appreciated him letting me take over the show for 2.5 hours.
You sure did too. But I don't even think he asked you questions. I think you just turned it and you were asking questions and then
having fun.
answering the questions.
Sometimes, man. Sometimes I know what I want to say. So,
but it was excellent. And so once I heard that, I was like, absolutely right. We got to do it. All right. Chet here from Silvertown is in Denver. Saying shout out Silvertown love from Denver, Colorado. Drink one for me, boys.
So I got to know, as an outsider to Silvertown,
yes,
is Silvertown a part of the neighborhood, or is it the entire neighborhood? I'm very curious on how one gets to be part of Silvertown.
Oh man, it is it's not hard to get into Silvertown is an idea.
Okay.
Like, because of course I stole it from Joe Dirt, the movie, because he's always talking about the hometown he yearns for, called Silvertown. And it's kind of like the outcast that kind of reject a lot of like the HOA fuckery. Still good. Everybody's awesome. They get
Dare we
along
say
great.
the black sheep?
I was about to go there. Like, I was like, you would probably get it as much as anybody. Like, we're just kind of those folks, you know? And I'd gravitate toward those fucking champs just like you do.
So are you the mayor of Silvertown is what I need to know?
No, we've got a group of us that kind of co-founded it. No, I would say I'm the governor. Yeah. So the mayor, there's a few mayor, or just the city council. All right, maybe I'm the president. I don't know. It's in there.
Dictator.
I
prefer dictatorship.
Yeah, they're dictators for the most part, are champions.
Anything with two heads is a monster.
Absolutely. Rick Cope's here. Oh God, the legend. Oh, we're gonna talk about you real good, Rick. We already have a little bit. He'll be over here too. He'll just walk in.
Yeah.
He'll kick the door in.
Trust me, I know. I've had it happen.
Oh yeah. But no, and we were talking about, I was telling you about Dustin, who I was telling you we got the political career. That's the guy we got to get on the councils and making stuff happen, because he's the one who just got Silvertown as the second approved golf cart district in Canton. Yes. He wrote that. He did that ordinance.
All right, very interesting. I didn't know that.
He's the one that kind of jump started that whole thing and made it happen, which, shout out to Superior Motorsports. They've done real good by Silvertown and getting people golf carts. And we love them folks. You can find them right on 92, sons, right there toward Kellogg, right there by the MAPCO there. And they got all the cool shit. So go check them out. Tell them that Uncle Randy sent you. Talk to Leon or Nathan. They'll take care of you. All right. So, yeah, Fire Marshal Bill's kind of like he's more of like the mayor type. He's the political. I mean, I'll get in there and
shake hands, kiss babies.
Yeah.
I see him kissing ass with the mayor all the time.
Oh,
on
he
Facebook.
Loves him some mayor. Yes, dude. He is.
I got to have a talk with him. He's trumping that car, flying that banner.
Oh, he's the one though. He's not.
He needs to be Lamb for mayor.
He is. Now that I've wondered if that's going to happen, and we're going to talk about that. If you've ever how serious you've ever given a thought to that.
It's an interesting discussion. We should definitely talk about that once we
absolutely
at the 7:30 point.
Yes. So what all right, we got people jumping in now. We're set. So yes, then I was listening to Mockingbird, trying to figure out like, all right, this is pretty crazy because we share a few things in common that are huge for me. For one, Blackberry Smoke.
Yep.
That's my band.
That's my band.
For life. Most underrated guitarist to me and lead vocalist.
Charlie Starr is the star.
He's
the star.
He's one of the baddest guitarists I've ever seen play
Yes.
live. And people don't give him that love.
So people don't. I was a Blackberry Smoke fan from hearing him on the radio, but I'm a huge, so I'm fucking over the top Aaron Lewis fan.
Oh yeah, I heard. Yeah.
And about 2 years ago, they were with Aaron Lewis, and when I saw them live for the first time, I'd never seen anything like it in my life. I was already a fan, but it literally is the Charlie Starr show.
Yeah, he's a beast. We saw him at Bama Jam in like 2010. Me and Brooke went, which was like a country music festival down in like Dothan, Alabama, in a peanut farm.
Yeah.
And they were there during the day, like an early act. And we were there drinking all fucking day. And they did, which song is it? But it might be Good One Coming On, which is one of my favorite songs, or Like I Am. And he changed the lyrics to 2 in the pink and 1 in the stink, just live.
Right.
Like that was just kind of like an ad lib for him.
So it was love right then.
And they were just so good, dude. He's so fucking good.
They're phenomenal. So let me one up you. I don't want to one up you.
Yeah.
But about 15 years ago, 16, Wing and Rock Fest used to be in downtown Woodstock where the amphitheater is. It was just a flat field. And they were the band there. They were nobody.
Yeah.
And like they were one of these bands pounding Dixie Tavern, pounding Smith's Old Bar, and they were there playing at Wing and Rock Fest, which at that time no one realized what they were going to be.
Sure.
But they are off the charts, man.
And they're still like, I think musically, they're very appreciated. Like, because Zach Brown
Zach Brown made them.
Yeah, but
as far as mainstream, but they're in that genre where no one knows what to do with them. Country music's not going to play them rock. They're the last of that dying breed of Southern rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're the last of the Southern rock.
But that you'll hear that anyone that knows Uncle Randy will tell you that's my band. I love those fucking guys. They do no wrong in my eyes. So when you said Blackberry Smoke, I cheersed you immediately in the car. But then you start talking about your MMA knowledge.
Yeah.
You start talking about a little bit about Conor McGregor and shit. And that's my jam. I trained MMA for years.
I've been trying to start an MMA promotion. We were 2 weeks away from our first show when Kemp shut the state down.
Yeah, fucking Kemp, man.
So hopefully in the next 10 days, we have an announcement coming about that. The RFL, the Relentless Fight League.
Oh, God.
So we'll see what happens.
Hey, John Little's in here. Bubba's in here. Shout out to all you champions. Thank you for sharing this, helping us with the hype build up. And that's the second thing I got to give you a shout out to. We went toe for toe on the promos and the promotion of this sit down, and I got to call it a draw. We were going day for day, like rotate. People don't do that enough. They don't realize the power of that, the consistency of promoting something that you want to get by.
My time's too valuable to come in here and talk for one person to watch.
I'm gonna cheers that.
So
right here,
if we're going to do it, let's do it all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time, I'm not good at much, but I can draw a crowd. And I tell people in my events, my vendors will tell you they're disorganized, they're crazy, but they deal with my chaos because people come. And so.
Absolutely. John, the mayor, coming in hot right here with that was Good One Coming On with the 2 in the pink and 1 in the stink.
Yeah. The mayor would know.
Yeah.
So how about this? Matter of fact, we ought to go to Woodstock after this once we're drunk.
Yes.
And whoop the mayor's ass. Are you ready for this? So
I'm
about
ready.
2 weeks ago, the mayor went to a private show that nobody knew about on Sunday afternoon of Blackberry Smoke at Mad Life.
I saw that fucking shit. I was so angry.
He didn't tell me about it.
I was angry.
Did he tell you about it?
No, but I was angry, jealous.
See, here's what I don't understand. So when you have the 4 horsemen of a county,
yes, you're right.
And it's really only 3, the mayor, the black sheep, and the uncle.
You're right.
And the mayor goes off and does his own shit because he's more focused on the fact he's getting married in 7 days.
It hurts a little.
It hurts a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
It does.
I mean, I forgive him. There's forgiveness in my heart. I got Jesus in there.
Yeah, but
there's hurt.
It stings. I'm not going to forget about it. Like it definitely. I saw all the stuff and was very jealous. I'll admit that. But yeah, it was tough to watch because I was like, how intimate of a cool set was that he got to just go sit and chill at? I would shit my pants because the last time I tried to go see Blackberry Smoke. I ended up in Cobb County Jail for the weekend.
Yes.
I'll tell you that whole story.
I need to hear that
Around
story.
my birthday, sons. Did a whole weekend there. Hardened criminal, goddamn. Listen, I saw things I don't even want to talk about there. All right. Cobb County, not like Cherokee County, sons. You go do a stretch like Uncle Randy did in Cobb, you come out a changed man, sons. Guess what it was over? A boating parking ticket that went to Alabama because that's where my ex lives.
Right.
I never knew about it. And so I get pulled over by a trooper, and I've got a warrant from the U.S. Marshals because the Army Corps of Engineers runs Alatoona.
Okay.
And it's a Friday of my birthday, November 28th. He's like, man, you got a warrant. Marshals want to extradite your ass. He's like, I don't like this doesn't make sense. Like, you know, you seem like a normal guy, but I got to take you down. And so I was like, cool, Mom. You know,
right.
My girlfriend will take care of it. I don't know if we were married yet or not, me and Brooke, but so I call her and she's like, okay, I'll figure it out. And so she had to chase the world to even know what it was. It's a $50 boat ticket. She pays it. And the woman that takes the payment was like in Rome. And she was like, oh, here's the bad news, though. Judge can't sign off on it till Monday. He's got to sit. He's going to sit in jail for the weekend of his birthday. We're going out to that old awesome place down on 85, Country Bills or some shit, where Blackberry Smoke was going to be. And that was like my birthday thing. I missed it.
Wild Bills.
Wild Bills. And I missed it. So I've got to, you know, I'm getting emotional again because of the mayor not letting us know about Black. That was, you know,
I just feel like there's some unwritten rules.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that.
When you're styling, profiling, limousine riding, jet flying, you take the whole crew with you.
Yeah. And people don't, you know, I tell them and they don't realize, listen, when you do time like that, you know, I didn't roll over on anybody. I didn't rat nobody out. I did my time. And then I came out and I realized I'm no criminal. And that's just from a weekend in Cobb County. I don't want that shit. I don't want that smoke, that life, no good. Because there were dudes in that motherfucker. Because I was just in the general like holding weekend. Dudes that were in there for, you know, fucking attempted murder.
Right.
A couple dudes. I traded them my
Is
bologna.
that where you met Rick the first time?
No.
I didn't know.
I may have. We may have run into each other.
There and didn't know it.
But I was trading my bologna. My sandwich bologna, sons, not the Uncle Randy bologna. Goddamn. Listen, hell, I love gays, straights, whatever, but Uncle Randy doesn't do that shit. Now, I do think a couple guys fucked in the showers. That's fine. I don't give a shit. Not me, though, son. Gave him my bologna sandwich meat in exchange for his Kool-Aid packets all weekend long.
So you learned the system quick.
Oh, yeah, because that bologna was this color gray.
Yes.
And I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
But two really rich young white kids that were in for like shoplifting came in and they wouldn't adhere to the telephone rule, which there's one phone in the thing. And there's a guy that keeps like on a scratch piece of paper, keeps your who's up.
Right.
And there's a rotation and they wouldn't adhere to that. And I saw them get drug into an area
that you never want to get drug into.
No, I don't want to get in the man. I don't want to be involved. And I was like laying up in the cot, like, no, you know, I want to go home. This is no good. And that's just every day. Because those kids didn't realize there's people here that are going to be away for 30 years.
Right. They don't give two shits.
They don't give no
They
shits.
assume you be there for 30 years with them.
So that's my Blackberry Smoke story. So I think I win that one.
Yeah. So mine's not as good. So the last time I saw Blackberry Smoke was in Macon, there in Lewis. And a buddy of mine, Doug Hill, and we left there and we're so intoxicated. We were halfway to Savannah on the way home before we realized we didn't come the right way. We got on 16 instead of 85.
Nice.
And so, but it was worth it because we saw smoke and there in Lewis with about 800 people in a small venue.
They've never done a bad set. I did see him with Zach Brown, but I've never seen them like headlighting, you know, Blackberry Smoke. So. Still want to do it, but John said he's a big boy. He'll take that ass whooping.
That's right.
That's the way you do it, son. So, who's your favorite MMA fighter?
100. Well, you know, I'm old school. I mean, I love Liddell. But how do you not like Conor? How do you be you and me and not like Conor McGregor?
See, here's the deal. I'm a Diaz guy.
I like Diaz.
I love both the Diaz brothers.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with them either. I mean, and boy, they can take a punch. And boy, they can give an ass whooping. And I'm
It's a scrap no matter what.
I'm struggling a little bit with Connor because there has to come a time. You don't ever tone down the humbleness, but after a couple of ass whoopings, you got to. This next fight's make or break for me.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
And so, and he's talking a lot of shit.
Well, he's done stirred the pot. I think Poirier fucked up about calling him out on the charity thing.
Yes.
And so now you're going to unleash the old Connor. Now, it's hard to beat that old Connor when you're sleeping in silk sheets.
It is hard.
The guy's got more money than anybody now.
I tell people all the time, it's easier to become number one than it is to stay number one.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get comfortable. I run a wrestling promotion, and it was easy that first year for us to win promotion of the year because I was hungry and wanted to show everybody up. That second year, we won it again, but it was hard because, man, we were there. And everyone's gunning for you then. And it's a whole different ball game. And I think that's what actually makes guys that – and if you've never won, you don't understand this. That's what makes a guy like Tom Brady so fucking spectacular is that he can win it, or Jordan. They win it.
Yep.
And they come in the locker room and won't even celebrate.
Yeah.
Because they're already –
because they want the next one.
Yeah. I remember them talking about Jordan in the locker room, and they're saying, man, they would win the NBA finals. Everybody's celebrating, and he can't even smile because he's like, when do we get started for next year?
Oh, yeah.
And it's never enough for him. And I think that's what makes those guys, I mean, just they're the cleaners, man. That's what makes them what they are and separate from everybody else.
Yeah, I think Connor, I'm 100% with you on this fight's make or break for him. For one, you start looking at his overall win-losses lately, it's not looking good. But he's got to figure out what he's going to be, Yeah. If he's a super rich business guy, he's kind of got to go back to the griminess, and he says he is for this camp. If this fight,
hey, man, he's got to be like Rocky when Rocky went to Russia.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you got to go
Absolutely.
back.
Got to go back to Russia, grow out the beard, sons. Tell the wife and kids you'll see him in 6 months.
Go back to your roots.
Yeah.
And people forget what the struggle's like. And even in stuff I do now, I forget what it was like when I was like, man, if this bombs, we're going to lose everything.
I'm not eating.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those days make you be successful. Or they break you. It depends on what you're made of.
Now, when you're a champion, this is a great topic. This is totally off. I had no plans to talk about this, but you bring up a great point. Because when I look back at times like that in my life, which we've got some similar scenarios where we both at different points in our life have built back from the brink of dog shit, of having nothing.
Right, nothing.
And honestly, once I got over the initial, like, okay, I have nothing shock, some of the best times of my life were on the way up. Like I can remember, didn't have much money, but had some of the best times of my life. With my wife, who was my girlfriend then, and we didn't have a pot to piss in.
Of course.
Didn't have a pot. Didn't have no podcast. They couldn't have bought none of this shit, sons. I'm talking about we were struggling. Uncle Randy pawned some shit, sons. I'm not too proud to say that shit, sons. I've been at the rock bottom gutter, no money, no job. Came from Alabama, no job, no prospects. Got a master's degree, sons. Nobody gave a shit.
Dude, I was dry. I lost everything in one day. Went to being homeless at a 1998 Jeep Cherokee that the transmission was that. It was automatic, but you had to drop it down into first and manually shift it to get it to go. You know how many times I wish I'd have kept that car just as a reminder?
Yeah.
Just as a reminder, man. And I was thankful for that car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, drive a $50,000 truck now, and I love it. But, man, I was thankful for that car. I remember my kids coming over the first time I was divorced, and all I had in my pocket was $5 to go get Little Caesars.
Oh, yeah.
And to this day, I still will go get a Little Caesars pizza just to remind myself what it was like when I had fucking nothing and I didn't give up on life.
That's a huge, huge testament to people that want to be champions. Listen, life's going to kick you in the balls. A lot of you young cats, I tell you, when I'm trying to help you out, like, look, you got to understand life's going to drop you sometimes. And you just got to push through that motherfucker. Listen, but those times when you do push are going to be some of the best times of your life. I'm telling you, when you look back on them.
And it will almost kill this generation growing up because mommy and daddy have sheltered those kids from failing.
Yeah.
They've sheltered them from fucking up. So when they fuck up, it's such a culture shock to them. They've never experienced it. They don't know what to do. Yep. But I tell people all the time, failure is not fatal. It's not. And so, man, it sucks. Sure. It sucks, and I don't do anything small. I blow up, man, it's on the front page of the paper. So, but man, you get your ass up because Here was an amazing thing when I lost everything. I always tell everybody I went into a funk for about 3 weeks and got a FedEx package to the door. And I was like, what the hell is this? And opened up the FedEx package, and it was my ex-wife sent me all the bills that were due that month. And all of a sudden reality hit me, and I thought, shit, my mortgage company don't give a fuck that I fucked up.
You're right.
The power company doesn't care that I lost my job.
None.
Do they know who I am? And they don't give a fuck who I am.
Zero.
Pay the gas bill.
Yep.
And most people fold under that.
Yeah, it hit me right when I was here, and we got everything worked out, and I was going to be driving to go get my son in Alabama. And early on, when we were so broke, that's $50 in gas, bro. There,
yeah,
and then back to here,
of course,
and then back there on Sunday, and back here. There's a time where that was an ordeal,
of course,
like of doing the math.
Yeah,
you know, and if you've never had to do the math before, I'm not talking about y'all's bullshit math now with the checkbooks. Everybody's got a little extra buffer. I'm talking about doing the math. Goddamn, where you got to carry the one and be sure. Okay, this is going to be okay this weekend, and we can go to McDonald's, maybe one movie, and that's it.
Right.
You know, like you're talking about the one pizza.
Yeah.
You know, that's a reality.
That memory is etched in my mind.
That feeling,
a feeling like my kids coming to see their dad for the first time, me having nothing because I've lost everything, counting up change and being like, I remember it was $5.30.
Oh yeah.
And I went and got a Little Caesars pizza, and I sat in the floor and ate pizza with my kids and was like, I'm 33 years old. This will not be the end of me.
Oh, sure.
And so fuck that.
Yep.
And the problem is most people fail and they live there in the shit instead of getting out of the shit and moving on with life. But you're getting on my hot topic subject with me right now. It's fucking quitters, man.
Oh, dude. Well, they use it
because life sucks sometimes. You get your ass up and you keep going.
And it can be a built-in excuse. Right. Listen, anybody can use it as an excuse. And to half of your friends, it'll be justifiable, right? To the half that you don't want, is that you don't need in your circle, right? I always talk about your circle. Those chairs should be up for competition every fucking day. If somebody better that brings more to your life, that takes away less but brings more, that chair should be open, son. So you get rid of those motherfuckers.
I always say you are now, or you soon shall be what your friends are. Show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. Show me the 5 people you do the most time with and I'll show you who you are.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, man, I tell people, man, if you can get, I don't even know the right terminology here, but you get rid of the weakest link of those 5 and add a stronger league,
it's a huge
watch
difference.
12 months how your life
Absolutely
changes.
Right. I've said it all along, dude. You will,
and that sounds cold-hearted, but it is what it is.
If you want to win, and that's everybody's like, what do you mean? Because Uncle Randy talks in championships and wins. That's all metaphorical, sons. Everything's a championship, whether it's a championship with getting your kids or a championship making more money or whatever. That's a championship mentality, right? To win that championship, which doesn't have to be a sporting event.
Yeah.
It can be anything.
I remember last year when COVID hit, I lost all my big events and I was blessed. And the mill came to me, the mill at Etowah, and said, hey, we want to start basically a farmer's market on Tuesday night, a maker's thing. Simple, easy. And about 2 weeks in, someone came to me because the city here has a farmer's market and Woodstock has a farmer's market. And they said, you're the only motherfucker I know that can turn a farmer's market into a competition.
Yep.
Why are you competing to have a bigger farmer? Who cares? And I said, I care.
Absolutely.
Because I want to know that I gave my best. If they have 40 vendors, I want to have 41 vendors.
Absolutely.
If they had 303 people there, I want to have 305 people because I refuse to lose.
Yep. And I'm going to read a couple comments here. This is incredible. This is why I love the people that luckily me and you have incorporated with us on both sides, friends and family and people that follow us. You know, you got people, Shay here, been there. Heather Gaudio, you have to keep going. Bubba, of course, fuck quitting. Bubba, shout out, just left the job that he's a good cushy
county job,
doing
nothing but talk to me on the phone every day.
That's a winner, though.
Yes,
that's betting on himself.
Yes,
you know, not many people bet on themselves. They talk all the shit, right? Oh, I'm the man. You won't bet on yourself.
That's right.
You wouldn't quit a fucking county job to do your dream. I know you wouldn't.
Right.
98% of the people that say I'm a champion would not bet on themselves.
No, because they don't have the confidence to do it. And especially in this economy, they don't have the confidence to do it.
Oh, hell no. They just don't have the balls. I'm just going to say it straight up. You don't have the nutsack to do it. Listen, Bubba does. Bubba said, fuck that, man. I'm going to go for my dream. Props to Bubba. Make some of the dopest gear out there for sporting equipment, sons. We wear it at High School Legends. Whatever, sons. We wear it. He's the fucking man. John Little saying, you guys are spitting fire. Absolutely. Heather Yeah, there's Heather saying, so proud of you, Bubba. Absolutely. He's a champ. People should bet on themselves more, sons. I've always said that. You listen, champions want to tote the fucking rock.
Always.
You hear me say that all the time. Coach, give me the fucking rock. I live by that credo, sons.
Yeah.
I want the fucking rock. I don't care how old I am, how beat up I am. When the shit hits the fan, I want me taking the shot. That's just me.
I have some phenomenal people in my life. Bubba, Rick, John. But at the end of the day, when it boils down to it, as much as I love them and as incredible as I think all them people are, I have the most confidence in myself to make sure it's going to happen.
And guess what? If I brick the fucking shot, I'm okay with that.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to crumble because I've been through real shit.
Yeah, I've missed the shots.
Which is where we talked about. You know, we've both been broke to where you're fucking, you know, pawning shit, got $5. To me, I almost wish people could go through that in a way and not have to go through it necessarily, but feel it, right? Because
I want them to go through it.
I mean, that's fair. There's times where I sit in my car, right, and I've got like a new Camaro and everything's nice in it, and I'm like, there's always a piece of me that's waiting on the shit to go away again.
Yeah,
like to waiting on the shoe to dry, and I don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
Like I want to always have that. Where I'm like, this house might get taken away someday. Like I don't know.
So my wife and I, every time I set out, I work for myself. I do events. So every event's a different event. It's a new risk, and every time that I step out, there's tens of thousands of dollars on the line. And we ask ourselves, what's the worst case scenario? And always is worst case scenario, we go to a 1-bedroom apartment and we start over.
Yep.
Are you willing to do that? Yeah. Cool.
Let's
go
for it.
You
got a good woman. No.
She's great.
That's when you got the right one.
She buys into all my shit. I had a guy tell me one time, I've got a big idea right now for something I want to do. I mean, it is redneck as a motherfucker. And I think it will be huge. And a mentor of mine who's done huge events said, are you willing to cash out every bit of money you have, put it in the middle of a room, pour gasoline in it, and set it on fire? And I said, yeah. He goes, then fuck yeah, let's do it. And awesome. he goes, because that's the only thing I can equate this idea to is you might lose everything, but who gives a shit? If we lose it, we just get it back.
This is a great comment from Angel Rodriguez. Your support system spouse has a lot to do with it. The people that believe in you. That's true.
Yeah.
I give dude, trust me. My wife
Angel's been listening to me for 3 to 4 years every Sunday. She knows.
My wife, I know, can have a great time with Uncle Randy and ramen noodles.
Right.
I know she's okay with that because we've done that before.
Yeah.
And she is the most okay with it.
Yeah.
So
my wife would be easier with, my wife had nothing when I met her. And when she met me, we had nothing. We lived in a fucking rental house. Then we moved into a $135,000 house as the only Caucasians on Marietta Road, the only English speaking people in town.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, just bought a $500,000 home and moved in there. And I told the neighbors, I said, you're going to be offended if I hang up Dale Earnhardt sheets in the windows? I mean, like, shit, we're the Clampetts moving up in that neighborhood.
Oh, absolutely. Here's what we did, right? Brooke luckily had a house because when I came here, I didn't have the pot to piss in.
Right.
And I moved here and I'm like, hey, I'm your new saving grace. You got a place where I can sleep?
Right.
I got no job.
Right.
I got dick.
Yeah.
Do you still believe in me?
Yeah.
And she's like, of course I do.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out, dude. And it's not easy to get a job in the industry that I'm in and shit. And so it took a while. And I mean, no fucking money. That champion went through all that. So I have no doubts that she'll go to the ends of the world with Uncle Randy because we've been there.
I remember when me and Christine got married, I came home from work and her previous husband, he had a job, unlike me. So went to work every day, came home. How was work? I did this, and this.
Sure.
I'd come home. So what you did? Well, hung out with so-and-so and went and did this and played on Facebook. You didn't work? I'm like, no, I worked. And I said, I'll never forget the first time we got married and had an event. I brought home a big fat check. And I said, now that looks like a lot of money, but I need you to understand that doesn't happen on the 1st and 15th. There probably won't be another one of those for 5 months.
Sure.
So let's make sure that stretches.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's going to happen every now and again. Now, this is Shannon Jett. I went to college with Shannon. He's a fucking legend, this guy. And he's like, man, loving the show. I've been through some shit, my brother. I moved into projects when I was 5, been working since I was 8, cutting grass, had a full-time job since 12, put myself through college and paid my damn way and loans off, by the way. He is a champion. Right. He's also a minority. He's a Native American champion, paid his way his whole life. I know this guy from the ground up. And that's what I worry about when I talk about the young kids today, and Gary actually hit on that, is hoping that they get some of the piss and vinegar and grind that I hope isn't being lost on everybody.
Yeah. And
that
you know
scares
what?
me.
We even have to be careful about that with our kids.
Yeah.
Because you could want to shelter your kids from the heartache you went to, forgetting that the heartache
made you.
The mess is what's made me. My great ministry comes from my mess. You know,
it is true, and that's a hard line to walk and see where that's really paying off for me. And I don't know how old your kids are, but now that I've got a 16-year-old,
yeah,
I'm kind of seeing that, right? Like he follows the show now.
Yeah,
his buddies love Uncle Randy.
Yeah.
Son, I'm talking about they love Uncle Randy. Goddamn, his high schoolers, when I go, they're like, Uncle Randy, I love you, man. This is shit,
right?
Which is cool, you know. And I love those kids, and I try to. That's part of the platform of Uncle Randy is to reach out to them to the championship mindset that I talk about, the grind, you know, just know that you're going to win. Nobody's better than you, you know, you got to have that belief. And it's concerning. And I'm guilty of it too, where I say all this and then I catch myself giving my kids money and cash and shit. And I'm like, God, man, I should take that shit back. Really? Like I should make them go out and fucking sweep the garage and shit. So it's tough, you know. I know. And it's not easy.
We deal with that balance all the time of being a blessing to our kids, but also being a parent to our kids and saying, you want that, go out and do it. I do my events. My daughter works the concession stand every time. Yeah. She keeps all the money from it, but she works it. My 9-year-old works it. I do a market on Tuesdays. I'm probably fixing to turn that market over to my 14-year-old daughter.
That's awesome. And, that's actually a great idea.
I mean, and let her run it, you know, because I want them to be able to chase their dreams too. And they can't chase their dreams working at McDonald's flipping hamburgers for $7.25, 25 hours a week.
This is a good. Sam Skaggs spent most of 2020 jobless, lost jobs due to some of my passions, but you can't let it get to you.
Yeah, you know who that is?
Sucks. No,
your wife was talking about him earlier. That's Hold My Beer Hansen. Fucking legend.
Fucking A. You're coming on the show too soon. I love that fucking guy. That's a winner guy.
Your wife was just telling me. We came to the show and loved
Hold My Beer. He was my favorite guy.
Yeah, dude.
That's him.
Let me tell you what I love about Hold My Beer.
Oh, dude.
Kid's young. He asks every show, message me. What can I do to make the show better? What can I do to improve? I know I've hurt his feelings, but you know what? Every time I give him advice, he listens to it. It's okay to get your fucking feelings hurt.
Dude, an ass
suck it up for 10 seconds and move on and be like, how do I learn from that?
Listen, that's being coachable.
Yeah.
I remember, you want to be a winner, be coachable.
I remember the first job I ever had, and everybody's like, Gary's your favorite. He said, Gary's not my favorite. He said, Gary's just the only one I can chew out that takes it. You guys bitch.
You're pussies.
Right.
Pussies, right. Goddamn, and they're everywhere. Listen, let me tell you, I'm just going to plant this seed out there, goddamn. We can run with it. Listen, we'll talk about it. We'll get the agents together and shit. Thinking Uncle Randy needs to make a cameo, maybe as his fucking manager or some shit in red. Listen, I love that motherfucker. That dude stuck out in that whole show, which was fantastic. Me and you talked before. Yeah. This isn't no bullshit. Incredible show. I put it up against anybody, and some of the ones that these like older wrestlers, they start doing indie wrestling, and they talk about it like it's some big shit.
Yeah,
blows it out of the fucking water. I'm talking about shit they think is like old school territorial bullshit, dude. Fucking Southern Honor baby blows the dick off of them.
And Hold My Beer Hansen is over like fucking Rover.
The fucking pop he gets.
Yeah, because he gets work in the gimmick. Is he the best in the ring? No, he's only been doing
it 2 years.
Who
gives a shit, though?
Who gives a shit?
I'm more about his entrance from getting to the curtain to the ring.
Yes.
That motherfucker wins every time.
Right. Crowd loves him.
Love that guy. Fuck, I'm glad you told me that's who he is. Champion right there, sons. Champion. But, dude, so I do want to get to Southern Honor. We'll talk to him. By the way, Dustin David just... Speaking of Fire Marshal Bill, he said, thanks to him, Jacob says, hold my beer now.
Great. Well, there we go.
His little boy.
That's awesome. That's winning.
That is winning.
That's teaching that kid the right way. He knows not to spill any beer before he does something crazy.
And so here's a question we had, and this is kind of like my format, because now we're into the regular time. I'm going to jump all over the place, and if we start getting into a topic that is an area where listeners ask the question, I'll ask their question first. Awesome. That way we don't answer it.
Sounds like plan.
In the conversation.
Sounds like a plan.
So the first thing came to somebody. They sent me a question. This is actually one of my friends, and they were like, listen, I think you and Gary are going to be great, but I do want to know, why are you guys both always selling? I was going to let you answer first, see if you had an answer. And I don't know if they're talking about wrestling selling.
No, I think they're just
Branding,
talking about
selling.
always pushing our thing. I think it's because we legitimately for me,
Yeah.
I legitimately believe in what I do.
Absolutely.
And this is what I do to make a living. I promote events and I do stuff, and I always have to be on. And as stupid as it sounds, I don't have time to bitch and moan and whine. And I had a guy tell me one time, he said, when you get sick of hearing yourself promote an event, chances are the majority of people are hearing it for the first time.
Absolutely. I heard you say that on Mockingbird Pod. It was a great point.
And dude, that rocked my world. And here's the story I want to tell you. So we have a guy that's been coming to our church for 2 years. I pastor a church.
I bet that's Rick Cope, by the way.
Probably.
At the door.
So probably.
I'm willing to guarantee. I haven't even looked yet. You just heard me see the nest?
Yeah, go ahead, look.
That's Rick, I bet.
I don't know that we can let him live on air.
Oh, hang on. That looks like it is, sons. Oh, it is. It's horrifying. Oh, now he's standing too close. That's Rick.
Dear God, help us, Jesus.
Let me see if Brooks out.
Does he not know we're live right now?
I don't know. I'm gonna go straight to us. We can talk to him. Listen, hell, we're in the fancy neighborhood. We got one of these damn rings. I can talk to him. Should be open. I've always told people, listen, if you're a friend of Uncle Randy, the door's usually open. Come on in. Hey, Rick, are you there? I'm talking to you, Rick. Are you there? Oh, Brooke let him in.
Oh,
That's him.
shit.
He's coming up here, sons.
Here we go. It's on.
We're about to get the smoke, sons. I feel like this is going to be some. This is not planned.
This
just
might,
so
just where
knows.
you know, if Uncle Randy gets banned from Facebook, he will be back under a new name tomorrow. You, Randy.
Yes,
look
you,
for
Randy.
it on Facebook.
Yeah, or Unc Randy 21231. Is it? Yes.
Dear
I guess
God in heaven.
It's the fucking legend, sons. What the fuck is happening here? There he is, sons.
Still dressed for work. Been moving machinery all day, driving a truck, keeping America running.
That's yours right there, brother. All ready to go.
Oh, that ain't bourbon, is it?
No, this is a Fireball.
Yeah, because I'm a sissy.
That's the bourbon.
Yeah,
Here, cheers to Rick.
Blocking the
We've
camera. Nobody, all anybody can see now is his back.
There you go. No,
side.
stand right there by. Stand right here, Rick. Let everybody see your pretty mug. There he is. Goddamn. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Silvertown and Championship, sons.
That's right.
By the way, that's Rick Cope. That's the guy I was telling you about that got hit by a driver, knocked his leg clear off. He picked it up, stuck it back on, and then got a skin graft to hold it together, and he still got it. So,
Worse than anything.
champion. He's also the one who brought the little gun right in the shirt pocket, right in the tits, sons. Like, I'm always good. Boom. No problem. Don't try Rick Cope, sons. That's your fault. White boy right there. So what's up, Rick? You hear us shooting the shit over here?
Yeah, my wife sent me down. She was worried about Gary.
Oh, why?
You're her favorite son-in-law.
Well, I'm her only son-in-law, but
we were singing her praises, though. She's a wonderful woman.
Oh, she is.
She's awesome. I love her.
She's the shit.
She puts up a Rick.
She puts up a Rick.
And does it so with a smile,
right?
You know, which is
the
not
most
easy
calm
to do.
Lady in the world.
Has the most fun.
Yeah.
That's why he bought the fancy ass golf cart, sons. Smart man.
That's right.
Smart
That's
man.
right.
Mama's happy, sons.
So.
Yeah, you got like that model no one's even got yet. That's fucking cool, new ass shit.
See, then Gary got one too.
Yeah, yours has got the wipers on it. Who the fuck, dude? That's so top of the line.
Camera in case you got a fat chick on the back, you can't see her.
Ballers, man, ballers. By the way, he's got, what is that? A Road King? Your bike? Is it a Road?
Ultra.
Oh, an Ultra. Okay, see, so he's got a bike that's beautiful, out riding, blows your eardrums when he drives by your house. It's fucking incredible. Love that bike.
Living the dream.
Yeah, the dream.
Kids are gone.
So while
gets to get the grandkids every now and then.
While Gary's here, Rick, I want you to I don't know if he heard about it, but we were talking about Silvertown a little bit ago.
Right.
And most people here that are listening know you of some way. You're a legend. But when, you know, your mom and dad recently passed pretty close together.
3
like that,
weeks.
they went, yeah, very close. You know, that's both a very happy story and horrible that you lost your parents. But so you did a drive, you know, you gave them a last ride.
Yeah.
And you left and the Silvertown Champions.
Let me tell you about Silvertown.
Yeah,
that was
tell
awesome.
them a little bit about Silvertown. It was one of the more moving things. I promise you. Uncle Randy's the toughest motherfucker you'll ever know, sons. Hell, I'll go toe to toe with anybody. Goddamn, I was getting misty eyed. That shit was awesome.
You made my wife cry to the point where she almost fell off the motorcycle she was on.
Yeah.
We
So you did the awesome
we
last
had to
ride.
do something for my mother. My mother had a lot of dying wishes, didn't she, Gary? I
She
still
knew what
got
she
her
wanted.
dog. I still got her damn dog. But she wanted to go for a ride, her last ride on the motorcycle.
Which was awesome.
So I put it on Facebook. Hey, if anybody's not doing it, and it was not a good day. It wasn't a bad day weather-wise, but it wasn't a really good
It
weather.
was supposed to
Yeah.
be horrible.
It was supposed to be horrible. Friends of mine that lived over by Alabama were actually coming this way and turned around because of the rain.
Yeah.
Having said that, I had 25 or so people show up at my house drinking cold beer that morning. And
to hear you.
oh, I'm
Speak into
sorry.
that. There you go. That's good.
Dustin Davey, Fire Marshal Bill.
Yep.
He called me. He said, "Hey, man, what time are y'all leaving?" So we told him. And I said, "Well, come on, bring the kids up. You want to see the bikes?" He says, "No, we'll be down here where we can see you when you leave."
Yeah.
We had no idea. None. So we put my mother in a waterproof bag, put a helmet on her, safety first.
Safety first, sons.
Then we
Listen
put-
to him.
Then we put my dad in his T-Bird. He had
T-Bird.
a 2004 replica T-Bird that he loved.
Yep.
Him and my mother. So we put him in the passenger seat. My sister drove that. I rode my mom on the bike, and 20 some motorcycle friends followed us.
Yep.
We went the slowest way there possible so we could just enjoy the ride.
Sure.
We come down the hill at the end of this street where our pool is.
Yep.
Town Mill Rocks. All my friends from Silvertown were out there in their golf carts.
Yep.
And their bicycles and their cars and their flags, and they were all out there, and they paid their respects. And the kids even put their hands on their hearts.
Oh, it was incredible.
To the point where my wife, who was riding on the back of John Grzulawicz's motorcycle, she broke down, and I mean, she bawled her eyes out.
Yeah, I saw her.
She
So
did.
you could see it.
And all I did, I went by and just told everybody else, I just love y'all.
You did. And it was
And-
the most scary I love you I've ever gotten in my life, because you rode
Yeah.
by and you were like, "I love you motherfuckers more than you could
Yeah, I
ever
mean,
know." Those were your exact
But I
words.
meant it.
You
But I
did.
meant it.
Oh, I know you did. And we meant it. Like,
Yeah.
when I say I'm not trying to glow, like, that's the
No.
kind of world I wish everyone lived in, right? Like, this
Big
Silvertown's great, but dude, that was the coolest. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
It
You
was
know,
great.
like, it was the coolest thing I've been a part of in a long time.
Unbelievable, without a doubt. So.
And that's just good people being good people, sons, all the way around. You
Yeah,
know
just
what I'm
watching
saying?
it on the pictures was awesome.
What
Yeah.
was bad though, we got to the church, and my mother, with all her wishes, was also very forgetful. And this one pastor that she really, I don't want to say she didn't care for him, but he didn't do for her what she liked.
Mhm.
He didn't do it. But there was Gary and then Jared that she just had to have them speak.
Sure.
Then this guy comes by right before she passes, and she says, "Well, you'll have to speak at my funeral." Well, hell, we don't want to be there all day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've been how many months, Gary, trying to, we
Yeah.
just want it over with, man. I mean, I hate
Yeah.
to sound like that, but
No, I
we've
get
had
that.
enough.
Yeah.
And turned out great though, and we got through it, and I went home and I slept for about 15 hours and finally had everything come to an end. But it was pretty good. People, if you ain't heard Gary Lamb speak, especially at a funeral when he speaks from his heart, it's pretty damn amazing. So,
Oh, it is. We haven't even scratched the surface yet with
Yeah.
talking about that, because I've I know Gary can get down, but I'm so glad you came by, Rick. For
I
that
had to.
story, I don't want people to misconstrue that in the wrong way. I just want that to show you,
you
like,
guys
to
were
be
there
goals
us.
for your community, right? Like, know your neighbors. Like, if anything that has come from COVID that's good, it made this community get to know each other,
That's right.
right? Like, it kind of forced us to, right? Now we're a fucking force. Learn to love your neighbor. Like, if you go meet your neighbor, they might be the coolest motherfucker you had no idea was that cool, right? That happened to me a bunch with people in this neighborhood.
Oh, it's like where they moved.
Yep.
Yeah, we got great neighbors.
You got really good neighbors. They really do. So
Yeah, you got
But-
people chiming in. Dustin saying he loves you. Linda saying she loves the story. Just all kind of people pouring out, saying they love Rick Cope, the legend. So way to
I
come
had
steal our
make that
thunder.
Stop by here because I got to look out for my son-in-law.
Right.
Oh, you do.
I'll call you if I can't drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he called my wife
Oh
out.
yeah, I got your number too. We'll text you if he's got to have a ride. Absolutely.
It's not the same as when the titty bar used to do it. Say,
Hey,
I
we're
got
going to get
girls
into that.
under
That's
your
actually
house.
question number one. Listen, y'all think I'm bullshitting.
Well,
What's
it-
that top question say?
Are you a titties or an ass man? Yeah.
We haven't even got there
We
yet.
haven't even
Rick
got
Cope
there.
starts
Rick
it.
Cope's got to leave because that's his daughter.
That's
that
right.
he's married
I
to,
know,
so-
but we're just talking about in general.
In
Are
general.
you, are you titties or an ass man? Because I can break you down based on that for most guys.
Geez,
So
let me think. I'm married now.
Get out before you get in trouble.
I look for the heart.
yes, you
Yes.
do. You sure
Yeah.
do. Because
Yes.
that's what's important.
That's
sons.
right.
It's what's inside.
That's
that
right.
matters.
What's
Listen,
inside.
don't get it wrong.
Don't get his.
Hey,
Even though
they're
my wife
beautiful
bought
on the
me titty
inside.
slippers,
yeah. I almost wore my Claremont Lounge shirt for
I love that
this.
place.
One of my favorite places on earth, by the way. I don't care what you guys say. Uncle Randy, hell, he's a sinner, sons. I love that fucking place. Claremont Lounge. If you call yourself an Atlantean or whatever, you're
Yeah,
full
so
of
I
shit.
have
If
the
you've never been
original.
there.
I saw your mom dance at the Claremont Lounge shirt.
That's-
Matter of fact, you gave it to me.
I want that.
You gave
shirt.
it to me
I
year.
Did I?
Yeah,
Who
7
will
years
sell,
ago.
Who will sell me? I have a
8
crushed.
years ago.
I have a crushed beer can signed by Blondie.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Hey.
Respect.
Have you met her niece who crushes them with her ass?
Yeah.
Her niece puts them between the butt cheeks. Much more impressive, sons.
Yeah.
'Cause with the tits, you got the hands. The ass, she just claps that motherfucker. Boom.
Yeah.
She's younger though. Blondie's, she's been around, sons.
Legend.
It's a family
She's done
tradition.
coke with Kid Rock, sons, Anthony Bourdain. She's a
They were-
fucking
they
legend.
loved it in there.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. It's the place. If you haven't been there, you're fucking
No.
crazy. Cheap beer too. Good cheap beer.
Yeah. The lady that owns it does a pretty good deal.
Yeah, my favorite was the Little Red Riding Hood grandma that would come in there and show you a pinky ring and try to give you a dance. I'd be like, I'll pay you $20 to go dance with my buddy.
Exactly. Do not
me.
dance with
Yeah,
me.
I'm cool. This is great and everything, but he wants it real bad. This guy over here.
I had a jealous girlfriend at one time, and we all rode motorcycles down there, and it was about 40 some people.
Yeah.
And the last thing she said when we got off the bike, she said, "You better not know one of these fucking bitches." And I said, "Oh no, I don't know nobody in here."
No, they're 30 years older than you, Rick. That's the thing. That's why they're awesome.
Dude, we walked in the door, and there was some chick on stage. They only have the one,
Yeah.
where the bar's around it. We all walk in. She's bent over in a pair of house shoes, nothing else on. She's touching her toes and shaking all that ass.
Yeah.
She looks between her knees and she said, "White boy."
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yes.
things
Yes.
went quick.
That's when you know you're a legend, son.
So,
Let me tell you this though, real quick before you go. So everyone here, Gary's met Brooke. Rick knows Brooke very well.
very well.
She's by far the champion of champions when it comes to this marriage. I've pulled her out of a fight at the Claremont. Most people don't know
I
that.
wouldn't doubt.
From a stripper, the tattooed girl who was kind of like their cliche covered in tats.
Yeah.
Brooke was whooping her fucking ass, and I broke it up, and they threw me out. They threw me out for breaking it up and trying to settle the shit because that girl tried to cut in the line to the women's pisser, and it was a mile long because the pissers at the Claremont are small. And she's trying to cut the line. Brooke ends up getting all in her head, beating. I'm seeing them spilling out of the shitter. I'm splitting them
Damn.
up. I get tossed. She's a champion, so
Hey, I
don't
love
fuck
the
with
shirt, by the way, Gary.
Thank you, brother.
So
You'll
I
have
need-
one
I-
soon.
I need mine.
her.
We'll
All
get you
more
one.
shot of Fireball, and I'm out your door.
Let's do
man.
it, Rick. I'll do it with you, sons.
I'm out
All
your
day.
door.
Me and you and
Gary will
we'll
have
sit-
bourbon, I guess.
Hey, Gary's drinking that whole bourbon, by the way. I've had one little taste, and man, I'm not
We're just
man
sipping
enough.
it. We're just sipping
I'm
it.
not man.
We're
Dude,
talking
you're-
business.
Did he
business.
bring in a new bottle, or did somebody
He-
already?
No,
he
I,
brought the
I brought
bottle.
that because I'm
Uncle Randy
a
brought it.
champion. Dude, that's what champions do.
All right, champ.
Oh, what? Dude, what is that?
What is wrong with that? I was wondering, but I didn't want to call you
Well,
out.
that's how you
some
tell a
subpar.
guy who's got toddlers. He doesn't want to spill it.
No, that's some bullshit right
All
there.
right.
Sons to champions to Rick Cope,
Here's
the
best
legend.
podcast ever.
Absolutely. Hang on, one more.
Well, now
Hold
we
on,
got-
I gotta get some now.
All right.
Hell yeah. All
Right here, sons. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, God. So much fireball.
Now we got to get him out of here. He'll never stop talking.
Rick,
Right, I
hey,
gotta go. Bye.
hey, we will text you, though, if Gary needs a ride.
We're good.
We
Call
got
my
you. though.
wife. I'm old in bed.
So
Hey, give her our best. Tell her that
You
she's
did.
awesome.
She's watching.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Love that lady. She's the fucking best.
See y'all.
See you,
See ya.
brother. So there's Rick Cope, sons.
There we
Try to
go.
tell you about it. That's how
Cameo
Silvertown
appearance.
rolls. Not planned, just shows the fuck up. All right,
does
so-
what he wants when he wants. Why are we always selling ourselves? I ain't
Yeah.
fucking forgot the question.
Yeah, good way to go back to the question.
Hey, here's where it hit me. Ready?
Yep.
2-time promotion of the year in the state of Georgia.
Yep.
I run it out of my fucking building.
Yep.
Dude comes to church every Sunday. Leaving church 3 months ago. We've been running wrestling for 2 years. Fucking posters. There's a fucking wrestling ring in the auditorium pushed against the wall.
It's awesome.
He's like, man, I was watching Chris Jericho's YouTube the other day and he talked about you.
Yep.
Are you involved in wrestling? I said, what the fuck are you talking about? He said, I love wrestling. I said, you know we run a wrestling promotion here every month. He's like, I didn't know that. I said, what do you mean you didn't know that? I had no clue. Here's where it hit me. You know why he didn't know it? Because he's got a fucking life.
Yeah.
He's got a wife and a job and kids and stress. Yep. And the last thing on his mind on Sunday mornings or whenever he's around me is paying attention to wrestling. So you always got to be selling, because when you get sick of talking about it, they're hearing it for the first time.
Absolutely.
I had someone message me today, what's this podcast you're going to be on? Yep. I said, we've been talking about it for 2.5 weeks. Oh, I just saw it for the first time today. Right.
That I heard you say that's actually, I always tell people when Uncle Randy says shit, I say, write that down.
Right.
That's one that I wrote down mentally when you were talking about it. When you're tired of talking about it, somebody's hearing it for the first time, that'll stick with me. And I'm not too proud to say, I steal shit from people all the time, sons, and all champions do.
Yeah.
All champions do. If you can take someone from somebody and make them some sort of a mentor in your life, that's just you being smart.
Charles Spurgeon was one of the most famous preachers ever. He was probably the first mega church pastor hundreds of years ago. And someone asked him one time, they said, are all your sermons original? And he said, all originality and no plagiarism makes for boring preaching.
Absolutely.
And so, man.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take your idea and make it better.
Yeah. Because see, here's why and I'm just kind of pushing on your point about always selling. Listen, not only like you were saying, because I believe in the shit I'm talking about, listen, is I truly do want to help people remember that every single person is capable of achieving their dreams, whatever that dream is. People give up like they're just not capable. And I hate that shit. It's being driven into society by our leaders that you should just settle for the bullshit that you're at. That's the best you're ever going to be, and you should be happy with that. That's horseshit, sons. That's horseshit.
And I'll tell you another reason why we're always selling, and I'll push back too and say we're not selling. We're being who we are. The greatest gimmicks in life is being who you are. Uncle Randy is who you are.
Absolutely.
Gary fucking Lamb was who I am. Yep. I tell my crowd on Sunday, you might not like me on Sunday, but you're not going to like me Monday through Saturday. We were talking about Rick earlier before we were on air. He's Rick Cope. 24/7 all the time.
That guy.
You got calm Rick tonight. You got tired. I've been driving 18-wheeler all day, Rick. Yep. He's balls to the wall. He don't know how to read a room.
Absolutely not. He gives zero shits.
Is it we're selling, or are we just living in an awesome place called freedom where we don't give two fucks what anyone thinks and we live life by our own rules?
That's a great point. And I think it's probably some of both.
Yeah. Most people wish they had that freedom.
Yeah. And you got to take that freedom. It's up to you. You know, you can sit here and accept the fact that you have to be censored all day and you have to be politically correct. And that's a choice you make. Listen, I don't hate on people that aren't willing to speak on controversial topics. I get it. Shit's tough.
No joke.
But fuck that, bro. I just can't do it. I can't not be the guy that's going to speak on what I think. And I don't think there's a problem with that, because I don't care about the guy that speaks the alternative to my thought.
Right, me either.
I don't care. That's great.
Used to be a day and time where you could disagree with people and still drink bourbon with them.
Absolutely. And I live that way.
Yeah. Dude, and people can't do that anymore.
They choose. Someone told me them.
Someone told me the other day, they said, all you do is fight. I said, no. I never fight on Facebook. I said, you'll never see me comment on anything.
Oh, they fight with you.
I said, I make a post and I never comment. There'll be 400 comments because here's the deal. I don't need to argue. You already made my fucking point in my post.
Oh, or your buddies will take up for you, and they might fight with them on your behalf.
Day long. I have to call them. I have to call off the dogs all the time.
I do too. I have to be like, hey, bro, it's cool. That person's cool.
Man.
That person's cool, they're actually. Good, like, I know you don't know who they are.
You don't know
they're actually a good person.
You don't know their backstory. It's good.
You know, and I get that a lot because listen, like I said, Uncle Randy's a very conservative guy. I got friends that are liberals, bro.
Yeah.
All day. And they're good people.
Yeah.
They believe totally different than me. We have completely different scopes of life. But I could sit down and drink with them all day. They're good people. We just don't agree on the basic principles. I actually love
my liberal friends more than my conservative friends because I know my liberal friends are going to need me one day.
They sure will.
They're going to need someone when they're getting their face kicked in to come along and be that black sheep, be that mad dog, and take care of them. Yeah. So I'm more protective of them than I am anybody. let's go back to the question too about ass or titties.
Yeah, we do got to answer that. So I do want to hear your answer. You go ahead.
So my answer is, and this is not a bullshit answer. Are you ready?
Yep.
Both.
All right, that's a fair answer.
They're equal.
Yeah.
Like I love ass,
Mhm.
tits, everything. You know, if you would have asked me hair color, because I'm a ginger man. I married a ginger. I'm all about the ginger. But man, I mean, like tits and no ass, not working for me.
No,
All
it's
ass,
terrible.
no tits, not working for me.
Yeah.
Pat out, total
Yeah.
package. Because you know why champions
That's
don't
good.
settle.
They're right.
They don't settle for one
good.
when they can have both. I don't need to decide between cheesecake and chocolate cake. I'm going to eat both of them.
Absolutely right. Listen, and Uncle Randy's very stringent on this. Listen, the reason why I asked this question is because Uncle Randy's a champion of both. Listen, all tits are great. Like to guys.
Yeah.
Guys, we love tits,
Right.
right? I love titties.
Fake,
goddamn.
natural, it don't matter.
Yeah, no one's going to
You
say,
say, but he's a pastor. It doesn't matter.
nobody's
They're
going to
still
say
incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody says, "Oh God, those tits are gross," they're full
Yeah,
of shit.
right.
They can be the biggest, saggiest cans. They can be the
Right.
nicest, perkiest cans.
Right.
Cans are wonderful, but Uncle Randy's all about the differential, right? The nipple, the areola to tit size has to be right. God damn, when that starts getting skewed. That's
And it
my
can get
personal
skewed.
script. And it can get skewed. And it does get skewed. And that doesn't make you a lesser person. Sometimes those damn dinner plates, if they're too humongous, we got to get the ratio right. And that's just my preference. But I'm more like, I lean more toward the ass guy. But I agree with you 100%. You can't beat ass and no tits at all. Like
No.
then if you're or if you're the opposite, no ass at all.
Well, and ass is interesting. Are we talking tight, compact ass?
That's what
Are we
mean.
talking big booty shaking ass? Because I'm not anti a big booty shaking ass.
Yeah. I'm more of
so
like,
what are we talking?
I'm talking more of like the mixture of those two where there needs to be some size mixed with some tonnage.
Boom.
It can't be just garbage size.
No.
Like garbage size is too much. But if it's big,
But I'm going to tell you,
also
enough bourbon. And I'm all right with garbage size.
You'll be over there.
Okay.
Blondie's good to go all day. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Talking about cancel culture was going to sit in. Here's the deal. I'm a white boy, and I don't got enough downtown for big, bodacious booty to do anything with it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I hope Rick's not home yet so we don't hear that. That's like I told my wife when I met her. I said, listen, this tongue's not just for preaching.
Sure.
And so we're going to overcompensate for other areas.
Yes.
So sometimes the big, bodacious booty, while I'm not anti it can scare me off.
Sure. And John Little, the mayor right here, just you motorboating son of a bitch. That's from Wedding Crashers.
Listen, let's talk
champion.
about something about the mayor real
John
quick.
Little.
So I did his wedding 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, how was that, by the way?
That motherfucker outkicked his coverage.
Of course he did.
She's-
That's not the most handsome fella you've ever met. But
No.
I mean, I'm not saying neither is Uncle Randy. So
Yeah.
just take that
But
for what
not
it
even
is.
that. So like I met Stacy a couple of times, but not met her.
She's just that much better, even
Dude,
intellectually.
she's so,
Yeah,
well,
that happens.
She's the real deal.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
here's the problem with it. But here's what I always question things. And people can question this about Christine too. I understand. But I question this about Heather all the time, Rick's wife.
Yeah.
But is she the real deal? Because her ass is in love with John Little.
Mhm.
Like, so she can't all be there. As
For
much
sure.
as she seems like she has it together, there's
Something's wrong.
something not completely there because she legit loves him.
That's true.
Like,
It's
I think that about
fascinating.
Heather. Everyone's like, Heather's so perfect. I said, but is she? Or is she a psycho serial killer that we don't know about?
She could
Because
be.
at the end of the day, she's literally head over heels in love with Rick Cope, and something ain't right there.
Which is very nuts.
That's nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You know, just the fact that guy is such a winner, but also, listen, Rick Cope just here. Y'all know.
I hear him out there talking. I'm pretty sure he's macking on your wife
I think
right
he's
now.
still out there with Brooke. They're probably having a toast.
Yeah,
and he's probably talking about how he's going to get rid of both of our bodies.
probably.
And that's fine because I think he's done it before. Listen,
Yeah.
that's just me. Somewhere in his life, Rick
So
Cope,
you-
and he's a godly man, son.
So
but
you
somewhere in
only
his
met
life-
Rick. You didn't meet. So I met Christine, and there was Rick,
Keep going. I'm gonna
and-
grab a beer.
and there was an Uncle Jerry. So Uncle Jerry was straight from Michigan, served years in prison. So listen to this: served years in prison because some dude raped a girlfriend of his. Jerry stabbed the guy like 30 or 40 times, but didn't kill him. Put him in a trunk, but didn't realize the trunk had an escape hatch. And the guy jumped out at the red light and took off. So Uncle Jerry had a heart attack a few years ago, but I had a deal being married to Christine with Uncle Jerry and Papa Rick. There was no way I wasn't walking the
I
line.
wonder how that was walking into that first meeting.
Well, I knew Rick first.
Yeah.
And then I met Uncle Jerry when he got out of prison.
Dude, you could get double shot.
Yeah, Uncle Jerry loved me, but Uncle Jerry made no bones about the fact he had hit bodies. Rick's too smart to admit
He
to
is
that.
too smart. He
Uncle
is.
Jerry gave no fucks that he had hit bodies.
Rick will never tell you.
No.
You would never. But I vote yes. There's somebody.
Yeah,
maybe not directly, but
somebody that was somebody that was somebody
that did some shit
There's definitely
wrong.
less than 7
Sure.
degrees of separation.
Kevin Bacon game. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So this question came in from Jordan, who actually I went to middle school with him in Colorado. This dude is a beast. Haven't seen him in forever. Love this guy. If you had to choose though, no ass or no tits. So he's calling us out on our bullshit of meeting in the middle, kind of.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go tits because here's the deal. I like them on top. And so when they're on top, I can see
You can
the
see
tits.
something
Yeah.
visually.
Yeah.
That would be harder.
Yes. And I bought my
Ah,
wife,
it is tough.
and they're impressive.
It is tough.
So let me tell you about the story about
Yeah, and
buying
you
my-
can't buy dumpers. Listen,
No.
I'm all about the big dumpers, but these fake ones look like dog shit.
Yeah,
You
so-
start putting cement in their
Yeah,
butt
no.
cheeks, and it's dumpy and it's cottage
Yeah.
cheesy.
So
then,
at the
you know,
Lamb House, we have priorities. All right. So the wife and I were trying to buy our first house. We'd packed up our house. We were 4 days from closing. And there was a glitch in the system, and the house fell through, and they told us we had to wait about another year.
Oh, that sucks.
It did suck. So immediately, without thinking about it, praying about it, or processing about it, I said, well, let's take that down payment and buy some new tits.
Boom.
Boom.
Like a winner
And guess
would do.
what? Hey, guess what? The paint of the house
Went
went
away
away
immediately.
immediately.
Yeah, went away real
it
quick.
was amazing.
Yep,
It's the
that's-
gift that keeps on giving.
Listen, my wife knows. She's talked to, and she's more about this than me, where she's like, oh, because women, they have kids. Listen, I give them all the credit. Women birth children.
Yeah.
We can never do it.
No.
Men are pussies.
No,
It would never
not
happen.
gonna happen.
This world will go extinct. So they're tougher than us. They're better than us. They're smarter than us. But she's like, if my tits ever bothered you, you got to tell me. And I would do. And I'm like, your tits will never bother me. Just so
Right,
you know.
right.
So I love tits. So
Yes.
your tits are going to be glorious to me always. But her only thing is if they ever got to a point to her that she would maybe lift them. You
Mhm.
know, just a scotch, which is the marvel of modern medicine.
It is,
sons.
but
You
I'm
can
gonna
do a
but
lot
I'm
with
gonna
them.
tell you how it works. Okay, so you don't waste the money because you're gonna get them lifted and spend that money, and then you're gonna be like, "Fuck it, let's just get them done." So I'm just telling you, that's how.
So
it
just go ahead and
happens.
fill them up.
So when moves up to that Joe
Mhm.
Rogan level,
Just
it's
fill them
happening.
on up.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and
Yeah.
that's totally. I'm good. I'm gonna write that down. Listen, I'm gonna write that right here.
Yeah, write it down. No problem. Just
go
Save the money. Just go big.
Go with it at once.
Go big. Go home.
Now, I have seen my buddy got his wife tits done a couple years ago. They have gotten so good. They're not the same
They're
as
not the
your,
same.
as your
They're
early
amazing.
'90s tits. Like they don't
No.
sit in the
They
armpits.
don't look like
They look great.
softballs.
No, they don't look like softballs.
No, they're amazing. They actually give you the option. Do you want the porn star or do you want the European? The European's more of a teardrop tit.
Oh, I did not know.
Or
that.
the
That's good
American
info.
titty, which is pat ow. I'm an
That's good
American. I
info.
bleed red,
I
white,
want
and
the
blue.
American tits, yeah.
So my collar's blue, my neck's red.
Yep.
And so we went American porn star.
Boom.
And also
not?
this, I learn from my mistakes, Unc.
Yep. Absolutely.
Whatever size you think you're going to get, go bigger. Okay, just
Go
learn.
bigger.
Just learn.
Go one or two big.
Just go one or bigger.
Because you don't want to put your wife through a second surgery.
You don't.
You know, that's shitty
You know.
of you.
Right.
That's really on you,
Right,
right? If you put them
exactly.
through a second
Right.
surgery, you're a dick.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So have some
Yeah,
compassion.
if we had
sons.
to do over again, I mean, they're incredible. I don't know if you see my wife; they're incredible. They're whole nother level, dare I say?
Oh, dude,
um,
that's how my wife is
but-
in a
but-
dumper, son. She's got a
But
natural
we
dumper
would,
for
but we would
days.
go bigger.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because you know what? Because we would.
And they don't look like. Here's the deal, like no bullshit. And I hate to do because one of my best buddies, he's the one that had his wife's cans done.
Mm-hmm.
They look amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that like I want to bang my buddies because
Right.
I don't, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying they're gorgeous tits. Like
Yeah.
they were very well done. They're not so it's not
Right.
like you used to think where they're going to sit up on their necks. Like they can make them look really
So here's
good.
the deal. I'm going to piss off a lot of people, and I'm going to go ahead and start the cancel culture emails
Yes.
coming in.
Good.
You
We
weren't
want
being
those.
inappropriate because here's the deal. She got them bigger because she wanted you to
Mhm.
notice. I didn't say she wanted you to grab
Sure,
them.
no.
She didn't want you to motorboat
Absolutely
them.
right.
She didn't want you to slap them. She doesn't want you to rip her shirt open.
Yes.
But guess what? She got them because she wanted to be noticed.
Yeah.
I respect
She wants
that.
to feel beautiful in her
Boom.
version of
And
beautiful.
whatever
right?
her version is.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that 1,000%. And there's
Like
nothing
I
wrong
said,
with that.
tomorrow, that's you, Randy. You'll be able to find him on Facebook when this account gets shut down. So,
That's going to be Unc Randy 212
Yes.
3.876
30114.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to this. So I got to get to this. So I want the people that are listening, because we're going to put this out on our iTunes also.
Yeah.
So it'll be a big show to people that don't live anywhere near here. I mean, we got
California,
listen,
Europe.
our biggest state's California.
That's what you told me.
Which is crazy. But
It's amazing.
California is our biggest state. Georgia's number 2, son. Georgia, where the fuck you at? I mean,
Step
we're the number
up.
1 relationship lifestyle show in North Georgia. That's fine. Listen, I don't even accept that. We need to be the number 1 in Georgia. But in Australia, we're the number 3 in the country.
Yeah.
In Australia. Don't know why. I don't question it,
beard.
though. Dude, maybe the beard. I don't know. They like criminals. I don't know. Done time. Listen, Uncle Randy did a stretch there, son. So you know that 3 whole days, and it was
72
2 hours. Y'all don't even know.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't
the
like
pain
talking
was
about
so.
Yeah, but
you don't know the scars.
So these people are going to hear for the first time. So I want to go a little bit into your background. So this is what I learned from Mockingbird or the Mockingjay podcast.
Okay.
So you actually had a comic book store.
Yeah.
Did not know that. That was surprising.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So when I was 16 years old, got a job at Dairy Queen, was banging the manager. She was married, lost my job. And my dad.
That is America. Sons.
Yeah, America. Blizzards and the boss.
Yep.
And my dad started a comic book store and a flea market on the weekends that was open. And I used to run it for him. They closed the flea market down, and I kept running the comic book store and baseball card store. And I've worked for myself basically ever since. And so it just worked to my favor. And I don't know what it's like to go. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. Like, I don't know what it's like to have a boss or deal with resumes. I've worked for myself my entire life.
So how do you go from that to pastoring the fastest growing church in Georgia?
So I went from that to, I was college ministry.
You pulling up, babe? All right, grab the headphones.
The legend's here.
Let's do it.
So
hey, we've been talking about dumpers and tits. You're a perfect time because we just got rid of the dumpers and tits.
Yeah,
Gary gave some great advice, though. I'll share it with you. He knows here we share everything, sons, and that's the real deal. He's got great advice. He bought his wife's cans. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
You got to grab your headphones. I think they're in the thing.
I don't need them.
She said we are loud the fuck enough.
So
she is good to go.
First off, tell us, how long did you talk to Rick outside?
No, I was in there with Gunner.
Okay, good. So Rick actually just bounced. We thought he was out there chatting you up.
No, I was in Gunner's room, and I saw the notification that for the doorbell again, and I was like, oh, Rick just all right.
Yeah, so I was hell on wheels.
Where did my can of dip go?
Well, I don't know. You've put it in like 3 different times. You don't dip very long.
No,
I'm very perplexed by that, actually.
And it just disappears into his mouth.
No, now spit it out.
And then he spits it out.
Learning.
Yeah, I'm learning.
I feel like he was right in the middle of saying something, and
you asked me a question. That's all right. It's his fucking show. It ain't the Gary Lamb show. It's the Married AF show.
All right. So how do you go from that to pastoring the fastest growing church in Georgia?
Oh man, I just hit right time, right place.
Yeah.
Moved here. Canton didn't have a contemporary church 16 years ago. We were hell on wheels. There was a lot of people moving to the area. I had been in college ministry my whole life, so we kind of did things real edgy. I didn't grow up in church, and so didn't quite have the freedom that I have now, but I was still pretty, at that time, outside the box. We were meeting in the movie theater on Riverstone. The church grew. The church actually it grew faster than my character grew. I was young. I was 28 years old when I started that church. At 33 years old, we were the 16th fastest growing church in America. And meeting in a movie theater. Well, actually, we had moved to the conference center. So we were meeting in the county conference center, running 4 services a weekend. Miserable, hated it. Corporate America. The church and I'm not shitting on that. It was just everything I hated about church. It was business, and it was no longer about helping people and doing anything. And the whole time I was building that, I had neglected my marriage and screwed up and messed that up, and take full responsibility for that, and ended up on the front page of the Cherokee Tribune, and lost everything, moved in someone's basement. Cool story. Ended up in someone's basement in the same neighborhood I just bought a house in. And
nice.
man, that's I feel like that's how God does things. And full story, everything. And was out of ministry for a long time, didn't want to do ministry anymore, still don't want to really do ministry. And the group from Action Church, well, at that time it was 13 people, asked me to start another church. And I told them, I said, we'll move to the poorest part of town. I said, I'll never take a salary, and we'll just serve people and help people.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Actions is a unique place. My deal with the church is I do whatever I want. I run whatever I want to out of the building. I do whatever I want. I do events. You know, I refuse to be their prostitute, so I'm not taking a salary where they can tell me what to do. And it's a unique group of people, and it's basically the island of misfit toys, and everybody that doesn't feel accepted in the normal church, and including me. So it just kind of works.
That's the building that the wrestling stuff is.
It
in,
is.
right?
It is.
Yeah, I thought it said act. Like I remembered it saying Action Church. That is kind of a like right there near downtown.
Yeah.
He talked on is it Mockingbird or Jay?
Yeah, the Mockingbird.
Okay, Mockingbird. He said he wanted, when he was negotiating, he wanted a church in the poorest part of town.
Right.
He wanted a building.
Yeah.
On purpose.
I felt like every church was moving outside of town. They were moving to where all the big neighborhoods were, and they were leaving the city. We wanted to be a church in the city.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so it's a unique place. I mean, it doesn't feel like church. And what it feels like church to me.
Yeah.
I like to think it looks a lot like what heaven would look like.
Sure.
And not what religion looks like. And so it kind of works. And everything from atheists to everything go there. It is what it is.
Yeah, let me tell you, you're going to get people that look like Rick Cope, Uncle
Yeah.
Randy,
Yeah.
Brooke.
Yeah.
You could get all that because
Yeah.
Rick came. He came in testifying to me early about that church because
Yeah.
when we started doing the first charity thing, the wiffle ball tournament. He was like, "Listen, let me tell you, we do a soup kitchen or something out of the church."
Yeah.
He's like, and we welcome everybody,
Yeah.
whether drug addicts, homeless, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. If you're not saved, if you are saved, you're all welcome to this church. Which people can say their church does that, but ask yourself if they really do.
Well, I think we saw that in Cherokee County in the last week with all the controversy over. I don't know if you saw the letter that.
Oh
the
my God.
couple-
I could not believe
that
that
couple-
was.
That's coming in a second.
Yeah.
You asked the question. Now.
Okay. But that we need
That's
to,
coming.
we have to make that.
What are
go
we
viral.
drinking over there, by the way?
This
It's
is,
a wheat beer.
it's yummy. Wheat beer is like my favorite. It's hell or high watermelon. So it's got like just a hint. I'm not a big watermelon flavor like
Yeah.
person, but it's just a little bit enough where it's yummy.
Well,
I like it.
My wife's a champion. She'll do a shot right here. We'll give you mine, and I'll take.
This
Rick's.
is Randall's whiskey, the
He
cinnamon
knows.
whiskey.
Yeah, I'm banned from Fireball. Apparently, Fireball in my world is his cranberry and vodka. The wife will not let me.
That's I copy that.
Cheers to
Yeah.
that.
All right.
That's true.
Cheers.
All right, so ask your question.
My question that's you put in front of me on my face. Okay. So is it true that you had people come into a restaurant and refuse to sit by you? I guess that's after the controversy.
Because there's stories out there. You're notorious. Like I
Yeah.
want people to know, and some of it might be false. Like that's
Yeah.
why I'm asking
Yeah.
you. Like I've heard that you were eating at a restaurant and people would be like, "I want to move from that guy." Like they were.
Yeah,
so,
that happened as
is that
recent
real?
as 3 years ago on
Wow.
Valentine's Day. My wife and I went to Downtown Kitchen, which is our favorite restaurant.
Ooh, that place.
They went to seat us next to a couple that used to be on. Well, they still are on staff at that church. They were on staff when I was at that church then, and they asked to be moved. And
I
so-
thought I don't understand that about super churchy people because like what you were saying about the Action Church and like
She'll give you the smoke.
yeah, I want to hear it.
like I just if you really are trying to preach about like God and
Yeah.
forgiveness and being like, shouldn't you forgive people for their sins and also be welcoming to everybody
Yeah, well,
and everybody's
well, it makes for good preaching,
yeah.
and it sounds really good.
But to practice
right, to
it,
practice it. Why would we do that? Especially when it was the leader who fucked
Right.
up along the way.
banish
And,
him.
and I think for them, I think the bigger struggle for them is I stayed. I didn't
Mhm.
leave.
You didn't leave the city.
Everybody wanted
yeah.
me to leave and go away and out of sight, out of mind. And I just stayed here and give them the middle finger every time I'm around.
I think it made them feel yucky about themselves because probably what you were doing was what it's well, and it's what a lot of people they're like. There's probably so many people, including those ones that like refuse to sit by you. They're like, they might be miserable in their own marriage.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck.
Yeah,
I wish I could have
yeah.
fucking.
Well, I'll tell you a
fucked her.
funny story. I mean, I'm not trying to create controversy in
Sure.
Silvertown, but
Don't do it, bro.
but I got a former staff guy that lives a few houses down. I saw him outside when I pulled in. He looked like he shit a brick when he looked in the truck and saw me. I gave him the deuces and waved, and I was like, I would have rolled out the window and be like, Uncle Randy, but I didn't. I just smiled and tried to be nice.
Yeah. So I want to go back to that feeling though, because I try to put myself in your place, right? Because Uncle Randy, I'm not going to sit here and be a perfect guy. I've made every mistake Gary Lamb has made, Uncle Randy's made, and we can compare notes and see who's the real champion of sinning, because who knows who will win. That'll take all night. I'll be writing shit down. So I've fucked up every way you can fuck up in life, and I've learned from that's kind of what's molded me, right?
Yeah.
So you're never going to see me pass judgment on anyone. I think everyone is redeemable, and it's actually a building process for your character. That's just me. So do you remember how you felt though when you're sitting there at Downtown Kitchen and someone wants to be moved from you?
Yeah.
How infuriating is that?
So for me, it wasn't. It was weird. It was more. I felt bad for my wife.
Yeah.
And she didn't ask for that. And you're gonna laugh and you're gonna think this is bullshit, and it's really not bullshit. It reminded me of why I do Action Church the way I did, because I felt so pitiful for him. I thought, what a pitiful fucking life. That almost at that time, 9 years later, you can't sit in a restaurant next to someone who fucking paid your salary for 4 years, moved you here from South Carolina when you didn't have two fucking dimes to rub together, when your marriage was falling apart, made sure you were taken care of, but you didn't do the same. So, hey, that's all good.
Well, you know what? He honestly, though, you shouldn't have felt any kind of way, honestly,
Yeah,
in my opinion, because he should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
He should be fucking embarrassed because he's the one that turned his back on you after you did all that for him. And then he couldn't even be a big enough man to be like, hey, man, and like at least fucking sit at a table near you and not make a deal about it. Like,
I mean, it was weird. So you'll understand this. Like at one time, those were my best friends. So you kind of want to remind them, like, dude, I was there for you. Like what you really want to do with your flesh, and I'm past this now. What your flesh wants to do is let me broadcast all the shit in your life that I covered up for you.
Right.
And that no one ever knew about. But
I heard you say that now. That was powerful, right?
But I'll go to my grave with it.
Because, and this leads into a listener question, so I want to go ahead and ask it, because I said we would do that. Get to the what?
That letter.
Oh, yes, we'll get to that in a second. Maybe that's not a listener question.
Well, just fucking ask it, then it's an Uncle Randy question.
No, it kind of, okay, so it kind of does. This is what I'm thinking of. The question is, what's up, sirs? Being that you are both divorced, how do you feel about how fathers are treated in the court? So let me tell you how I'm trying to think of that with this question is, I know in my divorce, I lost 99% of the friends.
Yes.
Right?
Everything.
99% of the friends went with the ex, and that's okay. I expect that. Oh, that's good. That's a good sign. So 99% of them bailed on me real quick. So I was wanting to get your thoughts on, is that equivalent to you? And
so in my situation, I'll fully take ownership. I was the one who fucked up. I had the affair. So in my situation, I had a church of 1,600 people that the church wrote a letter to and said, we're going to support the wife. There will be other people who rally around Gary, but it will not be us. And so of 1,500 people, one couple.
So one, two people.
So you do know what I'm saying.
Let me move into their basement. And that's what I said. I moved into their basement, living in the neighborhood that I live in now.
What's wrong with, though, being friends with both people and seeing like...
we choose sides. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been a person to dwell. I'm not a bitter person. It's just not the way I'm wired. I have a lot of bad qualities. That's not one of them. And so I just moved on. I think the court system probably isn't. When I tell you,
you have kids with your first wife?
Yes, two of them. Okay. And when I tell you I have the worst divorce decree under the sun, but I signed it. I felt guilty. I took all the responsibility, and even those days where I went from 6 figures to 20,000 a year, I made sure I paid that child support that was set to 6 figures. I always said my goal was, which it probably won't happen, But my goal was when my kids turned 18, I wanted their mom to look at them and be like, your dad fucked up and was a piece of shit. But man, he has been a good dad since that time. And he loves you.
Yeah,
and he did everything to make it right. That will probably never happen, but that's always been my goal.
Even if she doesn't say the words,
right.
If your kids know that you've been there all the time and help and support them, that's all that matters.
Yeah. And if you think your kids won't one day dig and find like the papers, you're crazy. And so one day I know that my son will dig and see where.
And my kids know what happened, and they know, and they went through periods. They went through periods of anger with me, and they went through periods where they went through periods now where that's dad, and we love dad, and man, it is what it is.
And that all like ebbs and flows too, depending on like what age they were when you got divorced, and all that, and depends on like on her, like how does she talk shit about you to them and all that.
And I had the unique situation where my ex-wife stayed in a community of 1,500 people that thought I was the devil. So my kids heard my whole life that I was the devil, and
that's all those people should be fucking ashamed.
Yeah, and I refuse,
if they say shit about a child's father,
and I refuse to defend it, and I've never defended it, and I hope my kids have never heard me talk bad about it. I don't talk bad about the place. I'm glad that it excels. I'm glad that it's doing good. I hope they do great things.
Yeah.
I'm so removed from that world. The church world. It sounds weird to be a pastor and say I'm so removed from it.
We're gonna get into that.
I'm so removed from that world that I can't even relate to it. So it is what it is. And I think the thing that upsets them the most, and I think you'll understand this, Randy, I fucking love my life.
Yeah.
And without all those mess ups, every detail falling into place, I'd have never met my wife and been where I am today and had Rick Cope as my father-in-law. And so if I had to go through all that 1,000 more times to be where I am today, I love my life.
No, I exactly. I feel exactly the same way.
I told him about, and you can test because I know you weren't watching, but when we were talking earlier that some of our best times, we didn't have a penny to piss in. Was I lying or is that true?
Me and you?
Yes.
Some of our best memories were made when we were fucking broke and not, I mean,
when I married Christine, we got to go on vacation because her uncle owned a place in Gulf Shores.
Yeah.
Had he not owned that place that was free, we'd have never went on vacation. Those were the greatest days.
There was we were in a bowling league and I was in a tournament. I won a free trip to Vegas to bowl in Vegas. Well,
and did you have like the clear bowling ball with the rings in it and everything like Kingpin?
Not like Kingpin, but close. But like
if you had that bowling ball, I'd be stealing you from Uncle Randy. I'm laying it out here on the table right now.
Well, but like I was getting they were sending me plane ticket, hotel, and everything. Yeah. But I didn't want to go to Vegas by myself. And back then we were so fucking broke. My parents used their like Sky Miles to send Randall to Vegas with me. Because I was like, I can't afford to pay for a plane ticket for him to go. And my mom was like, well, I don't really want you to go out there by yourself. And I was like, well, I don't either.
And that's why now, despite the fact that now we're doing very well, life is good.
Yeah.
I will never forget those moments. And they will never leave me as far as like my nerves and I'll never stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I don't want to because I think that's what makes champions is that you're prepared. If the shit hits the fan, champions are ready to go right back to ramen noodles if you have to, son.
So I'm in the event business. That's what I do for a living. I put on events. And a year ago, my wife and I joked that we created the shutdown in Georgia. The week before, the week before the shutdown, for the first time in my life, we had 7 events in 7 weeks. We were going to put well into 6 figures into our pocket. And the week before the first event, Kemp shuts down Georgia. The night before Kemp shuts down Georgia, Christine and I were sitting around. I said, do you realize we have the most money we've ever had in our account? And we have 7 huge events in 7 weeks. Yeah. I said, we're going to pay cash for our next house. That was our plan. And then it all got taken away. So, and everyone's freaking out in my industry. And I made more money last year than I ever made doing events because you know what? I've lost it all before.
Right.
And I knew I could lose it again.
Yeah.
It wasn't an option.
You know you're still going to be standing.
Now,
even
here
if
was
you
the deal.
don't. Yeah.
I had to do 4 times the events last year. 3 years ago, I'd have never done a market at the mill on Etowah on a Tuesday night. But I was so thankful for that market because it put groceries in our.
Yeah. I got to read this comment from Bubba. We got some real fire being spit by the chat. Bubba says, I lost the friends I didn't need and gained the ones I needed.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a great keep spitting fire. Fire Marshal Bill, you read this one.
Yeah, he said, you know what? I lost everything too, but guess what? The friends I've gained in Silvertown trump anything. I bet you. I bet you my decree is worse.
His decree is worse than yours. That's Fire Marshal Bill. He's willing to bet lunch on it, sons. I think y'all should bet on that, and we should see how that goes. Rick Cope says Gary's a fantastic dad and the best bonus daddy. So that's awesome. Rick Cope, listen, he doesn't give out compliments by the drove, sons. That motherfucker would rather stab you. So a compliment from Rick Cope goes a long way.
So do you and Christine
yes
have kids together, or is it y'all just a Brady bunch?
So I had 3.
Okay.
And she had, well, I used to joke she had 2.
Uh-huh.
She had Emily and Rick. And so Heather adopted Rick. So no, I brought 3 to the marriage.
Okay.
So what we're leaving out in my story is not only did I get divorced, to prove to every single person that I didn't throw it away over a one-night stand.
Yeah.
I married the one-night stand.
Yeah.
And had a baby with the one-night stand.
Oh.
And so, needless to say, that was destined not to make it. Sure. We have a good relationship now.
But you got a baby out of it?
We have an amazing son.
Yeah.
And he lives with us, and she's a good lady. I have nothing negative to say about her.
Is that the son that was showing Gunner around at the wrestling thing?
Oh, I guess so. Maybe so.
How old is he?
9.
Yes, that was him.
That's Luke.
He was fantastic, by the way. No bullshit.
Luke's fucking
he doesn't kiss any ass, sons. He was a great kid. He treated Gunner like he'd known him forever. He was like, hey, come with me.
That's awesome.
He was so good with him. And that's a testament to you and your ex-wife, because that young man treated Gunner like he's known him his whole life.
And really, no offense to my ex-wife or me, that's all Christine. So Christine's been in his life since he was 2, and she has molded that kid into what he is today.
He lives with y'all?
Yeah, it's 50-50, but yes.
Okay, good.
And so,
that's perfect.
1 week on, 1 week off, but he's a champion. 3 goals this last Saturday. So listen to this, Runk. You won't even know what to do about this. So my son's soccer team, are you ready to have your mind blown? Is 0, 1, and 7. 7 fucking ties. How in the hell do you have 7 ties?
Because it's soccer and they score like 1 goal again.
That's because of the world we live in.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
They're willing to let people tie. Yes. In Uncle Randy's world, Gary's world, even Brooks' world, you battle to the death, son. Someone's a champion, goddamn, and I hate that shit.
Here's how I knew I raised my son right. He had 3 goals Saturday and was pissed because they tied. Yep. He didn't care that he had 3 goals. He was pissed they didn't win.
Right. So. I can't. Yeah, Gunner wouldn't be happy with a tie either. He wants a win for sure.
All right. So here, I'm going to say this. I've got to go piss so bad, like a racehorse. You ask this question while I go piss, and I'll be right back.
You're not even going to let me talk to him about the fucking.
Let's talk about that.
You go ahead and bring
first of all, we do what the fuck we want. Absolutely. Look, we're a half a bottle of bourbon in, and you're a beer in, and he's the one belling to go piss. So let's talk about the letter. All right.
So yes, I'm going to talk about this letter. You shared the first time I saw it was when you shared it and said, I got this sent to me 35 times today.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be some kind of like viral letter that somebody posted about a church writing it. No, that shit was from a fucking Woodstock Christian church.
Yes.
That it's
Church of Christ.
Yes, Woodstock Church. It's one of those other mega churches, where they wrote a letter to somebody in their congregation, basically damning her to hell for being gay, and saying, you can't come here anymore. We thought we could pray the fucking gay away.
Yes. So I'm more interested in this question. So as someone, and I don't mean this in a who doesn't attend church normally, how much of a turnoff to church was that for you?
I mean,
disgusting, isn't it?
It was disgusting for that church in particular. Yeah. I was absolutely like, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, this horrible. I had to look at the date on the letter. I was like, nope, that is from like last week.
If you're not willing to repent and come back into fellowship with us, it was disgusting.
I was absolutely appalled.
My issue with it. Here was my issue with it. And this is going to surprise some people. So I am probably the only pastor in town that will do gay weddings. I'm very open-minded in that area. I could give two shits about it. I didn't have an issue that they didn't approve. Because I think each their own.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit in which that was written, the tone in which that was written, the wording in which that was written, to me was so contrary to what I would see from Jesus,
right?
That it was nauseating.
Yes.
It was disgusting.
Absolutely.
It was the height of fucking arrogance and pompous. Like, look it up on our hill. And then they had the balls to put their phone numbers on it.
All their phone numbers. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, I
say I felt bad. I actually was kind of amused. I felt bad for those
guys.
I
don't even know what y'all are talking about.
The letter.
Oh,
the letter.
Just fucked me and went straight to the letter.
We went right. Hey, you want to go piss? We do what we want to do.
It's your show.
No, because I'm gonna have to leave in a minute.
It's
and
married AF. You can't leave quite yet because I have to piss too. So y'all are gonna have to carry it together.
I was so disgusted, and I honestly, and then people like honestly, there was people that were posting about like, churches are supposed to accept all sinners for their sins, which is yes, that's true. Everybody, we are all sinners here. Those people that were writing that hateful letter for sure are, and they're not being accepting like Jesus would want everybody to love everybody. And also, it's not a sin to be gay.
So
like that's where
my champion, my Jesus was a champion of sinners. All right.
Right.
My Jesus would have been right there in the group preaching to those people that he thought was a sinner. That's just my Jesus.
Yeah. And I think you hit on something that was very interesting to me. I agree.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to accept all sinners. Well, everyone is a sinner. We're all fuck ups. Okay.
Right.
The Bible says, for all of sin and come short of the glory of God, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is no one perfect. His name is Jesus.
100%.
Blah, 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 blah. I get it. I can go toe to toe with you. I have a doctorate in pastoral theology. Boom. Most people don't know that. I can go all day long with you on that. And so, but my deal is to say that's a sin. Like, I struggle with that because here's the deal. I know people that have been in same-sex marriages for years.
Yeah.
But yet this dude over here, me, that can have the affair and do whatever. He's okay though because he was fucking a woman.
Sure, that's
you know what I mean. Yeah, it's like it's a weird situation. Yeah. It was one of the most arrogantly written, pompous, stink of religion, pharisaical letters I ever saw in my life.
Yeah, how did you? And this is, I'm so glad you asked this because I had so much about this. So when you read it as a man that's got a doctorate in theology, how many things did you find wrong with it? Not just as you as Gary Lamb as a person and the man that you've been molded through your sins, but as a man that studied the religion, where were you at like on that?
Yeah, so in what the North American church has become, I saw everything they were talking about. And the way we've twisted scripture and all that, I saw everything. I was like, I get what they're trying to say. In the spirit of realizing it's about Jesus and Jesus was love and love God. I think we've complicated religion. It really boils down to the greatest commandment. The second one's this: love God, love people. It was disgusting. And so it was heartbreaking to me. I mean, I have married so many incredible people into same-sex marriages, influential people in our community. I've done their weddings. We got friends
that are 1,000 times better parents than us.
Yes.
That are gay parents.
Yes.
By 1,000.
Yeah, I would love
I'm just going to tell you, they're way better parents than us.
And so to judge someone based on who they love, it's disgusting.
To call, like, just the tone, like you're saying, was disgusting. And it's like they were wording it in a way like, oh, we warned you that this would happen.
It was odd.
We tried to get you to repent for your act. And I'm like, what the just loving another person?
Yeah, so you'll appreciate this. So I got invited to a church growth conference to speak. This was years ago in my previous life at a previous church. And I was just trying to be a smart ass. And they asked, what do you think about gays in the church? And my response, trying to be funny, it did not go over as funny. I was like, man, I have no problem with gay men. That's more chicks for the rest of us. And dude, total silence. 3,000 people, just total silence. Needless to say, there was no more questions asked of me, and I was not invited back.
We gotta go back.
All right, so I want to ask this listener question. You just brought this on yourself. This is for you. This was submitted for you for this show. Which, dude, listen, I love the hater. Listen, so haters know.
Right.
Uncle Randy loves you.
Right.
Because whether you hate me or love me,
Yeah.
I love the pop, sons, and I
Yeah.
bet you Gary does
Yeah, I
too.
love P.T. Barnum says, love me, hate me, just spell my name right.
And listen, this was a question from me that I didn't ask earlier, but every wrestler I've ever known and the greatest wrestlers I've ever loved as my heroes, when they would come out, they would say, I don't care if they're cheering or booing, as long as they're popping.
Right.
As long as it's a pop. And when we talk back to living the gimmick, living the brand, that's what I'm talking about.
So let's be theologically and tie that back to God. God said be hot or cold, not lukewarm.
Boom.
So he goes, man. So hey,
Right
listen,
there.
if they're not talking about me, I'm worried about it. So what'd they ask?
Yeah. So this was one.
Okay.
Where's the one about Gary? Oh, right here, number 3. Gary, I followed your story, and while I appreciate your resolve, I just can't get past your mistakes. Convince me why I should.
Yeah.
That's a fucking loaded. And the only reason I asked that, listen, Uncle Randy answers everyone that's sent to me, and I know you would answer everyone sent to you.
In the art of good promoting, that's a great question. And when I get back from the bathroom, I'll answer it.
Yes, go ahead. Boom. Leave them wanting more. Yeah. And let me just tell you about my piss earlier. Greatest piss I've ever had.
Yeah. One of those ones that was like 5 minutes long, and then
Rick Cope showing up was unexpected.
I didn't expect him to show up either. I will say, I think we already kind of talked about that, is that like convinced to why I should, like, tell me about your mistakes that I shouldn't
No, I'm looking forward to hearing. I think Gary's gonna shove it straight up his ass. Listen, Gary's in our spare shitter over here. Listen, in our mansion. Goddamn, we live in Silvertown in the mansion. Yeah. He's in the East Wing taking a pisser. I bet he's gonna lay the pipe to this motherfucker. Yeah, just my guess.
God damn it! I wish fucking everybody had iPhones, because none of these goddamn text messages go through.
Now, why don't they have iPhones? All right, so let's hush up and let Gary answer the question. We were betting on you earlier.
Can we repeat the question?
Yes. So this is a great question. Hey, and first off, balls to the person that sent it. Yeah. I know who you are. Not going to sell you out, but this is how he asked it. Gary, I've followed your story, and while I appreciate your resolve, I just can't get past your mistakes. Convince me why I should.
Yeah, so here's my answer. I don't have to fucking convince you.
Exactly.
So what are the height of fucking arrogance to think nobody messes up, nobody screws up? Exactly. I was 28 years old, and my talent exceeded my character at that time in the life. I messed up, and just like whoever that is has messed up in whatever area they've messed up in, there is no one perfect. And if you can't get past that mistake, hang on for the ride, because I will make a lot more mistakes along the way. Like literally, what you can't get past did I fuck his wife?
Right.
Was that, like, who are you to have to think you need to get past my mistakes? I probably couldn't get past your mistakes, if I knew who you were.
And if you'd be honest about them. Right, that's the difference.
Exactly.
If you would be willing to acknowledge your mistakes, listen, what do you do? Do you overeat?
Yeah.
Are you some fat fucker?
Yeah.
Are you some porn-loving son of a bitch or something?
You can't get past my mistakes, man. What a miserable fuck then you are. By the way, that's Gary at BBQandBrews.com if you want to email me about it.
Yeah, I would say, like, quit worrying about everybody else's problems and maybe address your own.
Like, you can't get past so your life is so pathetic, you can't get past my mistake. Mm-hmm. How does my mistakes listen, I hope you guys stay married till you're 99 years old.
Absolutely.
But if tomorrow you guys imploded, I'd be there for you, because at the end of the day, it doesn't it affects me that I love you guys now that I know you and you're part of the Black Sheep family.
Absolutely.
But other than that, like that's y'all's life. Man. God.
Right.
Absolutely. So I wanted that leads into a great question I was going to ask, which is the polarization of Gary Lamb, Uncle Randy. Brooke is actually the more savage of the three, but for some reason she gets left under the table. I told you.
Pretty.
I pulled her out. I pulled her out of the stripper's hair at the Claremont. That's no bullshit.
So listen. I know you think I'm always trying to be the competitive one-up person. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I can one-up that story, but I want to tell you a Christine.
Oh, did you tell him that?
I tell you. I told him and Rick. Hold on. Rick loved it. By the way,
I want to tell you a Christine Lamb story.
Okay. I mean, she's Rick's daughter, so she's.
So
I expect greatness.
So church is about to start. It's a Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful day outside, about 72 degrees, partly cloudy. And we're leaving the next day to go on a Disney cruise.
Ooh, happiest place on earth.
Happiest place on earth. Christine's ex-husband pulls in the yard
Uh-oh.
to pick up his daughter.
Uh-oh.
In a lack of judgment on his part, he decides he's going to bring the new girlfriend. Did I tell you that it's about 9:30 on a Sunday morning? Church starts at 10 o'clock.
Yo.
So the parking lot's full.
Oh, God.
I'm inside the building. Apparently the girlfriend mouths off.
Oh, Jesus.
I come outside the door. Did I tell you again? Let me reiterate that it's a Sunday morning about 9:40, 20 minutes before church. Everybody gets there about 20 minutes early, full parking lot, 271 Marietta Road, the ghetto of Canton Action Church. All I see is my wife rear back, closed fist through the front window, cold cock her across her face. They storm off. The police show up. Now it is 9:55. We're 5 minutes before the start of the church service. I have sent the wife home at this time.
Sure. Justifiably.
Justifiably,
That's
because
fair.
we don't, pastor's wife going off in handcuffs is not good. I knew the officer. I will not state his name.
Okay.
I
So
said,
she didn't get arrested. That's good.
We're not there yet.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I said, listen, I love you and I get what you think happened. And some of it might have happened, but I got to go preach.
Yeah.
They have 2 more songs to finish and I'm supposed to be on stage. I said, I promise you that I will bring her to the station at the end of the service.
Oh, God, that's
So we bring her to the end of the service. We bring her.
No.
They're trying to press some child endangerment thing because she cussed in front of the kids where they hold you for signature. I said, well, we have a cruise tomorrow. Back to your story.
Sure.
I'm watching her in the holding chamber. It was on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
And she's giving some guy her bologna sandwich. I was going to tell you the story earlier.
I traded my bologna all day.
She's
Shit
like,
was terrible.
She was like, he was hungry.
That's
I
why.
said,
That's
who's
why.
that guy you gave your sandwich to?
She's a champion
Yes.
already. Bologna
And
shit.
so it was not throwing down at the Claremont, but it was the 271 Marietta Road, 10 minutes for the church service.
That is
punch to the face.
in God's house. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, what did she say? What did she say to her?
To take the story
Yeah.
a whole nother level, I said, honey, this is what I tell her before they take her back. I said, do not smile. They love to put the pretty girls on the cover of Just Busted.
Oh, yes.
I said, look.
Cherokee County, those things are hot.
I said,
son.
look horrible. Don't look. About 3 weeks later, my friend coach said, your wife's on the cover of Just Busted. So welcome to Action Church.
Yes.
The church for everybody.
Let me tell you, that's the. Some people look at that one way.
I look at it as awesome.
As the best commercial for your
I
church.
think it's fantastic.
And let me tell you, that is exactly how Rick advertised it to me when we first met. Because let me give it a testament, a shout out to Rick Cope. He's definitely murdered somebody in his past or had something to do with it.
Yes.
Or knew about it.
Or hid the body.
He didn't do it. Yeah,
At
hid
the
body,
minimum, he has hid
the body or helped hide the body.
Yes.
He's that loyal. I'm not saying he did it, but he helped because he loves his friends. But he was like, Uncle Randy, let me tell you, this church, man, we love everybody.
Yeah.
Like everybody talks about that. They say they love everybody and they don't, which is my beef with religion, which is my only theological question to you. Because we talked and you're like, that's not the most interesting thing to me. Which when I asked you that, I have one theological question from me, from Uncle Randy, which is about salvation.
Yeah.
This is it. You're not going to hear anything else from me because I don't want to bog you down, but you're the man, you know the shit.
Yeah.
Can you lose your salvation once you've received it?
So I don't believe you can.
Thank you. I don't either.
So I don't believe you can. Is there anything your son could do? If your son, and I'm not meaning any disrespect for this, but if your son came to you and said, I have 3 husbands and I love gay men orgies every night and I killed a man and the whole thing they'll take Uncle Randy, I'm never playing sports again.
Oh, that would be tough. That's the one, though. Out of all of them, that's the one where I'd be like, get out.
But
no,
guess what?
I would still love him.
You'd still love him.
Yep.
Because he's your son.
Yep.
Once you're a son, man, you're a son, or you're a daughter,
That's
you're a
what I think.
daughter. There's nothing my kids can do. They can break my heart. I can want to protect them, but they're my kids, man. And we're his kids. We're
That's
his
how I
son. He
feel.
sent his son to
Thank you.
die on the cross for us. And I believe I'm smoking what I'm selling when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And so, no, I personally do not believe you can, because here's the deal. If you can lose it, that means it's based on what we do and what we don't do. Then there was no need for Jesus to hang on the cross.
That's what I say. And because here's the
because
deal.
it was based on what he did.
The reason why I ask you that question, I've got friends. We both have.
Yeah.
You probably have that have lost their life to suicide.
Yeah, right.
Maybe they've been in a place where, but I know they were saved
right.
at one point in their life.
So the Catholic Church says suicide is unforgivable. So my question is Samson in hell? Because Samson asked God, he had his eyes poked out, his haircut. He said, "Put my hands on the pillars one last time," and he pushed the thing down and killed all the.
Yep.
And killed himself in the process.
Yep.
But yet in Hebrews 13, he's in the Hall of Faith.
Absolutely.
Boom.
100%. That's what.
See, why are you making me get deep a half a
That's
bourbon in?
That's my only question. I'm not going to give you another one, just so you know. Like, that's my only one because I
can get deep, Uncle Randy, theologically. I don't like to break that part of me out.
I've got really good friends, right? And I've spoke to them from what I know, which is very minimal compared to nothing compared to you, as what you know. And I've always told them, that I think people that have died by suicide, absolutely, if they've been saved,
the only unforgivable sin to me is to die without Christ.
That's it.
And there's no coming back from that.
But if you at one point in your life had accepted Christ in your life, no matter what happened, like
it's based on what he did, not what we did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's my only question.
Yeah.
All right, we'll jump from there. I got another one.
Where are we going back to?
Yes, so we're going to go right away from it. But
so did we come to the conclusion that you and Christine are not allowed to hang out?
No,
I think
so. We're whooping asses at the church. We're whooping asses at the Claremont. I mean, we're whooping asses everywhere.
I think we should probably hang out.
I think we should have a shit fest down at the pool.
Yes, we should.
Just whoop some ass.
It's going to happen.
Y'all gotta definitely come to the pool this
Absolutely. So this is a great listener question, and this leads into one of my hot topic questions. So we'll just combine them because we've been going.
Let's go.
And we still got a lot more to go.
Are we on a timeline?
We're 2 hours. No, we have no
I don't
time.
give two shits.
We're 2 hours in. Listen, if y'all didn't listen to Gary on his last podcast, he'll go all day, host or no host.
Hey,
he'll just take over the motherfucker and be like, "What do y'all want to talk about?"
Hey,
all right, we'll go however long you want. So this is a great question, though. Hello, sirs. I'm looking forward to this show greatly. As a former police officer, I would like to know how you feel about the current climate surrounding our brave officers. Would either of you wear the badge in today's climate?
No.
No is from me as well.
Hell no.
Hell
no.
Here, I'm going to pour another shot to that because that was not planned, sons. And that's a big fuck no from Uncle Randy. I'm just telling you, I would never.
Listen, because so you remember one of the original questions that you said, why am I always selling to myself? I'm just going to keep throwing these things out here. The fact that we said hell no in unison, that should at least be consideration for the Hall of Fame.
Should be.
I'm not saying it got me on there, but it should be when the committee meets.
Yes.
There was such unison and chemistry and oneness.
Yes, I agree.
No,
I'm totally in. I would never do it.
No.
I would never be a cop.
I am terrified for our friends that are police officers.
Me too.
We have friends, and they love it, and they do it for the right reasons.
But they sure as fuck don't do it for the money.
No, fuck no. Like we have good friends that are a couple, and they are just this. I love them to death, and one of them, he's a cop, and she's a fucking teacher, and I'm like.
No joke.
Like they and they do both of those because they love it, and I love both of them for doing that because it's not for the thanks, and it's not for the money.
So let me
we should all over
let me just alienate everyone right now. I back the blue.
Absolutely.
Now now let me also. I'm not a blind loyalist. Do I think there's probably some shithole cops? I think there's shithole everything, pastors included.
Yes,
and so lots of pastors and But yeah, man, I back the blue, and I'm thankful for those men, and I'm actually nervous of what's going to happen when good men come to their senses and like, we're not doing this anymore.
No, I would never wear the badge right now. Let me tell you why, sons, because the American people have turned their backs on cops. I'm just going to tell you straight up, as a majority,
the American government,
the American government and a piece of the American people have took a route to immediately minimize what police officers give to our country. Okay, like I get it. There's a piece of the country that wants to cancel the police, right?
Yeah.
They want to get rid of them. Okay, good luck with that.
Yeah, and how does that work?
Do that shit, and when somebody busts in your house and you don't have the shit that Uncle Randy has, and you can't defend your house, who are you gonna call?
How'd that work in LA where they're already reinstating the budget to get cops back in place?
Who are you gonna call?
I just don't want right now. Derek Chauvin is guilty as fuck.
Oh, he's absolutely guilty. I felt that he went too far, but that's a whole nother. But
Oh,
we're talking about the bad cops and the good
and
cops.
I just go back to what I just said.
Absolutely.
I'm not a blind loyalist.
No, me either.
And so,
he was a piece of shit.
I don't know completely all the details on that,
Sure.
but I do know this: a jury of his peers found him guilty, and that's our system in our country, and it is what it is.
Absolutely, but I don't think that we are traveling down a road we understand, right? When we're trying to take
we want to throw
power
the baby out
away
with the
from the
bathwater.
police officers, because when they come to your home and they have to say, I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't arrest this offender because his constitutional rights, and he might sue me and have my job, so I can't get involved. That's what's going to happen, right? Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. You're going to call them to your house, and I think we put
cops in a lot of weird position. I think that we've got cops dealing with a lot of shit they shouldn't have to deal with, and so you know what I mean. Maybe less time worried about speeders and more time worried about criminals.
Yeah,
so, I agree with that too. That's 100%, and it kills me because I know a lot of great cops that work hard for no pay.
Yeah,
no pay.
Yeah.
They get fucked in the pay department. It's not for the money. And we're basically just every day chiseling away at what they can and can't do. So you couldn't pay them. Listen, my time's valuable. You said that earlier.
I ain't doing it.
My shit, bro, you ain't getting Uncle Randy for that hourly rate. No. You can go fuck yourself.
Yeah. You're not getting Uncle Randy for that many hours in a day to work.
No.
If Randall has to work more than a solid 3 to 4 hours, that's pushing it.
I know, because I know how to do my shit when I need to do it, and that's what I like.
I've set my life up to do what I want to do on my rules in my terms.
Exactly.
And I make no apologies about it.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go on to here. So I've got a question here that comes from a listener. This is actually a great question. And I don't know if you've done this or not, but Gary, how come you haven't done a country music festival?
So a country music festival. So I wanted to do a big music festival here in Canton. I wanted to do it at Etowah River and Heritage. That combined, I wanted to do weekend camping, big acts. Canton at that time, probably still at this time, was not ready for a weekend camping festival. And so I am in the process right now. So I'll let you in on some things. I'm hooked up with some pretty big things in the country world, but very off-road. So I'm working on something called I don't think I don't think legally I can.
All I'm saying is we would really appreciate it if you bring blackberries.
Yeah, so I'm really into some non-mainstream Nashville country right now. So Blackberry Smoke, Aaron Lewis. I'm really, and Uncle Randy might want to punch me for this, and I would accept it because it's not fully accepted yet. But I'm really down the country rap trail right now. Okay. I'm really on the Upchurch kick right now.
So who do you like?
I love Upchurch. No, fuck Colt. Have you heard Upchurch?
No, I haven't heard.
So Uncle Randy, I'm about to change your life.
Okay.
Are you ready for the gospel?
I'm totally open.
So you need to go down the Ryan Upchurch. Write that down. Right now.
Church. I'm writing it down.
You need to go down the Ryan Upchurch.
I will report back on this shit our next show.
So listen,
so you know, I don't
selling out arenas all over the country, refuses to sign a record contract, give.
So what do you think about Adam Calhoun?
I love
him.
So Upchurch is the biggest in the Calhoun world. So I love Adam Calhoun.
All right. Well, here we got to do a little taste to Adam Calhoun.
Hold on.
I like Calhoun.
Don't take the shot yet because I'm about to rock your world. So 3 days ago, I was in touch with his publicist because he's doing a Florida tour. And I was like, well, he lives in Chicago. Don't he have to go right back through Atlanta?
Yes.
On the way home.
That's the
I said, well, I've got a building that holds 1,000 people.
On the way.
Yeah. Well, all our weekends are booked. I said, I'll sell it out on a Tuesday night. I don't give a fuck. So nothing has come of that, but there has been an exchange with Calhoun's people. I love Calhoun.
Right here to Calhoun.
Did you hear Calhoun on a rant the other day about OnlyFans?
Absolutely. Dude,
so
he was everything Calhoun.
So he was bitching about paying $25, but no full nudity. I thought that was great. Yes, I don't know why it tickled the shit out of me.
Because he's just an average, everyday American.
So listen.
I love Adam Calhoun.
Listen. I'm changing your world. If you think Calhoun's good, you haven't been down the. So did you see Upchurch the other day? Calhoun posting about being at that arena and his friend.
I did.
That was Upchurch.
All right. So I've heard the name, but I've never went down the rabbit hole. So I'll admit, I'm going to go down it when we're done. You won't see him again till Monday. Because once you go down, yes. This is right here. We'll do it. So you don't love the old Colt Ford stuff, though? Colt Ford, he was a trailblazer.
So Colt Ford's OG.
Yeah, he is an.
The problem with being OG was
he was a Bama Jam.
He had to be so politically. He's just feel good. He's feel good.
But he paved the road though, so these boys don't have to be.
So you know my philosophy on that. You know, there's 3 stages of every movement. Absolutely. There's the pioneers, there's the early adapters, and the bandwagoners. Colt Ford was the pioneer.
He was. That's all I care about.
And he blazed it. And I love Colt. I say I don't love Colt Ford. I love Colt Ford. I think he was a little.
He got a little hokey.
He got a little hokey.
Fair. That's totally
especially
fair.
when you hear Calhoun.
It's totally fair. It's totally fair. And as soon as you say it, you don't even have to say it. Yeah. We're on the same level. I know what you mean.
Have you heard of Calhoun's song "Racism"?
Yes.
Holy shit!
What are you talking about,
Holy
dude? Calhoun will blow your tits off. Yeah. All right, if you've got these new C or D cans,
they're going to blow them right
They're
going to blow them right up. The gel cups are just.
Hey, Calhoun is a guy that's got a grown-ass man child.
Right.
His kid is grown.
Yeah.
And he gets into the rap game because he's kind of been in the
because Upchurch got him in the rap game. Wait till you meet Upchurch.
Your
world's about to.
If we ever get Calhoun
so I'm working
or
on
him around, and
we
don't do a show together, we're all fired. We're all fired.
So I'm working on 50 acres, 4-wheel drives, country rap, Southern gospel. Southern gospel. What the fuck did that come from? Southern rock.
Southern rock, yes. Blackberry Smoke. He loves, but she doesn't know how much you love Blackberry Smoke.
I love Blackberry Smoke.
I told him the jail story of my last attempt to go to Blackberry Smoke.
Yeah. So he won that competition because my last Blackberry Smoke was I left drunk in Macon, coming home to Atlanta, and somehow ended up almost to Savannah before we realized we were going the wrong way.
Yeah. I went to federal prison.
Yeah. So
you
won. One up. You won.
Yeah,
but
72 hours. Hard time.
Hard time.
A hard time.
72 hours.
Trading your bologna sandwich for the purple water juice.
That was another one time in our life where we were broke as fuck.
That $50 to pay that was everything we had.
Hey.
No, I'm talking about when we first saw Blackberry Smoke.
Yes.
So that too, the whole federal warrant fiasco for a boat ticket, but when we first saw Blackberry Smoke for the very first time at Bama Jam, it was the only reason we were at Bama Jam is because the company I work for was the title sponsor of the music festival, and so I was there like for work basically, and we got to just hang out at the concert all day, and they were like a 3 p.m. show, so it was like middle of the day. We were like some of the only people out there like camping for the fucking Kenny Chesney, what was ever coming at night.
Was it not the 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink though?
Yes. I mean, they came out and we were like, these motherfuckers.
Who is this?
Who the fuck is
and let's just be honest. You didn't give a fuck about any of them but Charlie.
No, and I didn't know they were from Atlanta, bro. I didn't know. They're from right here. They're from right here.
But like, I was like, they're like a mixture between like Black Crows and like just
Black Crows meets Leonard Skinner.
Yes.
Had a love child.
Yeah.
But so fucking good.
Damn good.
So good. And
so good.
He's right. It's Charlie Starr, though.
Yeah, it's Charlie Starr. Fuck, you can replace any of but Charlie.
Lead singer.
He's amazing.
Lead guitarist.
No, we were in love with him immediately.
Do you know that's the lead singer and lead guitarist, sons? Write it down. Tell me how many you know, and I'll go fuck myself.
All I know is
not since Greg Allman.
Yeah.
True. Exactly.
Yeah.
After we saw them, we at that time we had a boat. It was as soon as we got home, we got like all their shit downloaded, and every fucking time we were out on the boat, it was like the very first thing. Good one coming on immediately on the fucking radio on the boat.
So what do you want me to do, sons? I'm honest. I tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. That's my shit.
Is Uncle Randy, is he down the Whiskey Myers trail?
Yes.
Because that's like the last 2 Southern rock.
Yes, I
Blackberry
agree.
Smoke, Whiskey
100%.
Myers. Have you heard Whiskey Myers?
Yes, I have. Right. I don't know if she
So
has.
listen, you need to write that. Give her the pencil right now. I'm about to change your life again.
Okay.
Dude, you're changing lives.
But that's what I do.
You're just over here.
That's what I do. Bam.
Skinny dipping in the Chattahoochee.
and so here's the deal, dude. I'm a ballad slow guy, so man, I'm a 1-horse town guy from Blackberry Smoke. The little song 1-horse town.
That's a good one.
Man.
Dude, I'm a good one coming on.
Oh, I'm a good one coming on.
Dude, listen.
Hey, and there ain't much left of me.
Dude,
I used to joke, ain't much left of me with my theme song.
Dude, my song about me is I'd Be Lying.
Yeah.
Dude, listen, there's no bullshit. That's my jam.
Yeah.
I like Who Invented the Wheel.
No, there's everything.
Dude, everything's good. Listen, Charlie Starr, I'm telling you, The fact that he's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame blows me away because he's
heard
better than
little-
90%
Have you
of
heard
them.
the little one single he put out with Amanda Shire, I think, Let Me Down Easy?
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Oh, that is good.
That's so good.
It's been forever. How long ago was that he
No,
did that, though? It's
2-3 years.
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah,
that
it's
long
been-
ago. Let Me Down Easy is my jam, man.
Your handwriting is atrocious right now. I
It
don't know what
always
you're
is.
doing. I'm gonna have to go, baby. I'm gonna go call my sister.
All right, hang on. Let me pee one more time, and you ask this question, and then you're gone.
Look, if you
Okay.
come back in here and she's topless, it is not my fault. I'm a half bottle bourbon in.
All
I just
right.
want to throw it out there, okay?
So
Okay,
we
that's
kind of
not
touched
good.
on that. Go right here. Go right here with
What
it.
about it?
Just
just-
how does he? What's
just
his thoughts on it?
thoughts,
Uncle Randy's
feelings?
running for governor, so we know
Okay.
we're going to talk about it.
You want to take those headphones off?
Yes.
All right, just making sure I'm here for you.
Lives,
Changing lives.
Changing lives. Left and right, all over the place. All right. So, what are your thoughts and feelings on marijuana, the
Well,
devil's lettuce?
I don't know how something so natural that God
Yes.
created
Yes,
could be bad.
I know.
And I don't understand why Georgia hasn't legalized it yet.
I know.
And the money that would come from it.
Yeah.
And so I'm pro marijuana.
Yeah, good. So are we. It's fucking stupid. It's incredible to me how the long lasting effects and the reach of that like DARE program from the fucking 80s
Yeah.
that Ronald Reagan put.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Nancy.
where it criminalized drugs.
It is actually, Cherokee County, I think, is one of the only metro Atlanta counties that has not decriminalized it yet.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise
And
me really,
so-
but
it doesn't me either. And,
like really, yeah. that's right.
yeah, but no, I don't understand how something all natural,
Yeah.
how you could outlaw something like that.
And anybody that has ever been around anybody that smokes weed would know that like it is way less dangerous than drinking a bunch of whiskey.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
drinking a bunch of beer. Or,
Yeah, so I'm not a big weed, so it gives me anxiety.
Him too.
It stresses me out.
Yeah.
I'm paranoid. I think I'm checking Facebook 1,000 times to see what I posted. I haven't posted anything.
Brenda will say, I can't feel my arms.
I'm
Yeah.
the worst high guy
Yeah,
you've
me too.
ever
You don't
known.
ever. So
I want to compete.
So I will.
I'm the
I will
worst.
ruin your high.
Me
You
too.
are not going to relax. You're not going to
Our
chill.
personalities
Yeah.
are the worst
Yes.
people to
So
give
type
weed to.
A's can't do it. So it's
But-
not even selfish that I want to do it.
Right.
You
But
know, it's
everybody
just
else
like,
should be able to
yeah,
get high if you
right.
want to.
I wish it worked for me.
me too.
I've tried to
I
make
wish
it
I
work
could pop
for
a
me.
gummy and actually sleep
Dude.
at night would be amazing.
We smoked the last time we smoked pot together before we had Gunner. My buddy from Alabama gave us some purple Kush, sons,
Yeah.
whatever that means.
Yeah,
And I was like, this shit looks cool.
yeah,
I'm smoking all of it, sons.
Yeah.
I smoked every bit of it. Couldn't feel my arms and legs.
Yeah.
Spent the night in the bathroom wondering when I was going to die.
yeah.
No good for me. But I support other people
Yeah,
that
so
can
it
do
just
it
gives me
regularly.
anxiety. I'm
Me too.
paranoid. I don't sleep, and so then but instead I'm just laying in bed groggy. If I'm going to be awake, I want to be awake.
Mhm.
Melatonin does the same thing to me. Doesn't fucking do anything. You can't touch greatness.
Dude, Uncle Randy's got to take an Ambien and 3 fucking Benadryl.
Yeah, and that
to-
works.
to
That's the
go
formula.
to really knock
Yeah,
me
I don't
out.
sleep.
Secret sauce.
I don't sleep.
Yeah, I don't have
Because
time to sleep.
I'm
The brain don't
always
stop.
plotting.
I
sons.
wake up and apparently I text myself in the middle of the night. Like I have great thoughts. And and I wake up and it's like, man, that's good.
Bubba says, Gary, just smoke a blunt, bro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I used to smoke a lot of
Doesn't
pot.
work for me.
So let's
Yeah.
get on an interesting question about Bubba.
Hey, 1-5 sports, by the way.
No
1-5,
longer,
1-5.
no long. So since Friday, 5 days into not being
Hold
under the
on,
county,
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
All right.
how much
Okay.
weed do you think he smoked in the last 5 days? Knowing that he's not going to get drug tested.
Oh,
by the
probably a good
county.
bit. Listen, I know Bubba, championship athlete, makes great apparel. Bet he smokes a lot of dope.
Yeah, I don't think he
I
was when he was
support it,
working
though.
with the county.
Yeah,
So
I bet
think
when he
in the
gets off that,
the
though,
last 5
yeah,
days,
now that he's
it was
left
so
it,
nice to meet you.
now that he's left it and been like, you know what, fuck
Yeah.
this bullshit 9 to
Yeah.
5. I'm doing my shit.
Yeah.
I'm a champion. I bet he
I'm
smokes
smoking
whenever he
weed,
wants.
smoking weed and buffing cars.
And listen, when Uncle Randy's governor, that shit's going to be legal,
should
sons.
be
I've
legal
told
now.
you, it should be legal now. It's fucking ridiculous that we aren't collecting the tax revenue
Right.
on that shit.
And the
Fixing
tax
our
on it's
roads?
disgusting.
Dude, I'm hitting potholes here in Canton,
Yeah.
tearing the Camaro wheels up. So
Yeah.
listen, I've talked about being broke. Now I got a little dough,
Yeah.
got a Camaro, whatever.
So let me
sons.
tell
It's
you why I
beautiful.
have a truck.
Tears my truck, my wheels up.
So here's why I have a truck. Are you ready?
Yes.
I had a BMW and totaled it hitting a pothole.
It's
totaled
incredible.
it.
It's fucking nuts.
My wife said I'm the worst driver, so I hit the truck. I hit the potholes and just roll.
I had a BMW. Guess what happened? Blew the motor.
Yeah.
Right after it left the warranty.
Of course.
The minute after it left the beautiful BMW warranty, the motor blew.
Of course it did.
And then nothing and $1 million to replace
Yes.
it. Way more than it cost to fucking just buy.
I had $14,000 worth of damage from a pothole.
That's fucking incredible.
FUB. That's what we get for not buying American.
Absolutely. We deserve it.
Right.
In my mind, we deserve it. All right. And Bubba says, and I was out of town for a ball tournament. I know he's a softball stud, sons. Listen,
he's always playing ball.
Listen, high school champions. Uncle Randy starts that podcast with Marshall. Listen, whatever. We get a bat deal immediately. It's not saying Uncle Randy's a celebrity, but he is kind of. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Dude, hey, we sign. We love everybody, sons. It's not. We don't leave people hanging. It's whatever it is, but we got a bat deal immediately.
Legends.
Nobody gets that at fucking Hobgood, whatever. Son. All right, she's saying Misty Martin says you're a bad driver, though.
Well, that's the rumors.
And then Dustin says, Uncle Randy, you also hit garages, which is true. I did clip the garage, dented the fender. Fuck, our friends are calling us out. It's fucking terrible.
Fuck them all.
Fuck them all, sons. Listen, we did it.
Guess what?
We've already talked about we're center, sons. What do you want me to do? I've done everything you can do.
Hey,
you want to
what?
talk about your
they
shit?
Can talk,
I've done
they
it
can
10
talk
times.
shit, but if I said, hey, let's go jump off the mountain, they'd be like, let's roll.
Oh, yeah, dude. And I'll jump right off the mountain. Uncle Randy's done it all. You want to talk about what you've done?
Questions?
No, we got a bunch more, bro. We're not even close. I don't even know if it's possible to get to them.
But we'll go to midnight.
All right. So, prostitution.
Yeah.
What's your, this goes a little bit into your theology. What do you think about prostitution?
So my philosophy on that is, who are we to tell someone what they can or cannot do with their body? It's the oldest profession in the world.
I love that. That's
true.
true.
And if they want to sell their body, then by all means. The reality is, so do you watch Peaky Blinders at all?
Yes, of course.
So
who the fuck do you think I am? Of course, Uncle Randy here, son.
Yeah. So I love it when Thomas told Grace, he said, we're all prostitutes.
We are.
We all just sell different parts of ourselves.
If that's not the truth, I'm going to write that down. Listen, I'm writing down more shit than I've ever write. If we're not all prostitutes.
Right. We all just sell different parts of ourselves.
Dude, if that's not the truest shit I've ever heard.
So I'm going to tell you a funny story. You ready? I'm not going to say his name. So I had a buddy in high school, had this profession. We all made fun of him. He's probably the richest guy I know now. Never got married. Yeah. He's in business meetings in his profession with some of the biggest people in Georgia, congressmen. Okay. And he always takes escorts with him. High dollar escorts. They know what they're going into, how to talk. So I told him one day, I said, dude, I ain't ever paying for sex. He said, really? He said, what kind of house did you buy your wife? He said, what kind of car did you buy her? He said, what's her clothes? He goes, the difference between you and me is I know how much I pay every time. Oh, man, and I was like, damn.
I said, dropping, that's dropping some shit right on your tits.
He said, we all pay for it. He goes, I just budgeted.
Smartest guy I've ever. Dude,
yeah.
He just gave it. What can you say? What did you say to that?
Right.
What'd you say? You're right. Sorry, sir.
This is a beautiful house.
Yeah, what'd you say? My apologies, sir.
Right.
I was wrong.
Right.
You're right.
Exactly.
Yes. We do all pay for it. And
I think it's funny that people would ask that question, though.
It blows me away because, listen, like you said, it's the oldest profession.
Yeah.
Listen, who did Jesus flock to, sons?
Right.
Who were his people? Like, people forget. They want to look at, like, here's my deal with religion. I'm going to give it straight. Listen, we're drinking, sons. We're getting straight into it. Listen, I'm a New Testament guy.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's old New Testament. Yeah. Listen, from what I read, and I've read it all, I grew up in church, Southern Baptist, sons. What I know is that my Jesus would fuck with the group that was fucking up.
Yeah.
That's who he would flock to.
Right.
That's who he wanted in his church. Yeah. Not the motherfuckers that were doing everything
he says. Not the well that needs a doctor.
That's what dude. Yeah. So if you talk about prostitute, whatever you think is wrong, I can't pass judgment on that because you know what? I've done worse.
Right.
I'm just going to give it to you straight.
Right.
I've done it all except for what Rick Cope's done.
Right.
Rick Cope's went a little further than I've went, but that's just Rick
allegedly.
Cope. Still love allegedly.
Nothing I always got to throw that in. Allegedly.
Absolutely. Nothing proved. There's no evidence or anything. But listen, I've done it all. I'm not going to lie to you. That would make me a fucking hypocrite. If I sat here and said that I was better than anyone else, I'm no better. I've made every mistake you've made and some. To the listeners, trust me, you can do no wrong.
And had fun doing it.
I did. And guess what? I paid my price.
Because guess what? If it wasn't fun, we wouldn't do it.
Yeah. And guess what? I did pay whatever penalty y'all want to put on shit.
Wow.
I paid it. So I'm cool with it. All right. So this goes right into cancel culture. Let's talk about that. How do you think that's affecting us? And where do you think it's going to go? And do you think the pendulum is going to swing back the other way?
Yeah, it's eventually going to swing back the other way because people are going to get sick and tired. And it ought to scare people when it swings back the other way, because just like with anything, there's never balanced anything. It's going to swing back so far the other way that there's going to be no couth, no censorship, free for all. And they're going to have nothing to blame but themselves.
Absolutely. Because when Americans get fed up, these gun-toting, law-abiding Americans finally get pissed, which I gave them shit and called a lot of them pussies that they didn't do it when they said they would stand up for like Trump, and they didn't. They didn't want to. They didn't want the smoke. Because here's the deal: if you think the Democrats are the old Democrats, they're not. They're the old Republicans. They're willing to get dirty. They're willing to fight. They're willing to burn their cities down, and Republicans no longer are.
Right.
So pick what party you want to be.
War's ugly.
They are willing to get ugly, and Republicans aren't. So you kind of got the smoke handed to you.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about cancel culture. Fuck it.
I do too. Trust me. Yes.
And I tell you something I've learned. When you have the mindset of fuck cancel culture, they can't cancel you.
They absolutely can't. I've said it. You just hit the fucking tits on the head.
I tell you something. We were talking earlier. We have a group in our wrestling promotion, and their last name is the Lynches. They go by the Lynch Mob. On more than one occasion, we've had
fantastic wrestlers.
We've had on more than one occasion, we've had a group try to get us to. How do you have them in this day and time?
Because they're good.
I immediately go in there and say, it's their last names. They're going nowhere, and we're not discussing this.
And they're good.
And what's funny, it ends the discussion. I'm not feeding into it.
No.
I'm not pandering to you. Here's what I had a lady today. I posted something about masculinity versus toxic masculinity.
Oh, we're going to get there.
She went on this post, and everybody came after. She deleted her post. You know why? Because I'm not hiding. I'm not just because you posted something. I'm not going to go back and reverse what I wrote. I stand by what I wrote. People think, here's what kills me about people. They think I post off the cuff.
Yeah.
Everything
Nothing's
I
off
post
the
is
cuff.
strategic.
Not from true champions. True champions think everything over 5 or 6 times.
So I'm never coming back and apologizing for what I wrote.
Me either. I never have, and I never will.
Even if I was wrong, I'm not apologizing.
Me either. Because guess what? I thought it through 5 times, and to me at the time, I was right. So I'm never apologizing.
My wife has asked me on more than one occasion. She said, by you writing that, if we lose this venue or that venue, what are we going to do? I said, we'll find another venue, because I do events.
Yes.
I said, absolutely. I'm not worried about it. I said, I refuse to be someone's pawn.
What also makes people why they fuck with you, right? Because as much as people that might make some people think you're an asshole, it also makes the majority of people that fuck with you fuck with you, right? Because you're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the balls to do it, but you do. And that's why they'll fuck with Gary Lang.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The way we do church, I'm not changing it.
No.
You can come in every day and try to get it. It ain't changing. You will lose that battle.
Absolutely. And let me tell you anything about championship mindset. Uncle Randy talks about it all the time. Champions think 3 steps ahead. I already know when I post something, this many people are going to be pissed, and they're going to write in, and they're going to be pissed. I'm not going to say anything. My crew will take care of them, but it's going to be ugly maybe for a minute. But my people know where my heart is, and that's who I give a shit about right there. That's going to see that I'm not bowing to this shit. And I've said 100 times, you can quote me, goddamn. You can go listen to Married AF. You can't cancel the uncancelable.
No.
That's the difference.
Right.
You can try to cancel Uncle Randy. I love it. Do it. It'll help my brand.
Right.
Cancel me right now. I beg you. It'll help me.
That's what you fail to realize. I'm not scared of being canceled. And if every venue in town tells me I can't do events, guess what?
You make more money.
I got a 32,000 square foot building. I run events in it 7 days a week. You can't stop it. I ran Black Sheep underground events when it was outlawed to run events.
Dude, you will just be helping me if you cancel me in the fucking. You give me some free smoke on Facebook, bro. Listen, and I want to talk to this about you. I had a question written from Uncle Randy about how important is the pop, and the pop. I can relate that all the way to people cancel culture because I love that. That's the same to me as somebody saying, I love you, Uncle Randy.
Yeah.
I want somebody also to be like, I hate you so much. Yeah. I'm willing to put my ass on the line.
So a lot of people say, I don't mind the critics, and they do.
They sure do.
Absolutely. I legitimately and I don't know if this is a good thing. I moved here when I was 28 years old to start a contemporary church that was unheard of in this area. I've been dealing with critics since I was 28 years old.
Yeah.
Now, I don't even I don't even know how to function without
Sure.
it. So you don't like it? I don't get.
No, you were kind of raised in it.
I had an affair. Was on the front page paper. Stayed in the same town.
Sure.
I don't give two.
By the way,
shits.
nobody does that. By the way, just so you know, because even Uncle Randy, I left Alabama. I'm here in Georgia. Gary Lamb stayed in the hometown and did one of these.
Yeah, I
to
don't.
everybody said, I'm not leaving my home. Listen, right here.
This
Boom.
town. I love this place. I don't give a shit. I thrive on it. I think early in my life, I said I didn't give a shit, but I did because I obsessed over them. I just don't even care now. People will message me like now. Literally, people will message me like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, man. What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
dude, you ain't been on Facebook. We're throwing down on your behalf. I'm like, "Oh, I ain't even seen it."
Yeah,
because I don't give a shit.
Let me tell you, that's the biggest thing.
Freedom
that Dustin Fire Marshal Bill said to me. He was like, "You and Gare, the only guys I know that give zero shits if people hate you or love." I'm like, I told Fire Marshal Bill, I love the haters almost as much as I love the promoters because they both are promoters.
Right.
You're both fans.
Hey.
Whether you realize it or not, if you're a detractor, you're really a fan.
So
you're really a better fan
so
because you spread the word.
I have two or three families that attend the church I pastor that weren't that it came from my previous church. They didn't come from my previous church when I was there.
Yeah.
They came after I was living there like, dude, we heard so much bad shit about you. We had to come check it out ourselves.
Absolutely.
Like,
come on.
You know?
Yeah. Everyone's welcome here.
Welcome to the freak show.
Yes.
That's what I always tell them.
Absolutely. So what was it about that? And I want to ask you that too. So you talked about that and Rick's wife saying this, that Dustin's the man. She's absolutely right. Dustin's the greatest, dude. Dustin has a political career, and I think both me and Gary support it. He is doing it right. That guy knows he's got a career. He's not doing the Uncle Randy or the Gary Lamb method where people are going to point to our ridiculous outrages.
Right.
That guy is clean as a whistle, and I'll vote for him every day, all day. I love that motherfucker. I hope he runs for something.
I'll move back in the city limits just to vote for him.
He is so good. I would vote for that guy for anything. He's the one that got the golf cart ordinance, Pat did it on his own, so it's all legal. I respect the shit out of him. Love Dustin Davey. Vote for him for whatever he runs. I'd love to see him on the city council for real. Like, no doubt about it. But I
got a few connections that will tell you that a couple of those seats are coming open this year.
I agree.
Because people are going to retire.
He should do it.
You didn't hear that from me.
Let me tell you what Chapman asked about that. I went to the golf cart. We had the meeting a couple weeks ago downtown Canton. And we go down there and I walk in and there's a cop and they're saying masks are required.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a mask.
Yeah.
Uncle Randy's not. This isn't like some big dick thing. I'm some cool guy. I don't wear masks. I'm just telling you straight up. I don't wear them anywhere. That's not my thing. I don't own one. I've got one that's a full Batman from a costume that has the face and everything and the eyes cut out that I've worn to my son's dentist because they required it. So I had to go in with him for a dentist appointment. Other than that, I will pick my spots. If a company requires me to wear it, I'll choose whether that's important enough for me to do business with them.
I'm not going to fight with you.
Neither. That's their right as a business.
Right.
Dude,
Thank you.
That's my right. That's their right. I want them to be able to say, sir, fuck you.
Right.
You've got a beard. I don't like bearded motherfuckers in my business. Guess what I'll say? I respect it.
Right.
I'm out.
Cool.
Because I got a beard.
Right.
So I'm out. I'll shave it or I don't want your product.
Exactly.
That's how America works. People get all bent on shit. It's that simple.
Yeah.
If they would just let shit be that simple.
That disappoints me, though. You had to wear to the council meeting?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't wear it. The cop let me in.
Good.
The Cherokee County
they ain't gonna stir it
was
up.
there. He was like, if you don't want to wear it, don't wear it. I was like, I don't got one.
Yeah.
So he let me in.
That was city, so that surprised me because Frank don't give two fucks. We got the greatest sheriff in the
Frank
world.
Reynolds the best. I've said that. I went out and spoke to the managers about the tax increase for property taxes. Uncle Randy went and spoke, kind of built Uncle Randy. I went and spoke about 8 months ago, and I told him if they raise taxes, I would do everything I could to get people to fire them immediately.
Yeah.
Because how can you raise property taxes during a pandemic?
Right.
That's political.
Yeah,
so
it ought to scare Cherokee County because we better hope that Frank never decides to run for governor.
Oh, I love some Frank.
Greatest politician ever.
I'll support that motherfucker to the end of the world.
Oh, me too. I love him.
You talk about somebody that was built though to be a sheriff. God. He just looks the part. The cowboy hat and shit, bro. perfect.
Dude, he ran a 3-man race after a sheriff of 25 years retired against 2 other great men. There should have been a runoff. He won 74% of the votes.
It's hands down. Nobody will run against him
No,
again.
they ain't even got the balls.
They don't have the balls.
I like it when the county commissioners came out about masks and said the police will be enforcing. Frank diplomatically said, we will not be enforcing that.
Let me tell you, that's a big part of why Uncle Randy was like, you know what, fuck masks.
Yes.
I know Frank.
Right.
I know Frank good enough. Like, I've got challenge coins from Frank.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. Uncle Randy knows him. Gary knows him. I know Frank good enough to where if we saw him, he would know who Uncle Randy is.
Right.
We've talked. So whatever that is. But I know he's a good enough guy. That motherfucker's not going to infringe on your Constitution.
Loves the Constitution.
He is not going to come in
No.
and arrest your buddies because you had a
No,
barbecue at your
right.
house with 11 people
He's
instead
not
of
gonna
10.
do it.
Not fucking Frank Reynolds.
Yeah.
That motherfucker is a stand-up, and
Yeah.
he is a constitutionalist, which is what Uncle Randy is. So
Here's
when
what
I
I
run
love
for
him.
governor, sons, I hope he doesn't run because that's who I don't want to run
Yeah,
against.
no.
I want him where he's at.
You'd probably have to do the right thing and just withdraw. And
Or
give it
be
to
his
Frank.
lieutenant governor.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't go into details, but I also know when all the riots were taking place,
Yes.
those motherfuckers at Cherokee County Sheriff's Department had a plan in place
Yes.
in case that shit rolled up in
Sure.
here.
Oh, it's not going to happen here. Yeah.
They ain't
it's not.
stupid.
No, they're not stupid.
How
And
fucking stupid would you have to be?
bad. For one, you're going to run up on all the smoke residentially.
Yeah, right.
Because you run up on
Right.
Uncle Randy's house, right in this closet,
Right.
we can go in here. I'm going to pull out an AR that's going to
Yeah.
make you nasty, a shotgun, about
Yeah.
4 pistols,
Right.
another shotgun that'll make you shit your pants. And I'm unloading every bit of it. You
I
break
told
into my
someone the
house,
other day, I said, I'm not even a big gun guy, and I got 7 of them. Imagine these motherfuckers that are into guns.
oh, that are sick.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, these real twisted
Right.
fucking conservatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Frank, guess what? He supports those guys. And their
Right.
rights to have
You know
those.
why? Because America.
He's America. And could there be a more handsome guy? Listen,
No.
Uncle Randy's
Perfect
okay.
family.
What a handsome guy.
Yeah.
This whole family.
Yeah.
Him and his brother.
His butthole's about this big right now, knowing Uncle Randy and the black sheep are talking
Dude.
about him. He don't know what we're about to say.
he
but
should
hey.
he should use this as his commercial.
Approved. Boom.
Handsome fella, works the part. I'll support him to the ends of the world. And I want you to go pull. I want you people that aren't normal Uncle Randy listeners that are coming from Gary's world, which I appreciate. This combined world is fantastic.
We
But
got
I
people
went
watching right now.
I
still?
went and spoke. Oh yeah, dude, tons. I went and spoke in front of the city managers or the Canton, whatever they're called, the board of managers about the tax
City
increase.
council.
Yes, and told them how, that property tax increase was unacceptable. Frank was there, and I said, "Listen, we're lucky to have a fucking sheriff like Frank Reynolds, who's a winner. I'll support that guy to the end of the world. But you guys talking about this tax increase during a pandemic that's political." Blows my mind when I got buddies that have lost their whole business because you shut this fucking
Right.
county down.
Right.
It's your fault. So I can't support
Shut
that
this
shit.
fucking city down 2 weeks before the state
Absolutely.
did. We don't want
And-
to go there, dude.
And Frank came to me after that meeting and gave me a coin from Cherokee County. He came up. We were in the pisser together. We were actually pissing side by side. We got out, washed our hands, gave me the coin. Still actually gave it to Gunner. He's that kind of winner.
Yeah.
So I love
Great
Frank
guy.
Reynolds too.
Cherokee County doesn't realize how lucky we are to have him.
Oh, absolutely. So, all right, I've asked you that. We talked about the cancel culture. So just to cap that off, any kind of cancel culture, even if I don't agree with you, I don't think you should be canceled.
Me either.
I just
Me
want to
either.
be clear about it. If we are on polar ends of the
Right.
world, you should not lose your job
Right.
over our disagreement.
It is my right not to support your business, but I don't think your business should be canceled.
Oh, absolutely. And it drives me mad. If somebody goes after somebody's employment or their marriage or any shit like that, guess what? Uncle Randy can't fuck with
Yeah,
you. Just
no.
so you know,
You're
over your
crossing the
beliefs.
lines.
Yeah, you went way past the line and I can't fuck with you. All right. So, all right. This is for me, but we can both. I'm going to actually let you answer it first just because I think I know your answer now. It's Uncle Randy. Does it ever bother you if people think you're an asshole? I'm gonna let you answer first. So, Gary, if people think you're an asshole, does it bother you?
No.
I love it.
No. Like,
I
fuck.
appreciate it.
Shit. And here's the reality. That's a weird word, asshole. People who love me.
Think I'm
My
an asshole.
wife thinks I'm an asshole.
Sure, my wife too. We just didn't ask her. We just didn't ask her, right? Yeah,
exactly. So my mom thinks I'm an asshole.
yeah. I don't have any problem with that. Listen, to me, an asshole is all kind of things. I got friends that are assholes.
Yeah.
I can call them an asshole. I can tell them they're an asshole at times.
Actually, can I be honest with you? I think I'm an asshole.
I do too. At times,
I
dig in on
I
some
know
things,
I'm an asshole.
and I'm an asshole about some topics where I will dig in and defend it to the end of the
people
earth.
will tell you, it's funny. I've had more than one person say he's the most loving asshole I've ever met in my life.
Somebody just posted that, so I'm gonna have to write this down. As you said that, Oren Michael Stinson said lovable asshole.
Yeah.
So I don't know who that is, so that has to be a Gary supporter.
Yeah.
Said lovable asshole.
Yeah, I am. Because they know, man, I'm the guy that's going to go pull you out of the crack house, but I'm going to cuss you like a fucking dog the entire time I'm pulling you out of it.
But still get you out.
But I'm going to get you out.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's just a true friend. And you kind of learn that, right? When you, it's hard. It's tough for me to say, like, right? Because like I said, I lost most of my friends in my divorce. Whether you agree with that or not, I'm fine with it. Because I'm actually, time heals all wounds. Everything's good there. But, you lose friends. You wonder why. Like, I thought we were the best of friends. Yeah. And you kind of got to acknowledge your mistakes too, which I made a ton. So that's fine. But, I'm willing to go back. Like, I've got a bunch of friends I've made back because of the time has healed the wounds. Right. Yeah. And I accept that. I don't want people to think that you got to rebuff the people that at one time rejected you. I kind of have to understand their plot. Like, that's just my job. Cause I do consider myself a Christian, right? I'm saved. I believe, I know I've accepted Jesus, right, in my heart, but I also know I sin all the time, every day, every damn day.
I put them in the position to turn on me. That's what I have to remind myself.
Yes.
Can we totally change the subject for a minute?
Sure, absolutely.
I've been meaning to bring it. Uncle Randy's sitting in a throne.
Yes.
Where did the throne come from? Because I'm so intrigued by it.
I built it from scrap wood just because.
Because you fucking can?
No, and nobody knows this because they didn't see they saw your Facebook message today about the Kings.
Yeah.
Dude, I agree with that shit. Bro, I built this because fuck this, the King's lair.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I built it out of scrap bullshit. So it's like Game of Thrones, sons. King, this is my throne, sons. Listen, I've earned this motherfucker. I've been from the depths of zero, and I might go back tomorrow. Yeah. I'm not promising y'all that I'm going to be some rich, wealthy celebrity. I could lose it all tomorrow. I could fuck up tomorrow. Yeah. And y'all just have to be prepared. That might happen, son.
Oh, I tell people all the time.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm going to let you down. Like, you can take it to the bank. I'm going to fuck up and let you down in some way, shape, or form. But when I let you down, I ain't going to stay down.
Listen, Heather just said, I know you're an asshole, but I love you.
Yeah.
That's to you.
I think that might be to me. I think she was saying you're an asshole.
It could be. It could be above. But this is, John, this could also be above. He's an asshole, but he's our asshole. Yeah, that could be either one, too. I don't know. Jesus Christ, we're a couple assholes.
I know I'm an asshole.
Me too. I know to some people.
And I accept it.
To some people, I know I'm an asshole.
And I'm good with it.
And I've never been.
And I think sometimes you need an asshole in your life.
I agree 1,000%. But I've also told people I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
No.
Son. I know that there's some friends of ours who are they might be very liberal. They might even be very conservative, because I'll call conservatives on the bullshit, right? Too. There's some fuck ups there. Yeah. As bad as there are left.
But I need to remind you one thing real quick. Yep. So you had a lot of fireballing. So I know you're feeling no pain.
Oh, no pain.
We got to finish that bourbon.
Oh, God. Bourbon tastes like.
Where it's business.
Listen, let me tell you what this tastes like. This tastes like we're at the Claremont and we're licking Blondie's butt crack.
This tastes,
right after her niece has been crushing.
This tastes like fucking men.
Well, you drank every drop of that's you.
Well, I just need to be sipped on.
Oh, it tastes like my dad. Listen, this tastes like abandonment. Why does this taste? Why does this taste like abandonment, sons? I don't know. Oh, all right. Well, cheers. I'll take a little swig from it, sons. Hell, Uncle Randy ain't scared, son. Oh, Uncle, a real Randy would mix that with some Seagrams.
No, we just fucking roll, baby.
Oh, God.
That's why truth is being spit right now.
Hey, let me tell you, my best buddy growing up just said, drink the Woodford and quit being a bitch, Randy. Right. That's my best friend growing up.
And you know why he's your best friend? Because he speaks the truth. It's the law of the 10%.
Dude, that shit's terrible. That shit is not cheap. It's the middle road, like
it's
bourbon.
That's the good stuff.
It's fucking terrible.
It's awesome.
God, it's terrible.
It's not.
All bourbon's awful. Why is it so bad? I can handle vodka.
You saying that just reminds me that nobody's perfect.
They're right. You're right.
Right. Like
You're right. It's true. God, I've never been one to be able to get into bourbon. That makes sense. Robert says that though, because he sits back and drinks a bourbon every night,
Yeah.
to
He's a winner.
chill out. Yes, he is a winner. Got a championship business in Alabama. Top photographer, sports photographer, by the way. Check out robertowen.net if you need photography in Alabama, especially sports. He's a champion. But he likes the bourbon, son. And there's a taste for that because that shit's terrible. It's like an ashtray mixed with old age and wisdom mixed together. Like all that
The
is in
wisdom,
that.
though, is the key.
I taste all that in that.
I think it's the illusion that I want to be a gangster so fucking bad, which I'm not.
Oh, it tastes so bad. But I do picture it in every mafia
Right,
movie.
exactly.
Like, they're doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Deals are being done. Prostitutes are being sold. Drugs
Lives are being
traded.
ended.
Right.
Oh, dude, it's fucking terrible.
Right. Like, I feel like Rick was drinking this when he hit the body.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Probably not Woodford, though. He was drinking like old granddad, like $11 bottle.
Yes.
$11 a bottle.
Dude, that was back in the old days.
Yes.
Yeah, he was hurting.
Yes.
And listen, again, Rick Cope's the guy, picked his broken, destroyed leg up off the interstate, said, all right, I'm going to put that back on. Somebody take a little skin off my butt cheek, attach them together, still be good.
Yeah.
And that thing is still on his horrible body. It
And
blows
here's
me
what's
away.
Amazing. And married a smoking hot woman.
Dude,
like, how did he do that? That's the power of a sense of humor.
And it's the power of being a champion.
Right.
It's the power of championships, sons. Listen.
I give Heather hell about it.
Oh, she surely did.
I'm like, what were you doing?
Yeah, man, what a winner. What a guy to be able to lose. He came up to, he brought up the golf cart, the new one the other day to see everybody in this cul-de-sac, and he saw Gunner and Brooke were outside. I was doing some work or something. I don't think I was here. And he was like, hey, Gunner, hey, Brooke, I'm just showing you, look at the new golf cart. Gunner was like, that's awesome. Why do your feet look purple? And that's the problem with kids, right? I don't
give two shits.
Dude, little kids give it to you straight. And he was like, because I don't have any circulation, because my fucking legs are going to fall off. Because that's the kind of winner Rick Cope is.
Yeah.
No bullshit. The kid's not going to give you any bullshit,
kid.
And neither is the kid.
Oh.
So it's two bulls locking horns from different generations, which I love and which encapsulates Rick Cope. The kid asks him, why are your feet purple? He says, because I don't have no circulation, motherfucker.
He didn't sugarcoat it. He's like, one day you're going to see me that I ain't got no feet.
And guess what? Gunner said, cool. Why do you have windshield wipers? That was it. And moved on. Champions do that. But nobody gives it straight. Most people would dance around it, make some weird conversation. Not Rick Cope, sons. He says, hey, they're going to fall off soon. I don't give a shit. I got a golf cart.
Right.
I'll put a peg leg on, hit the gas, be
and
gone.
Still whoop your ass.
Guess what? Paid for too, son.
Right.
So I'm driving down the road.
Right.
All day. Champion. Yeah, we got some comments here. This is the Rick Cope Show. By the way, our buddy fucking, what was it? His real name. You just fucking told me earlier his fucking real name.
Oh, Hanson?
Yes, Hanson.
Skaggs.
Yes, Skaggs. He said, didn't know Uncle Randy before this. Love Uncle Randy now. Gonna have to meet him.
Yeah.
So my day's made.
Right.
So whatever happens from here, give a shit, dude. Best guy I saw at Southern Honor Wrestling. That's up. You know, everybody can pick their own wrestlers. That was my fucking guy.
So he's in a tag team right now with a guy named Huck.
Oh, he was by himself when I went.
No, we put him together with this big black dude, and they're called All-Star Special.
Okay.
After the Waffle House.
Yes. Beautiful.
And so they come out every time to Waffle House tunes. They came out to Sweet Caroline the other day.
That's
and
good.
the fucking roof blew. Everybody was singing the place.
Do they still do the Hold My Beer shit?
Oh,
though?
Yeah. He's still Hold My Beer Hanson.
God, dude. What a win for America.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for a guy like that, because you look at him, you'd see him physical. You wouldn't be, he's not the most well-built guy, but you hear him come out and you see the gimmick. He wins.
So this is what I tell the wrestlers, all these guys with all their flips and flops and all shit.
You don't have to have
I said, listen, just work the fucking gimmick. I said, it's got to piss y'all off that Hanson's only been doing it 2 years. And he's a solid wrestler, but he's green as fuck and gets a bigger pop than any of you motherfuckers.
What do they say to that when you tell them
they
that?
get pissed.
Do they?
But I also remind them motherfuckers, no matter how big they are,
You pay the checks.
That I get the biggest pop every fucking night when I come out.
You sure do. Which is also I didn't mention that. Which is how Gunner knew you were talking. We called you when we were telling Gunner. Gunner was like, "Who's Gary?" We were like, "Gary, his kid was walking you around. Yeah. He was also the guy on the mic in the ring." He was like, "Oh, because yeah, you do a big dude." We haven't even gone into that, but your wrestling background. So, how much do you love wrestling, and how much do you use with what you know from wrestling and what you've learned from that industry in branding and promoting?
Yeah. So here's a funny thing. So I don't love wrestling at all. My son got into wrestling. We were going to watch shitty independent wrestling every month. I grew up loving wrestling, but I went away from it. I grew up and quit watching it. My son got into it.
That's how I got back into
it. Every month I was having to watch this horrible wrestling. That was horrible. I came home one day and I said, I can't go watch this shit every month. She said, well, your son's into it. I said, well, then I'm just going to start my own.
That's fucking awesome.
So we started.
That's what winners do.
We won by the way, fucking I've been around 2 years, 2-time promotion of the year, state of Georgia.
Hey, let me tell you, blows the tits off bullshit that people call territorial wrestling nowadays. Doesn't hold a dick to Southern Honor Wrestling. And I'm going to give it to you straight. I've been to both. Southern Honor blows its dick off, son.
Yeah.
Great show.
It's great. And so I love Southern Honor. And really, my wife, here's the best way to say it. I don't know that I learned some terminology from wrestling. My wife told me, she goes, I never realized all your redneck giftedness was made. She calls me the redneck PT Barnum.
I've heard that. I was going to mention that.
She said, I never realized all your redneck giftedness was perfect for wrestling.
It's actually a great moniker.
Yeah,
like if you put it together and do the math, not like whether people are trying to insult or compliment. It's both.
Here's the deal. They can insult all day long. I'm proud to be redneck.
Yes,
rednecks
me too.
Are my people.
Dude, that's
fucking common men, gun shooting, fucking live off the land, hard working, love their fucking country, love God, love their wife. If that's a redneck, then sign me up all day long.
You know where I'm from. I told you. Calpin, South Carolina.
We live in a world that's downplayed that. But when the shit hits the fan, who do you want? You want the fucking rednecks
Guess what?
around.
Listen, we're going to go and talk, and we're going to jump right into toxic masculinity since you brought it up, because that's a thing now, right? Uncle Randy's was born in Calpin, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Write that down, sons. You go up 85. You want to go to Charlotte and shit. You're going to go through Spartanburg. You're going to go through Greenville. There's going to be an exit right there called Calpin's Battleground Road, sons. That's from the Revolutionary War. That's it. There's going to be one stoplight. There's going to be a Hardee's and a Mike's Cafe in the middle of it. That's it, sons. That's where Uncle Randy comes from. Guess what all those people were? Champions.
Right.
Self-made. Had no money. None of them.
Yeah.
None of them. They all had, though, about an acre of land, and every one of them grew shit on it.
So for years, I always knew I was kind of the black sheep outcast in this town. I was kind of like, I'm the guy they call in when they need something no one else to do. And it used to bother me. I used to want to fit in. I don't give two fucks. Like, I'm proud. Like, dude, blue collar to the core, man. I love that mentality. Mm-hmm. And America can, and you know what? I don't want to get political here.
Sure.
But I think that's one of the things that Trump won the election on. He hit into these people that were successful people that felt like they had no voice.
Oh, yeah.
And I joke, you pull into the Action Church parking lot, you're not going to see an $80,000 Ferrari from the doctor, but you're going to see an $80,000 truck from the guy who owns the biggest plumbing company in the county.
Guess what? The wheels on it are probably $70,000.
Right.
The wheels and the lift on the truck.
We've made these people seem like they're idiots. No, they're hardworking fucking geniuses.
They're absolute. That's the perfect route. They're geniuses because they've made more with less than anyone else has ever done. And they've made it and built it into a little empire, and their world blows yours away. Like, if you really look at it tit for tat, they win.
I've never been more proud of what I consider my people than I am now, man. Fucking beer drinking, love their country, flag waving, gun toting, love their old lady people than I am now.
So this is a great question. This comes from a listener. So where is it? Okay, this is a great question. All right, so Gary, becoming a pastor again after losing your desire to pastor, do you still feel the same now when you lead someone to Christ as you did in the beginning? That's a great question.
Yes.
I actually want to know that. When you lead a sinner to Christ, do you still feel as good about it as you did in the beginning?
So I actually think I feel better about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I, for the first time ever in my life, am leading them to a true relationship with Christ. Instead of the 1, 2, 3, pray with me and let me get you to say this prayer because I'm a good enough salesman.
Oh yeah,
because
speak into the mic so everybody can hear you.
Yeah, because my last church was Southern Baptist, even though it didn't have it in the name, and I wanted to beat everybody else and have the most baptism because it was a competition every year.
Yeah.
And so, you know, no, I feel like now it's authenticity where relationships are built, and I'm teaching them how to have a true relationship with Christ, and that Christ doesn't care about their religiosity and their rules and all these man-made bullshit that people have created. It's about just loving God and loving them. So I actually feel better about it than I've ever felt in my life.
Let me tell you, that's the best question that's been sent to me.
Yeah.
Out of all the questions,
Yeah.
that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a fair question.
Once you lose it, you appreciate it more.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have to admit, I have to put myself in your place, right? Because you left, you were a pastor, you got the doctorate in theology, leave it. You have a disdain for it. You got a bad taste, whether it's your fault or not. You know, you make mistakes, but also people turn their bell, whatever. But so you come back and a group kind of convinces you to get back into pastoring, but you have conditions. Like you're like, okay, if I can find a way to turn this into also helping people, I'm not going to take a salary, but I want the building.
Yeah. So here was my deal. So my deal was my other church was really him-hawing around finding a new pastor. It was going on for a while. So my rule was I'll never start anything until they find a new pastor. Because if I start one and they don't have a pastor, half the group's going to come on me and I don't want them.
That's a great answer.
So I said, they got to have a new pastor. I said, it's not going to be about the money.
Yeah.
And a group has to ask me. I'm not just going to do it.
Sure.
We're going to move to the poorest part of town and we're just going to love people.
So how many of these were you dug in on though? All of them?
Like,
were
they were non-negotiables.
None of them were
non-negotiables.
That's good.
So 13 people moved with me. We moved to the poorest part of town. I'd never been in a church in my life in ministry that had a building.
Yeah.
I'd met in other churches, movie theaters. So we rented this little storefront and I thought, man, all you do is move in. Well, I had no idea that's not how it works. There's building codes and bathroom restrictions. So we met in the parking lot for 6 months.
That's awesome.
So of those 13 people, all of them left but 2.
Okay.
So I was stuck with 2 people. It grew to 30, then it grew to 50, then it grew to 100. And we were meeting in the parking lot. And it never rained one Sunday. The first Sunday it rained was our first Sunday in the new building when we finally got the building done. And we just serve people, man. We run there's AA meetings that meet the building all the time. The homeless, we're the warming shelter for the county. So when temperatures drop below 32 degrees, we're the shelter. We do a big thing every year called Give Canton the Bird. It's a big, huge Thanksgiving outreach. Last year we fed almost 2,500 families Thanksgiving dinner. And but even that name pisses people off, and I don't care. I think it's funny.
No,
and so
here's my conundrum, right? Because I hear all this, and I know it's legit. I've heard it from a man that's probably killed somebody, or been irresponsible,
at least buried a body.
Yeah, buried a body. Rick Cope, champion, legend, son, Silvertown legend. You know, if you don't like Rick Cope, you don't like Uncle Randy. So just fucking tune out. But so I hear all this. And I hear about the church, but listen, when I put this out that me and you were going to do a show together, it was 50-50 down the fucking middle for both you and me, of people that were like, you're both assholes. You both made bullshit decisions.
Yeah.
You both fuck people over.
Yeah.
We think you're shit, or we love you.
Oh, yeah.
We love your message. And it is split down the middle. And people don't seem to believe me when I tell them you're all right.
Yeah.
They don't believe me, and it's just what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
I tell people all the time, you will have no middle ground with me. You will either love me or you will hate me. And I don't mean this arrogantly. Most of the time, once they actually meet me, they love me.
Sure.
They see the persona.
Same with
they
me.
see the gimmick.
Sure.
They see the people. I can't tell you how many times we brought wrestlers in, and I can tell the first time they're apprehensive. What's this motherfucker? By the end of the night, they love me.
Of course.
Because I respect them and I'm there for them. And
you know what they're trying to establish.
Yeah.
Like you've been past that, right? So you
and the reality is you can hate me, and if you need me, I'm going to be there. Like it's weird. I'm not your typical pastor, but then again, I don't know what it is. This pastor heart kicks in.
Yeah.
And something's going to happen and I'm going to be there for you. And like I said, I mean, I've literally driven to downtown Atlanta and drug people out of drug houses.
Yeah.
Now, I cussed them out the whole time, even whooped their ass in a parking lot a couple of times. But guess what? No one else is going to whoop their ass.
So how do you feel about that, right? Like when you hear you're a pastor, because I listened to you on other shows and you're like, I don't really know how I feel about all those titles. Like you're a conundrum because you're really kind of like, I don't know, man. I just go on Sundays and I give them the truth.
Yeah.
And I hope they listen. And I'm doing that. And
I don't,
because you just do one sermon a Sunday, right?
One sermon a Sunday. I don't care if there's 4,000 people showing up. I'll never add more. I used to do the multiple service thing and kill myself on the weekend.
Money tits.
I'm not doing it.
Awesome.
So
I'll support that 100%.
Those that show up, show up. If 10 show up, they show up. If 400 are there, 400 are there.
By the way, Shane says you're his biggest fan.
Yeah.
Shane Boyce.
Oh, yeah. Shane. Yeah. I went to high school with Shane.
Yeah, you're his biggest fan.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Good guy. Loves just to, he's that little bitch that likes just to be contrary to everything I post just to get attention. And so every once in a while I throw him some attention.
All right. So here's Oren Michael Stinson saying, no bullshit. We're watching two of the best accountability coaches in action.
Oh, good.
I respect it. I love that.
Because there's no bullshit with
That's
us.
all I want people to know. I want people to know you can fuck your life 3 ways to Sunday and you're still going to come out the other side.
I want people to know you can fuck your life 3 ways to Sunday. I can tell you that you're going to fuck your life 3 ways. But I'm still going to be there for you. Yeah, if you come to me tomorrow and tell me you're leaving your wife because you're fucking Blondie at Claremont Lounge, I'm going to look at you and say, man, I'm here with you the whole way, but you're fucking up
and you're in for a ride.
But I ain't leaving you.
Yes, I agree.
You know,
I agree.
I read this thing that changed my life. So we talk about accountability, and we word it this way. I'm accountable to Uncle Randy.
Absolutely.
Fuck that. Mm-hmm. There's this thing called fireman accountability. Fireman accountability means I'm accountable for Uncle Randy.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
So we're going into the fire together.
You're
Uncle
responsible
Randy,
to bring me out.
You fuck up. No matter how bad you fuck up, almost get us killed. Yep. I'm responsible to get you out of that building. Now, when we get out of that building, I'm going to tell you that you fucked up and I'm pissed. But you're going to get out of the building.
Yeah, Fire Marshal Bill can attest to this. He's actually spoken to me about this. When you're
accountable to someone, they leave you. I struggle sometimes because of who I was and because of what I pastored. I was friends with some of the biggest pastors in the country. I see everybody share their stuff all the time.
So how is that? And that's another question I forgot to ask.
Yeah.
But so you're rubbing elbows, right? Because you're part of the fastest growing church in Georgia, maybe the country, right?
Yeah.
And we're not going to even mention the name, but you're part of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you're rubbing elbows with some of the motherfuckers that are running the mega churches. Because you're in that realm.
I was in coaching networks with them. Some of them were my best friends. There's a guy that everyone shares his post. He's probably the most famous pastor in America right now. He's the trendy, cool guy. He was on my board of overseers. And I'll never forget, I lost everything. He's on my board of overseers. I never hear one word from him. After about 3 weeks, his assistant messages me, sends me an email. Pastor, I won't say his name.
Sure.
Wants you to know he's praying for you.
Oh, man.
Matter of fact, today, someone that I love that's been on this podcast posted something, shared a post from him. Just because you mess up, God's not done with you. And it was all I could do not to post. God's not done with you, but he sure the hell is. But I didn't.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. No, absolutely.
You know, but I've seen the ugly side of religion. Religion is, Christians are the only army that shoot their own.
Yeah, and you
fuck up, I'm done with you.
I've heard you talk about this multiple times, and I want to get clarity on it because I want you to always be able to speak your story.
Yeah.
So I've heard you say multiple times, like you speak against religion.
Yeah.
In some capacity.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by that? Because I know what you mean, but I want the listeners
I think
that are
just
all over
this
the country
religion of these man-made rules, these religions of what you have to do and not do. These religions of we've turned the church into a North American business. The church looks more like a Fortune 500 business than it is the church in the book of Acts.
It's definitely business.
And so to me, it's all about relationship. It's about Jesus Christ. It's about loving people, being there for them. This is the first time we've ever met face to face. I don't give a shit if we didn't talk for 5 years. If in 5 years you called me and you told me, dude, you had become an alcoholic and we're losing everything. Guess what I'm going to do? At 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to get in the car and drive wherever you're at.
And I'm going to
be there for, but I'm going to be there for you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see you through to the end in that area. And to me, that's life change.
But so how much of that though comes from, I know you've got your doctorate.
Yeah.
You know the church, like the theology, but how much of that comes from that, and how much of that comes from what you learned from what happened from your experience?
None of it comes from that. All of it comes from what I went through.
Okay, so that's great. That's why. Yes.
Yeah. If you would have taken a spiritual gift test of me before all that, Mercy would have rated dead last. If you would take a spiritual gift test after that, Mercy would probably be in my top 3.
That's incredible. That's
And,
the message I wanted.
Because once you've been left on the curb, you're not going to leave anybody else on the curb.
See, that was my whole goal of this show, and not even knowing it was to hear that. And I wasn't even expecting that. That's the greatest answer.
Yeah.
So, and I get that. So yeah, mercy.
Yeah.
Nobody has that anymore, right?
No,
they don't have it because we're so quick to be like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
He did something that, guess what? I probably thought about or did, or no one caught me.
I'll never forget
fuck them.
I'll never forget about 3 years after I lost everything. A guy stopped me in Ingles. The first time I seen him, I said, "Man, how you doing?" And I said, "Man, you want to talk it out?" "You fucking lied to me." I looked at him. I said, "Yeah, you're right. I did." And I said, "And how arrogant of you to think I wouldn't lie to you when I was lying to my wife and lying to myself."
Sure, absolutely.
Of course I did, man.
Of course
yes. I did. And people act so shocked by it. You know what I mean? Just like the guy on "You Can't Get Past It." Well, dude, that's your shit. You're so miserable.
And that was my answer. I wanted to let you answer that respectfully because that was a fair, targeted question to you. But my answer would have been to that guy, you know what? Hey, dude, however you feel is fine. That's your shit.
I'm not mad at you.
You need to deal with that, not me.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
So,
and that's the real thing. But
we just don't pick people up anymore, man. We don't have mercy. People.
You're absolutely right.
And we just expect perfection out of people when we're not perfect. Man, we screw up and everyone sins differently than us. And it's funny. We'll get up and talk about everybody else's sin, but not talk about the sin that we have. You know what I mean?
So that leads me to a question from me that I wasn't going to ask, but now that you've opened the door, hell, I got to ask. This is your fault.
Yeah.
This is your fault, Gary. You did this. So where in your studies of theology are there sins that are more heavy on Christ than others? Or are they all Christ cries tears from all of our sins?
Yeah. So here's the deal.
Or does he cry more from certain ones?
So I don't think there's different levels of sin. That being said, I think there's different consequences for sin. So, for example, I had an affair. Mm-hmm. So the consequence of that sin was I didn't get to grow up in the house every day with my two kids.
And you lost everything.
And I lost everything. So there was consequences for that.
And there always is.
So I think sin is sin, and sin grieves God. For him to know it, do good and do it not, it is sin. But I think there's different consequences for different sin. And I think sometimes we don't even see the consequence. I'll never forget a buddy of mine that came home one day. His wife was banging a dude. The dude jumped out the window, broke his leg, pressed charges against my buddy for assault.
Yep.
So he went to jail. And his whole deal was, my buddy was like, I didn't even do anything wrong. She's not even suffering. Well, he didn't know that I was counseling with her.
Sure.
She was suffering huge. I couldn't share that with him.
Yeah,
so just because he couldn't see the consequences didn't mean the consequences weren't happening. Just because he didn't get to dictate the consequences.
That's the key.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely the key.
And so there's people in this town that feel like Gary didn't suffer enough. You don't have any idea what I suffered.
No, you don't know.
You know
and I'm right there with you. They have no idea.
You didn't get to dance that dance with me.
You didn't have no money. Yeah. You didn't know how you were going to get to see your kids.
Even 12 years later, my son, he still goes home every other weekend. He's 16 years old. You don't have the idea of that. You know what I mean?
Don't. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't get to see every moment and make it. So the consequences are long term. There's consequences for our sin. I'm not one of those things that think there's no sin and there's no consequences. I just think, man, the sin's not the end of us.
Hey, listen, this is a great quote. This is from Mrs. Fire Marshal Bill. This is Fire Marshal Bill's lovely wife. And
he outkicked his coverage.
This is one of my favorite. Oh, he totally obliterated his coverage. Miss Fire Marshal Bill says, my favorite thing I've read recently, God isn't going to ask you about my sin. He's going to ask you about yours.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So how do you feel about that as a pastor?
100%. So my favorite story ever, and to my church, anybody.
I'm going to grab a beer while I'm listening.
Anybody that's listening from my church right now is going to laugh because I talk about this story all the time. So when Bill Clinton screwed up, Bill Clinton has the affair. He's sticking cigars up vaginas in the Oval Office.
Yep.
And people don't realize this, man. Billy Graham came alongside him and walked through him.
He sure did.
Billy,
you're fucking right.
And the church attacked Billy Graham.
They sure did.
A man who never had an immorality issue, never was above reproach, lived in a godly manner, and the church attacked. And Billy Graham said this. They said, how can you be there for them? He said, it's God's job to judge.
Yep.
The Holy Spirit's job to convict. It's my job to love.
He's absolutely right. Dude.
He goes, that's not my job to judge and convict. He goes,
none of our jobs.
It's just my job to love.
It's none of our jobs, though. And we're all decided it is our job.
But think about that. The president screws up and the church turns their back on him. Well, what the fuck is wrong? You think Jesus would have turned his back? Or
No,
Jesus
I
would
know he
have come
wouldn't have.
along and would have walked alongside of him.
100%. He'd have been strolling right beside, been like,
Right.
these are my motherfuckers,
Right.
sons. These are the motherfuckers that my
Right.
shit is for.
Yeah.
Not this dude that's just living this special, because there's none of those. He would have been like, these are my motherfuckers.
And here's the deal. All these people that seem like they have it together
Oh,
are
they're the
full of
worst.
shit.
No,
they got
they're
the
hurting.
most in. Those
Yeah,
4
they do.
elders that signed that letter to that lady,
Fuck me, man.
I'd love to be able to get
From
to their
Woodstock
past.
Church of Christ. I can't believe that church. I missed that because I was taking
Yeah.
the world's longest piss when you
Yeah,
and Brooke were talking.
Right. The
So I didn't get
audacity.
to chime into that. That blows me away.
Right.
I can't believe that's real. And when I saw you post it, and I immediately had to steal it, by the way, was I can't believe where we live.
Right.
I can't believe that shit's real.
Right.
I can't believe this is 2021.
Isn't it funny? It hits home. That's right down the road.
Oh God.
And you know,
that's where people have their graduation, sons.
And I said this earlier, and I said, my issue is not even that they felt that way. If they feel it's a sin, they feel it's a sin. It was the audacious
telling them we can't fuck with you.
Audacious arrogance in the way you wrote it. You pompous motherfuckers, like you were better than everyone.
Tell me, and you would know better than me, so I'm asking
you.
Was there ever a time that Jesus said, I can't fuck with that motherfucker?
No.
I don't know. I mean, from what I know, he'd be like, that's who I need to preach to.
There was times when he said they weren't listening to the message. You got to knock the dust off their sin. They're not going to listen. And I always equate that to, had a mom call me the other day. She said, can you go talk to my son? I said, nope. Why not? I said, when he calls me, I can. I can't go talk to him because you want me to, because he's not ready for it. You want it. He's your son. I said, when he calls me and he's ready for help, I'll call.
And you'll go do it.
I said, I'll drop everything. But I said, I can't go. I said, I'm not looking at my family and taking time away from my family for something he's not ready to receive.
That's tough to hear, but that's the right message. Like, that's the right thing. But I just can't picture, like, and everyone, has their own picture of Jesus and whatever they've been saved. But my guy, dude, he looks for the sinners, sons. He rolls to that group. That's the group he wants in his fucking pews and in his church.
Of course it
he doesn't want the guys that already know this shit or they claim they know it. He wants the motherfuckers that are doing the shit so he can bring them to his home for eternity.
Right.
That can live with him in it. And I don't want to get too theological, and we'll move off this, but that's my thing.
I always say
my Jesus wants to fuck with the motherfuckers. My church knows this
too. I said my prayer always to God is, he said, in my father's house so many mansions for not so. I said, I get that I'm probably not gonna have a mansion. I said, but I always pray to God. I said, man, make sure my double wide is right next to the pastor who took over my church. I said, because every day when I go to the mailbox to get my heavenly mail, I would be like, hey, I made it.
Absolutely.
You didn't think I'd be here. You told every motherfucker in town I wasn't gonna make it. I want to be in a wife beater and boxers when I tell them, but I'm here.
And let me tell you, you can't make it any worse than I've had before, son. You can take it all the way from Uncle Randy tomorrow. Guess what? I know my wife's cool with that shit, son.
You can,
and we can make it work tomorrow.
I'll make it all back.
This is a great question for Gary. This came from the listeners. Question for Gary: How shocked would Christians be if Jesus came today instead of 20,000 years ago? How many churches would be in shock?
99.9% of them.
If not more. Yeah, I agree.
99.9.
What do you think he would say? If you're just
I think he'd overthrow the tables just like he did back then. He'd pull out the whip. I just think the church nowadays looks, including action.
Sure.
It looks nothing like the church in Acts did.
Yeah.
And so I think we just need to get, and it is,
it's serving people, right? Like that should be the only core, right?
I keep going back to it. I think I've said through this whole pocket. It's love God, love people. And that doesn't mean just people that look like you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I tell our church all the time, I said, man, some of you act like, some of my best friends, you act like jackasses on social media because someone voted different than you.
Yep.
It's all right.
Sure.
Guess what? Hey, the great thing about America? You get to vote.
And that happens.
For whoever you want to vote for.
I agree. Now, this person just chimed in. This is Angel Rodriguez, said, I just checked back in, was having the same conversation with my mom. Wow. Laughing my ass off. And her
mom came to church for the first time Sunday. I probably scared her mom to death.
I want to go back to, God, man, we've had so many. I've missed so many. I want to apologize to the chat. I've missed 1,000 of these.
We ain't apologizing. Y'all got a good show.
Yeah,
for 3 hours. We're going on 3 hours now.
Yeah, we're at 2. Dude, we're at fucking 3 hours.
What's the longest show ever?
This is by far.
That's right.
Without a doubt.
That's what happens when you put champions on together.
And guess what? still holding the crowd.
That's right.
It blows my tits off. All right, so let's get to these questions. So at least we're done. All right, so did the Why Not So what was your answer to the Why Not a Country Festival? Are you cool with the country festival?
I'm working on one.
Okay, good.
I'm working on one. I just told you I don't do mainstream country. So it's got to be more redneck, Confederate flag waving.
That's cool.
Southern rock, country rap, outlaw country.
Yep.
You know, I can't do the diamond plate tailgate and Daisy Duke wearing, Luke Bryant, shake your ass and titties, Florida Georgia line bullshit that sounds like pop country.
No. All right, so this is a great question. I actually kind of touched on this with you before the show. Gary, will downtown Canton ever be as awesome as downtown Woodstock? Why or why not? How can we make this happen sooner rather than later? What a great fucking question.
Yeah,
listen,
so
I agree. Downtown Woodstock, to me, is the model. You speak your piece.
Yeah, so reality is probably not. It's a county seat. And so county seats are always built around the courthouse. So at the end of the day, the large majority of your businesses down there are going to be lawyers, accountants, anything that has to do with the courthouse. So you're always going to fight that battle in a downtown area. I think awesome is a subjective word. Do I think it will ever be the equivalent of what Woodstock is now? No, but I also don't think it needs to be that. It needs to have its own identity. We already have Woodstock.
Yeah.
What I would like to see is a clear-cut vision for Canton. I would like to see I tell people this all the time. Canton has better restaurants than Woodstock. The problem is there's nothing to do after you eat at those restaurants.
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 1,000%. Yeah. Actually, the restaurant's definitely better out after
that. It's a ghost town.
Doucher.
There's literally nothing there. I think another thing that we miss out on in Woodstock that Canton doesn't have at this time, in order for a downtown to thrive, you have to have high density housing. So here's the reality. If you and I never go to Woodstock, there's 25,000 people within 3 blocks that could walk there.
Sure.
And all those townhomes, those condos, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they survive. They keep Woodstock rocking on Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Which, if y'all don't know, Tuesday nights down there is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Take your kids.
Yeah.
Go have a couple of beers.
Yeah.
And hang out. It's a great atmosphere Tuesday nights. Like I can't speak to all the other nights, but Silvertown has kind of adopted the Tuesday nights.
Yeah, the mill.
Because of
the market.
Yeah, because of Dustin Davey, Fire Marshal Bill. He brought that on. That's a real thing. That's a great night.
It is.
And you can actually have a really good time with your kids. But Fire Marshal Bill has a great question for you. He says, Gary, give me your top 3 leadership principles.
So
that's right on the spot, son.
This
is no bullshit. This just came hot off the presses, sons.
Number 1, be you.
Yep.
Don't try to be anything else.
Yeah.
Be who you are. The world doesn't need another Uncle Randy.
I'm writing this down, son.
It doesn't need another Gary Lamb. Be you. Find your voice. Yep. And just be who you are. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think the number 2 leadership principle that I've embraced that has got me through everything is what we've talked about this whole time. Ignore the critics.
Yeah.
You can't be a leader if you're obsessed with the critics.
What do you think about being honest to the people that work under you, who you probably consider working with you, but you got to be able to give that straight up, like, you fucked up, you didn't, you did great, but you got to be able to pull some people to the carpet, right, and not worry about the.
And that would be my third one. I would be speak truth.
Yes.
And so I subscribe to this law of the 10%. I think we tell people 90% of what they need to hear.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you could work on this, but we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Sure.
It's that last 10%.
That's the thing. That's the exact thing.
The part that hurts their feelings is where they learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll give you an example. When I got done with the Mockingbird podcast,
like Hold My Beer.
Right.
Dude, that's where he's learned.
Right.
And he gets the biggest pop in the fucking company because he's okay with taking your ass chewings. And other people, it hurts them.
Right.
They tell mommy, they tell their
back.
buddies, Gary's an asshole. He hates me because of this.
I don't hate you. I want to see the best in you. I see better in you than you do.
Absolutely. And Dustin has a great point here. He's saying, and I don't want to sell this wrong because I love downtown Canton, and I see Canton as a fucking unused unused script. It could be anything. But he says Canton's come a long way, and it's an amazing place. It's come a ton.
Yeah,
it has come a long way quickly. Very quickly.
Yeah, not quickly enough for me, but yes. I've been here 15 years.
So how do you feel about when you compare, like, because Canton, are you allowed technically in Canton to walk around with your open beers?
In the entertainment district of downtown Canton, what they classify as the entertainment district, which
But
would
as
be
soon as you cross those lines, that's the confusing part.
Yes. So basically, Main Street, you can walk up and down Main Street, and that loop from Panera down to Downtown Kitchen, Salty Mule, and up, you can walk around with that thing. You couldn't take that same beer and walk down to the mill with it.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Right.
Why is that?
Yeah, I think it will expand. I think, I was a big fighter in that, getting that law passed.
Yeah.
And so, I just think Canton's got to create. My issue with Canton is no one can tell me what the vision is.
Dustin says you add rooftops to downtown Canton, you'll have a nightlife.
Yeah. And that sounds great. And my question to Dustin is, where are you going to add the rooftops?
Yeah.
So it sounds great to do that. The reality is the buildings down there are not for it.
God, it's such a cool area.
It's a great.
Is a blank canvas, bro. I look at it and I'm like,
all right, hold on,
shitting my pants.
Stop.
So as a promoter, tell me your thing.
The issue with Canton is, I love our leadership.
I say leadership.
Yeah, it is. Well, we have an older leadership. We have a leadership that, to me, doesn't necessarily mimic what Canton is. And I think that goes back to voter turnout. You have an older population, a more certain leaning way that goes out and vote.
But is that changing?
Well,
it's slowly getting younger, right? Because these younger families are moving to Canton.
But those people aren't voting. That's the fucking issue. They're not voting.
But they're there.
And
they could vote if they were willing to get out and do their shit. If you could
get them out motivated to vote. To me, everybody wants to always ask me, Gary, how do you draw so many for your events and Canton doesn't? Because I know what Canton is. Canton is a bunch of, I like to classify them as high-tech rednecks. It's very successful people making 6 figures a year, but they're making those 6 figures a year in blue-collar industries.
Yeah.
Where when you throw a rock and roll band up, I throw an 80s band up there, I'm going to bring in 3,000 people. But we're not some bougie Alpharetta, Roswell town. And I think the vision has been to, let's try to draw that kind of crowd, and that doesn't dictate what Canton is.
Yeah.
Even in the downtown area, we were just talking about the restaurants. We have some phenomenal restaurants, but we don't have any family-friendly restaurants. There's not a restaurant down there that I'm taking my kid to because everything's $25 a plate. I love Downtown Kitchen. Expensive. I love going coastal. I love all the things, but I'm not taking. There's no family. I need a pizza by the slice place. Right. I need some stuff like that.
Dustin has a great question or a comment. He says, when I say rooftops, I mean houses. So I don't know what that means.
Well, they need to make it. So Ball Ground has done a great thing where Ball Ground has positioned itself for growth, where if you're in the historic district, whatever they have classified as historic, even if you own a home there, your land is already zoned commercial. So you can turn your home into a business.
Oh, nice.
And so some of those homes need to be turned into restaurants or backyards for music, different things. We need a music venue downtown. We need some kind of we need something in downtown Canton that's actually going to stay open past 9 o'clock.
Yeah, Dustin says we need high density housing in and around downtown.
Yeah, I said that earlier. You need high rise and that's what people don't realize. Woodstock didn't grow to there was high density housing, and and I think the mill is going to be that. I think there's a long-term potential at the mill, but I think that's a 10-year vision. People think that mill is going to be done. I mean, and it is going to be done. So,
I'm one of those that thinks that can be done tomorrow. Because it looks like to me the bones are there.
But you're simply looking at the mill building. You're not looking at the other 40 acres there that are still going to have high-rise condos on them, river walks, or other land they're trying to buy. Stuff I can't speak.
So what about this? What about this beach that they're talking about?
I don't know. So I'll believe that when it's built. When they break ground, I'll believe it. They've tried to pass that in 3 other towns. They've got approval in 3 other towns and never went to actually to construction. So when they actually do something, I'll believe it.
It's wets and whistles here in Silvertown. There's a lot of people that loved it.
Well, it's a mile from here, so it should.
Brooke loves it.
Yeah,
and so do a lot of the wives.
Yeah.
But so here's a question from Douglas Hill. Gary, how many of your favorite memories include Doug Hill in them?
Yeah, so most of them include Doug Hill. Right. So let me tell you my Doug Hill story. You ready?
Yes.
I'm ready. I lost everything.
I can't wait for this.
Lost everything. Had no idea who Doug Hill was. Doug Hill had been down a similar journey.
Sure.
5 or 6 years earlier. Sent me this long email. Said, you don't know me. I don't know you.
So he wasn't someone from your congregation?
No, he was a worship pastor at a church that lost everything, same way I did. He said, you need to know if you need anything, if you need money, if you need help getting on your feet, anything. He lived in Ohio at the time.
Yeah.
He said, I'm here for you. To this day, he's one of my best friends. He now lives in Woodstock. Matter of fact, today sent me, he's working on the Black Sheep Project website.
That's friendship. This guy already.
Whoever he would be phenomenal. He owns Southeast Traders, all about guns. Trade. You need to get him on the podcast one day.
What are you doing? Come here. Let's be together.
Doug, you need to get.
I love this guy. Listen,
Uncle Randy,
you're not going to hear
Doug
anything
on the podcast.
That's a great champion.
Dude, he's a champion.
I don't care anything else you've ever said. I don't care how many things you fucked up, Doug, back in the day.
Yeah.
What a winner.
Now,
because
I need
that's
to
rare.
warn you, though, that I've had Doug over to my house and woke up the next morning with him butt-ass naked, face down in the front yard.
Dude, that happens with all kind of
with
people
a gun laying beside his head because he took his clothes off, but he didn't want to lose his gun.
That happens in Silvertown.
So listen, Doug needs to be on this podcast.
Yes, he does. I love it already.
Yeah, you need to go check out Southeast Traders. It's a forum for all things outside. He is my right-wing gun. And when all hell breaks loose, you want Doug's guns around.
All right.
You want Doug's guns around.
He sounds like a model American to me.
Yes.
All right. So, So this is a great question. This came from a listener. So,
and a bourbon drinking machine.
It's saying, so you came from being known for barbecues and brews.
Yeah.
How do you expect to expand, and will you always include barbecue and brews?
Yeah. So Barbecue and Brews was my first festival ever. I think we have expanded past that. I mean,
sure.
Of 89 events this year that we have, 3 of them are Barbecue and Brews.
Yeah.
But we'll always be known for barbecue.
But will they always be with you? I think what they're trying to ask is, will you always be loyal to them?
Yeah, because
you should be.
They brought me to the dance, and they're still my biggest events. Those 3 events will be the biggest events we do all year. 10 to 12,000 people. May 22nd at the Mill might be an Uncle Randy site in there.
Hey, I'm coming there, and I'm getting on the fucking horn no matter what it is. So I got to ask you this question. This is for me. So the Easter event that you did down at Veterans Park.
Yeah, the Easter egg hunt.
We were there.
Yes.
I saw you seeing me, but we didn't know each other yet when I was standing in line at the food truck for that glorious barbecue guy.
Smoking Tony's.
The best barbecue burrito I've ever had in my life. I can't even remember the name.
Smoking Tony's.
Me and Brooke have talked about this guy, and he was the nicest. He told me, because I waited 45 minutes.
Yes.
And he was like, I'm so sorry you had to wait. It'll be worth it. And I was like, I'm writing that down because I'm a winner. Right. I know.
Yes.
I'm going to judge you because you just told me that you're going to win.
Yes.
So I'm going to tell you whether you win or not. He wins.
Yes.
It's the best barbecue burrito. For one, I've never had a barbecue burrito.
Yeah.
2, it was that good. It was as advertised and was worth the 45 minutes. But so how often will he be at Gary Lamb events, and why is he so good? Best shit I've ever had.
Smoking Tony. So he kind of got fucked at that event. So that was my first event. So we landed all the Cherokee Parks and Recs events.
Yeah.
So we provide all the vendors, all the food trucks for everything for their events. That was their event. So they had no idea how many people were there. Based on their numbers from the previous year, they only needed
There was a lot of people there. Well, we were in line.
That's because the Black Sheep promoted it.
I got you.
Right. So we tripled their attendance, but we weren't prepared to triple their attendance. So we only had 1 food truck, and we should have had 4. But Tony will be there May 22nd. And
dude, I'm just going to tell you,
Barbecue and Brews, Smoking Tony's.
That dude,
listen,
his shit is.
You should have his ribs.
I don't know if I can leave the burrito.
Listen,
it was that.
I'm going to tell you something
good.
else. The burrito's good, but not only is the burrito good, the Smoking Tony nachos.
Oh, I saw a lot of those.
Are the Fat Boy, pound of meat, fried egg, bacon, boom. Look, it makes my mic.
Dude, who cares?
On a sandwich.
But so you have had the burrito though, right?
I've had all his food.
The burrito.
I remember when that motherfucker was serving out of a tent and just getting started.
So how did you get to know? Because he
goes to my church.
Okay, great. This is a great segue because I had no idea about this. You could
Yes.
Uncle Randy couldn't have known this. So I had his food, and it's hard to win me. But once you win me, I'm loyal to you till you fuck me.
Yeah.
If you fuck me, you'll lose my business. If you don't, it'll be with you forever. And he was so good. And I took Brooke. Brooke doesn't eat beef or pork. She eats chicken and fish. That's it. I know, dude. It's fucking, and there's no changing her. Well, she'll kill us both.
Remember we said no one was perfect?
Yeah, she'll kill us both. Absolutely. She'll kill us both right now. Throats. You heard about the stripper at the Claremont? We're dead. And then your wife's going to come. We're both. They'll never find us. But I took these burritos back to her and I told them, put them how you doing. I'm judging you now because I waited 45 minutes.
Right, I'm pissed.
This is real. No, I wasn't pissed. I was more like, this has to be worth it.
Right.
We ate those burritos on the bench watching Gunner play at the different Easter things, and they were so good. And Brooke will be home soon. She'll even tell you that if it wouldn't have been that good, she would have tore you a new ass saying, why didn't you have more vendors?
Yeah.
But because they were so good, she'll tell you they better be at every event. That's just her opinion.
Yeah.
They're that good.
So he's a staple at BBQ and Brews.
I
Smoking
love
Tony. Fuck.
I'll have nothing else. That dude's fucking incredible.
And now he just added, I saw a brisket grilled cheese to the menu.
Dude.
Come on.
I'll try that. I will try that. Now, he was pushing the brisket, and when he pushed it to me, I was like, dude, I've already been watching this burrito on the menu for an hour. I want the burritos.
Why didn't you go brisket burrito?
I saw it, and this Mexican lady in front of me ordered it, so I saw it. It looked
pork.
good. I went pork.
His pork
and
is good.
And Brooke went turkey.
Yeah,
they don't have
his
chicken.
turkey is good.
They
His
have turkey.
And he's one of the only vendors that has turkey.
Yeah, she doesn't eat beef or pork, so I was like, well, turkey is good. That falls in the category. Dude, she went like this. Gone.
Yep.
And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever ate. So Smoking Tony's, if you're listening, or if you ever do listen, Uncle Randy's a fan. May 22nd.
Boom. Uncle Randy approves. Smoking Tony's.
Done. Smoking Tony's is all the championship. All right. So Dustin Davis says, all Uncle Randy meet and greets must be coordinated through me. Shoot me an email, chiefdavy@gmail.com. Yes. Robert says, have the rib and burrito and quit being a bitch, Uncle Randy. All right. That's fair. Oh, he says his hot dogs are amazing too. This is Linda Simmons. So I've never had his hot.
Oh, well,
I'll
Linda
try
would
everything
know.
he has. I'll try everything he has. By the way, nicest woman working with him, whoever that was.
That's his wife, Brenda.
And the crowd, despite as long as it was, they handled it. They're such good people.
I set them up for failure that night. And they just kept on to the last person.
I saw you walk by, and I was about to say, I'm Uncle Randy. I know you from Rick. And we hadn't met yet about this show. But I saw you walk by, and you looked at me. I don't know if you saw the beard, but we locked eyes for a second and never said anything. And I was going to be like, dude, this better be worth it. I just want to hear your response. So you think you fucked him, but you have that much faith in him. You know,
I did. I just didn't have I should have had another food truck there.
All right. Here's another. We're getting toward the end now. So why are there so many pussies in the world today, Gary? And how do you feel about toxic masculinity? We kind of flirted with.
Well, I think we just have a fucking participation trophy award society, and we have a bunch of fucking pussy parents that sheltered their kids their whole life, and pussy kids grow up into pussy adults, and this toxic masculinity shit pisses me off. Is there shithole men? There's absolutely shithole men, but men, fucking being leaders, being alphas, providing for their families, being the head of their households, it ain't bad. It's fucking good.
I agree.
Yeah, it ain't fucking bad.
You want to talk about being possibly the worst thing you could be right now? Just be an average day male dad.
Yeah. So do you want me to really create some controversy?
Yeah. Absolutely.
The worst thing you can be is an average white,
straight male
dad.
Yeah, it's rough. You're kind of the scraping the bottom of the barrel,
right?
There. Yeah, I agree, and it really sucks, because it's really encouraging this this participation trophy thing. Listen, Uncle Randy coaches baseball.
We just have a bunch of kids that have never failed.
Yeah, but I don't think
that their fucking rights matter.
But it's not a bad thing to fail. It's
a great thing to fail.
If anybody listens to this show, right, and they get anything from it, I hope it's to see that you can fail to the bottom of the tits of hell, and you can still win.
Yeah. How about and I'll argue with you all day long, the fucking greatest of all time, Tom Brady. Fucking 9th round pick?
Dude,
out
horrible
of Michigan?
Body.
Yeah.
It looked like the worst athlete.
Right.
It looked like Bubba Martin.
Right.
You look at Bubba, you don't think world-class athlete? Compete against him. That dude's a champion.
Yeah.
You'll get fucked. Same with Tom Brady. Yeah, you can't go off just looks alone.
He didn't get drafted like you wanted to. I think it motivated him.
He barely played at Michigan.
Right.
He wasn't even a regular starter.
Right.
The greatest.
And now he's the GOAT. And it says, I don't know he's the GOAT. Let me tell you why he's the GOAT. Because of them rings on those fingers.
Oh, so many of them. And it kills me. What hurts me, and I do blame the dads, and I'm willing to get more controversy. I'm going to get more people hating Uncle Randy, which guess what? Love it. Bring it. Makes me more famous, sons. Hate me more. But dads are pussies, son.
Yeah.
The majority of dads out there are flaming pussies.
Yeah.
And I don't
Whose
care
wives
whether
are
you're
telling them
straight,
what to
gay,
do.
whatever.
No.
You're a flaming pussy.
We just don't have any men that are being leaders anymore. And leader doesn't mean being a dictator. It doesn't mean being an asshole.
They want to be friends with their kids and not be their fucking
dads. I tell my kids all the time, I'm not your friend.
I'm not your friend either.
Ain't my job to be your friend.
It's not at all.
So let's get back to theology. The Bible says, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother. I tell my kids, you know what my job is with you? To raise you to leave.
So tell me this. This is another, you just brought this on yourself with the theology question. Because I say this to my kids. You'll never come before my wife.
Oh, no.
My wife is way before you.
Of course.
So
absolutely.
It's my God,
kids
my
leave.
wife. You're third. Like you're down here, sons. This woman is my shit.
Kids
y'all
leave,
come after.
Kids leave, spouses stay.
People don't do it though.
No.
They don't do it. Those kids are up there before their
Let me tell you how
their kids being their best friend is more important than their
Here's
than
how
God.
You know you've been a successful parent. They leave. We got fucking 27-year-old kids living in mom's basement playing Nintendo.
They sure do.
No, they leave. You raise your kid to leave. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother. We raise our kids to leave. Get the fuck out.
Yes.
And go be productive members of society.
Isn't
Quit
that
being
the rule?
The 32-year-old jerking off in my basement still watching porno all the time.
Isn't that the fucking rule that you're supposed to leave the hand of your parents?
We got kids that don't even want to leave nowadays.
Why would they? Their parents are kissing their ass.
I was
and
talking
buying
to
their
a buddy,
groceries.
a kid the other day, and he said, so I said, man, what do you do about insurance? Well, I mean, I extend my parents' insurance till I'm 26. I said, what?
Oh, God.
So you're
I know
fucking
people like
26?
that. It's fucking incredible.
You ought to be kicked in your skull.
Oh, dude, I hear that all night. All right, here's some late night. Yeah, this is a thing from Spencer Nicks.
Oh,
Here's
you know who Spencer Nicks is?
No.
Owner of Reformation Brewery.
Suck my ass.
I'm not going to suck your ass. But
No, don't do it literally, but just metaphorically.
That's the kind of champions we have on here right now.
Incredible. Okay, so shout out to Spencer Nicks. Love your beer, sons. Love them. Big time champion. Brooke loves them way more than Uncle Randy, by the way. She is a Reformation. Fuck me, sons.
Impacting our community.
I like them. They're great. Brooke, all about it. Gary Lamb level, like Reformation.
All in with our community. They support everything the Black Sheep does.
They're big champions. So here's some late night theology. God has never not had his hands full with me. I've never once been deserving of his love and care, not for a single second of my life. I was a mess. I'm a mess now. That's the fundamental difference between Christianity and religion. Religion is all about earning and deserving and ladder climbing and getting gold stars for good behavior. It's all about me and what I need to secure God's love and blessings. In this sense, Christianity is the opposite.
Yeah. So let me
well spoken.
So Spencer used to be a pastor.
I did not know that.
Yes. So very
dude, what a winner in the community.
Yes. So one of the most knowledgeable real life Christians ever. I tell people all the time, Spencer is the Cherokee County pastor. Like, he don't got a pastor at church. He runs that brewery where life happens and community happens, and he's the real deal. And with all the controversy that I create, he buys into everything I do and has created an avenue for me to live out my passion. And he's the hero of this community.
So that was a great question, because that was a listener question. So I want to get in. They were asking about your affiliation with Reformation.
Yeah.
Like how you got so good in. That's a perfect
fit.
So
Spencer came along the very first time I ever wanted to start BBQ and Brews. I knew nothing about craft beer. And to be honest with you, me and Spencer we were opposite type churches. And so didn't always see eye to eye. And he came along and said, man, we'd love to partner with you. And man, they got me in the mill. Spencer
they never wavered from you with that? Because that's a dangerous political place to take.
They've never wavered from me politically. I think about 3 or 4 years in, we were going in one direction and they were going into one direction. And we kind of went our different directions. It was never bad.
That's okay.
And I think we realized, I can't speak for them. I think they realized
we're better
together.
Yes.
And
that happens.
And while we don't totally always,
but
I definitely agree with Gary all the time. He loves us and supports us. And man, when Gary, that event we did in Woodstock was Reformation support.
That's how winning gets done, though. Sons. Just so everyone knows, that's how winning gets done. When people are willing to see we're better together than we are apart, that's how you win. That's all Uncle Randy's about. People want to know, and I got this question too, and I just don't want to really get into it. They're like, why does Uncle Randy always talk about winning? What does that mean? Championships. It is about getting the job done, and you can work together for the greater good. Like fucking Gary's talking about, them working together are better than apart, and we're losing that in this country where people are more like, no, we're better apart than we are working together.
Well, I'll give you an example of my relationship to Reformation during COVID. I mean, COVID happens, no events are happening. They've got the brewery down there in Canton. It's a weeknight. Not a lot goes on the weeknight. They go to the mill, say, hey, Gary's got all these vendors. What if we just did a simple market every Tuesday? Guess what that does? It provides an avenue for vendors. It provides an avenue for me. It
people to
provides
get
an
out,
avenue to come to the brewery,
and get together.
That led to us doing a big 80s night. The Guardians
that
of
was
the
huge. The
Jukebox.
first one,
almost
the first
3,000 people down there.
First one blew the tip.
Yeah.
That's the one I was talking
Yeah,
about.
we're doing
Where
it
we went
again.
the first time. I met my cousin Bernie there.
Yeah.
You remember, or from Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah.
That dude was walking around
Yeah.
as a woman.
Yeah.
dressed as
Yeah.
Bernie.
Yeah.
I've got a picture with him.
Yeah.
Champion.
So we're doing
That
that
was the
again
best night
July
ever.
3rd at the
Dude,
mill.
That was so
And
good, bro.
but then like this last weekend, that was the brewery. I mean, they brought us into Woodstock, and they just understand the power of community. They understand that we have a good following. And I think at the end of the day, Spencer's greatest skill set is he lets people do what they're good at. He knows I'm good at drawing a crowd, and they're good at producing beer.
Yep.
And so they don't want to draw a crowd. And they don't want me to produce beer, so it works out good
Here's
together.
my question to Reformation Brew, and I've always had this. This is just an Uncle Randy question, and I've had this since all the way back my Woodstock days. I've always wondered why they didn't produce like a little bit of food, like a small amount. And I think they do now at the one in Woodstock.
Yeah, we have a restaurant in there.
Yeah, but have like just to offset, because they used to bring a food truck in, but now they do it. So I was just wondering why.
I think I can't speak for them in that. I think there's different laws when it comes to breweries, and I'm probably going to butcher these.
Sure.
You can be a production brewery, which is what they are, and I know that's probably not the right terminology. You can be a microbrewery that also has a restaurant.
Yeah.
They decided to be a production brewery.
Sure.
And so I think
so
also
Georgia laws suck. That's from Spencer.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't know the right term. I think Spencer's great at doing what he does.
Oh, he's definitely
and
good
their
at it.
thing is, man, we're not a restaurant.
No, they're not.
So,
so
we can bring in food trucks. We can let Queenie's come in to the thing down there.
I love some Queenies, by the way. So expensive though. I'm with you. Like, you got to spend some money downtown Canton.
You do, but have you been to the Queenies inside the brewery?
No.
So inside the Woodstock location is Queenie's Barbecue, and it's not that expensive. Off the fucking charts.
I did not know that.
It's off the charts.
I have not been to down in 2 years.
Yeah, it's off the charts.
Here. Here's all I know. If we can get an affordable restaurant in downtown Canton, they would kill.
Yeah, they're going to kill it
in some way. There she is, already back.
Yes.
We've been going for 4.8 hours, babe. Where have you been? What happened? All right, so we're on the last two questions. Where are we at? We're at 3.
Man, we've got legends on here. We got
look how many people we still have.
I know,
brewery CEOs on here.
By the way,
matter of fact, you said your wife's a Reformation fan. The CEO of Reformation's on here.
He is. Spencer, the Reformation.
Huge fan.
Yes.
Love all the beer.
Loves the beer. Drinks more beer than most men I know, sons. Write that down. I dare a man to challenge her beer for beer, not liquor. Beer for beer. She'll fuck you right under the table.
I'm impressed with my liquor assumption tonight.
I'm very proud of you. And guess what? You're taking that bottle.
No, we're going to leave that for
the
next year.
Yeah.
Once a year.
Shit. Once every 2 months.
Yeah.
We're going to get together every week, sons. We'll give you 4 hours a week. You want that? That's fine.
Married AF featuring Gary Lake.
This will be a new. We're not stepping to the Married AF.
So here's the last listener question.
All right.
Uncle Randy, Gary, I want to know how you both feel about Kemp and Georgia losing the All-Star game to Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, wow, they asked that question.
Yeah,
they're just trying to get us in trouble.
You want me to go first on this one?
Well, I don't care. You can
I'll go first. I think it's horseshit. I think it's total
me too.
hypocritical, because you take the All-Star game from a city that's 52% black and take it to one that's 10% black and take away from the small businesses. You're racist.
Yeah,
not the people you're pretending that are racist, which really aren't. And the laws are not Jim Crow. And you're bullshit, and this is all political, and you're making it political, but you're also fucking the minorities.
Yeah,
that's
there's nothing for me to add to that. I think as far as Kemp goes, I don't know, man.
Nothing to do with Kemp.
I mean, he was one of the first states to open back up. Props to him. One of the last states to shut down. Props to him. But man, he's done some stupid shit along the way, and I'm hoping he's one and done, but I'm hoping he's not one and done in regards to someone from the other side winning.
Dude, she is all over me right now. You want to sip?
I'm glad Stacy didn't win.
Oh God, no! She loves the beer. She's a baby too. She's only like, how old is she? 6 months.
6 months old.
She loves the beer, sons. Keep her away from the booze. Hey, this is still Uncle Randy's first glass of bourbon. That's Gary's 13th glass of bourbon,
and I feel good.
Hey, and so far we've had 10 people say Reformation Brewery is the shit. That's just 10 different people saying it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty clear.
I don't know.
Who would say it's not?
I don't know that I have ever seen a local business of any kind have such a community impact as Reformation. They're so invested in the community.
They're entrenched.
The fact that they're in Woodstock and Canton, the fact that they're part of, and maybe that's because of their involved in so many events. They've put their, and I love to see the community rally around them when shutdowns happen. They got them through that time, and it was amazing. And I think Spencer realized that. And I think he already knew it, but I think he got to see it in action. I think it was life-changing.
By the way,
him.
I gave Gary your smoke about the one food truck at the Easter thing, and he had a great answer for it. I just wanted to be able to answer to you because that was her question because she saw me waiting. And so he answered it all. He took full responsibility for that.
So the answer to that was we landed the contract for Parks and Rec. That was their event. We provide all the food trucks, all the food. We based that on what they had told us they had in the past. I underestimated the power of Gary Lamb promoting it being 3 times bigger than it had ever been.
Exactly how
that shit was packed to the tip.
To the tip. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And so we had one. So we did actually have 2 food trucks booked. One of them canceled on us. I know better than that. I know to have 4 food trucks at events.
Yeah.
I set those guys up for failure.
Hey, that one food truck was fire, though.
At least, that's what I said. At least if you waited 45 minutes, it was good food.
Yes.
And May 22nd, what day?
May 22nd. Wrote it down,
BBQ and Brews, the Mill on Etowah. They'll be back there.
They'll be back, and we'll be going to eat there.
Live music all day, Reformation Brewery in their front yard. We'll have about 8 barbecue vendors there because that's what we fucking do.
Smoking Tony's, though, I can't give enough. If it's just about the food, that's the best shit. Can you remember better food?
Okay, another one, which was amazing, was the grilled cheese one.
Oh, the grilled cheese. So he's at the market every Tuesday now.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Cheese
and confused.
The one that Blake worked at.
So you must have had that at the holiday market then.
It was around the holidays.
Yeah, Christmas, the holiday market at the mill. So now he is our food truck every Tuesday night at the market.
So good.
Listen. How the fuck do you make a grilled cheese that good?
I don't know.
You don't.
And our kid likes almost nothing, and he was like stealing it from us because we didn't even order him.
Every Tuesday night at the mill, I got cheesed and confused there, baby. I only bring the best in.
And let me tell you, this is what I like about you is they are very big up and comers. Like Cheese and Confused is pretty small operation. Like they started from a nothing, like out of the house. And if you don't think those motherfuckers deserve their own restaurant, you're full of shit, son. I'll invest in their food truck tonight. With the $228 I've got in savings, all of it'll go toward investing.
I think they'll be successful. So I bring them into the market, 30 to 40 minute waits. I chew the guy's ass so bad that he's almost in tears.
Oh.
But I also throw out that love on him. I say, man, I believe in you, and here's what you need to do. He messages me 2 days later, man, thank you. Here's what we're implementing. Boom, 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 based on your changes. That's why he'll make it. Not because I gave the ideas, but because he can take critiques. I said, listen, I don't know your model, but I do fucking events with food trucks. I deal with probably 200 food trucks a year. Let me tell you what you're doing wrong. And I said, but here's what I loved about him. I said, I'm walking around to everybody and they're bitching about the weight, but no one's bitching about the food.
No, yeah.
I said, you just got to get the weight down.
Yeah.
So you've had the food, right?
Oh,
you've tried it. It's amazing.
It's amazing. I only bring in people I like. If they ain't had their food, you don't get this. You don't get this
Absolutely.
big.
I'm with
trucks, baby.
So we also talked about while you were gone, Hold My Beer. From Southern Honor Wrestling was on here.
I told him you loved him.
And he is a full in buying in on Uncle Randy making a one-time cameo as his new either manager or something, and Gary Lamb dropping him in the ring. But one drop. I'll take one bump from Gary to build the promotion. I broke my neck. It's fine. He's fine. I'll take one bump for the greater good. But he actually commented, who was our favorite wrestler?
At that,
Hold My Beer.
Hold My Beer. I told him that earlier when
I told her that. I told you that she told me that
with the stretchy pant shorts.
Yeah, he might still be on there. Sam Skaggs, if you're on there, still comment, baby.
Dude.
Yeah.
Hey,
he's awesome.
That guy's a winner.
He wasn't even wrestling that night. He was a celebrity referee that night.
He was. He didn't even wrestle. But who cares? His pop was the biggest. And that was my last question to you. This is it. We'll wrap on this. Was how important is the pop over whether people like you or not? This is written down. This is from Uncle Randy to you. Do you take that into consideration when people give you hate and love? Because Uncle Randy does.
So in wrestling, I always tell the guys, I use this phrase, it's all about the pop.
Yeah. So do you give that to the guys in the back? Like,
Yes,
dude, hold my beer, got all the pop. Fuck
I
you
give
guys.
all the guys hell. I said, how you like that? I said, listen to that. I said, you could wrestle that dude under the ground. Look at that motherfucker. He's over like Rover. I said, he just sold 50 shirts. You ain't sold a fucking one. And so, you know, Hanson treats it like a business. I think I posted something today, treat your business like a business. Yep. And it'll be a business, treat it like a hobby, and it'll cost you like a hobby. And it's just got.
You talked about that. I hate to cut you off, but this is from the Mockingbird podcast. I'm just writing things down from what I heard from you in your last podcast, where you said to them, quit underselling yourself. You literally sold it to them. You're like, dude, fuck that. If you're the second best in Georgia, say you're the first best,
right?
And believe that shit, right?
Yeah,
and write that shit down and be number one.
Yeah,
and treat your business like you are number one. And then when you are number one, guess what? Now you're number two in the nation.
So I always say perception is reality, even if it's not true. Absolutely. And I always go back to the story. Everything goes back to the Bible with me. So I always go to the story. Jesus is walking around. He's doing his thing. He's going town to town. He's healing people. Boom, 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 boom. Healing people. Jesus comes to town. Mm-hmm. Boom. The lame walked. Then it says he went to Nazareth. That's the town he grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, couldn't heal nobody. You know why? Because he rolled into town and they didn't see the Messiah.
Yep, they saw the old dude that went to school.
They saw their homie.
I went to school with that kid. Who the that's Joseph's kid.
Yeah.
The way they perceived him is the way they received him. They didn't perceive him as the Messiah, so they didn't receive him as a Messiah. They perceived him as the dude that they were partying with in high school. They didn't, so they received him as that. That's why they said there's no honor in a man's hometown. Boom. You got to fake it till you make it. Mm-hmm. I've had way too much to drink, so we got to wrap it up.
Hey, we're about to sign off because Fire Marshal Bill is about to meet us in the driveway for a celebrity beer to you. He wants to say hello to you. So let's wrap it up. Hey, tell them where they can reach you. They know where they can reach us, sons. Guess what? Gary Lamb's going to be a staple on here whenever he wants to come on this show. You have a welcome from us.
Thank you. Dude,
it's the best. Hey, we're best friends. I don't even know what's happened. We're best friends. We've had so much to drink. Best friends.
Listen, you can find me on Facebook. You can keep with all of our events, a Revival Events group on Facebook. You can keep up with us at BBQ and Brews on Facebook. My new thing that I'm launching is a lifestyle brand called Black Sheep. You can go to Black Sheep Project, all about hustlers and those that break the fucking rules. Uncle Randy's going to be rocking some gear here soon. I'll be bringing it to him. I was hoping to surprise you with some gear today, but literally today was our first day of production. It took us 5 hours to make one shirt. So we worked all the keys.
We've got family connections. We saw Rick Cope show up here. We're good.
Hey, what other podcasts do you have cameos from legends?
Hey, let me just tell you, Rick Cope doesn't fuck with you peasants. Just so y'all know.
Yet he showed up.
He's got bigger shit to fry.
Straight from work.
Left here to go bury a body. All good.
All right, well, let's get out of here. This has been awesome, man. 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Wow.
Dude, fuck it. We could have went 5.
We'll do what we want to do.
We'll do whatever the fuck we want to do, son. That's halfway gone. We'll save it for when Gary's back. Right. We love you guys, champions. Y'all take it easy.
Talk to you guys later.
And we'll holler at you later. Love you. Hey, go fuck yourselves.